वेलकम बैक टू अनदर लाइव स्ट्रीम। कैसे हो चैट, कैसे हो? व्हाट इज अप टू अनदर ब्रैक स्ट्रीम। आज हम देखने वाले लिक्विड वर्सेस फुट।
Foot looking to take things aggressively on A. 5 players lined up. Liquid looking to try and actively contest that space. Forward. It's even so far. It's a complete forfeiture of the space from Liquid. Barrier mesh goes up for a moment. That's going to stop players flooding out from main. It's tree where they'll head. There is time to set up this post plant and get the spike down quite comfortably. But Liquid are already trying to interrupt this. Oh, look at this. Straight in. Players getting tagged up. Kiko next on the kill feed. That's combining the last two remaining players for Foot and Tree. An advantage for Liquid to work with to send the pistol round. They'll get the first one on Lotus.
फर्स्ट ब्लड मारने के बाद भी
Liquid had been struggling with their pistol rounds up until this point. 33% win rate for them.
भाई देखिए बाद में मुझे मेरी जान पे
Bringing ideas to the table with this double sentinel yet again. That now makes it 13 rounds with no defeats as long as they have had both of those sentinel players on their comfort
नेक्स्ट गेम बहुत बात है।
The thing is though, when you watch Liquid's
Next
pistol
game
rounds, they always have an idea, they always have something to work with. You think of the fracture last week that they played against BBL, they had a nice little play with the Vise wall combined with the tail.
Right there.
Lots of thought being put into this in terms of this round.
captain.
Well, it's Zeus on this outlaw buy. Again, we saw him do it a couple of times against mates. It can be a backbreaker, but you need to land both shots against the heavy shielded opponent.
कॉम्बो कर दिया
Serial surviving on 10 HP.
Huh?
Camo locking down the A space. More fights for him to take, but it seems not to be an issue right now.
या तो ओटी जाएगा या फिर 13-11 कौन सा नेक्स्ट गेम? नेक्स्ट गेम बहुत क्लोज है।
Players up. Krax has found a little space. Imagine to get rid of Camo, but Serial's quite ready for the trade. Get too stuck in the corner. He'll get taken down, and so
सी पे तो जाना ही नहीं चाहिए।
Foot not really achieving as much as they maybe would have liked in
Nats
this round. Orb towards C. Other than that, Liquid showing how quick they are to react to any presence put towards A. You look at this composition with Zeus on the jet, it is so reliant on those openers.
वॉल के लिए बैठा और
But
अभी
when you
ऐसे
have,
बैठा है।
you know, the Gravnet on cooldown now and all the extra utility, it feels oppressive even at the best of times. So Serial shutting things up, that's Liquid converting very cleanly.
30 सेकंड ऐसे बैठा है भाई।
Combinations as well through a lot, like a chat on Twitter that I saw has with like talking about the deadlock, Gravnet combined with the tail. I know we've seen different ideas of how to combine the tail utility. All in all,
बिंक्स भाई ये मैं फाइनल देखने जा रहा हूँ बर्लिन में 18 को। क्या बात है, क्या बात है, क्या बात है। सपोर्टिंग होम नाट्स
seems to be
one and
improving and
only
settling into this Liquid roster.
my Q2 nuts।
Sound sensor out.
This time, Sentinels are
Hello,
separated,
hello.
and it's the first time we see the Cypher set up on A. Paranoia coming out
gonna
early
go.
just to try and feign the possibility that Liquid were
ऑर्डर
interested,
करना
but
एक सेकंड रुको चैट।
the bodies are on B right now. And it's in these mid-rounds where on their defender's side before you'd maybe struggle to see that proactivity called by Nats, but now we get a look at it and already Foot cornered towards C, but it's only Serial there.
Needs to make sure he doesn't get caught out. He's just caught by
भाई
his
ये लोग का
own
नसीब है, ये लोग
utility
नाट्स
actually.
की साइड में नहीं गए।
Players try to
Serial
make their
के
way
साइड में गए।
in, a lot of spam. Serial, he needs to try and hold on. A little bit of delay for the rest of Team Liquid to get
Yo.
into position, which they do.
Look at the barrier mesh as well towards Bend. It's actually cutting off any players moving into position, so the spike is stuck. They're in the crosshairs of Liquid, and one by one they will be toppled.
यार ऑडियंस ज्यादा है क्या? मेरे को बहुत
Some
आगे का
impact, but
आवाज
he's
आ रहा
still
है।
got 3 more kills left to find to deny this bonus. And so Liquid will send it over the line with some comfortability.
Exactly, with comfortability, and I think that's the key point. Usually on bonus rounds, can get a little bit spicy, but so far Team Liquid have a great idea of how they want to play this. Foot almost falling prey to the conditioning on A with the fact that Team Liquid are being proactive, fighting that, and then again going and clearing B main, knowing that it's going to be C. And then it's just easy from there, realistically, and I think Serial does really nice to delay on the C site.
Something we're going to have to keep tabs on because it was very nearly exposed there. The barrier mesh was working overtime. Taking a look at this round, Foot not with all too much. Again, these defaults heavier towards the seaside, and that all spins back to Yetajay. You're going to see him here so often, lots of times without backup, so the fact that there are players by his side could potentially fake the amount of presence if he does just show face.
Oh, Kiko.
Straight in.
Yeah, he's
give me
caught
1
here.
second.
No chance, and that's an upgrade for Zeus to work with. Not a player that you want to get that upgrade if you're a Team Liquid fan. Nats, I mean, he's getting put under extreme pressure. The rest of Team Liquid not in position really to support.
Immediate response with the ult though, and so that's going to allow Liquid to come flying back through. With the Hinder landing onto Mr. Fall, and the salvos will confirm their target. 2 on 2, only the 1 upgrade on Zeus. He's got to be the man to do it all for them right now. But whether he leads with ACS globally or not, it is a team performance from Liquid on the way back through as the retake is successful.
Extremely successful. I mean, on top of that, like, you can see the stuff which Fut can work with there, but
हेलो कृतिका की मौली बंक्स भाई अच्छा लगा नाट्स को सपोर्ट कर रहे हो जान के नाट्स बहुत प्यारा बंदा है बंदा भी प्लेयर भी दिखने में भी ऑलराउंडर है भाई
I think it's really important that we focus on what Lohan was saying before the game, and that the map pool feels to be in a good place for them right now, because when you counter that with Fut, they have the highest map win percent of any team in the league right now at 67. So
कम्मो 8-2 है वेले न्यू मेटा क्या
as I say before, they're very off meta with this jet, and so again you go back to a rehearsed opening on A, but it's against that Gravnet once more.
Yeah, and the space taken Camel already deep on towards Rubble. That's a captain. He's TP'd all the way towards A Heaven. This is a spot to work with.
I love this, just sensing that Liquid were trying to play this one forward, so he's right in the backlines and still they're searching.
All up top, well, it's worked out. Now, how can they crunch into the remaining player that was an A main, now got
Impact वाला काम करता है बे ये बंदा Impact वाला.
He can still hold the line here as well. There's one more sound sensor up towards stairs, so for the most part knowing that Fut playing closer towards the site as things stand, Liquid flooding in through the backside, looking to bury a couple bodies on the way. Kiko the first of them, but Fut responding in kind. Zeus helping support as a captain, and now with twice the player numbers, Fut are starting to look elsewhere. They fire off in unison, putting Patatech in a 1 versus 4. A recovery on the rifle round, looking ever more likely.
उनके social पे Discord पे भी कर सकते हैं.
Patty was a player last week who was
sound
able
बढ़ाओ.
to
इससे ज़्यादा कैसे
have
sound बढ़ाओ?
highlight moments. Will not have it here. As Fut are quickly able to respond.
भाई land में I think Fut fans ज़्यादा है ना? Last time
it's important that they get on the round nice and early here as well, because you're thinking if Liquid pick up the next, start to arrive at timeout territory. In terms of how they've been playing this defense, they're trying to get on the scene as quickly as possible, because you don't really want to be playing for a set retake with the utility that you have. In the current meta, it is just so oppressive a lot of the times, trying to make those retakes happen. That's the first time that Fut engage with the A game and come out on top.
Fut now have ultimates in which they can work with. Big ones as well, thinking that Rolling Thunder and the Nightfall. Really good
Can have Mango
ultimates.
though. I can have Mango.
Like the way that Fut shift their focus as well towards this left-hand side of the map between C and B, pressuring main just a little bit to prevent those quicker rotations and the possibility of crunching through the revolving door. As you can see, there are 4 Liquid bodies on B, but they can't support Nats, and so he has to give the site up.
Spike a little bit delayed getting on towards this site. Could still be a fake, but Yetajay's just walked straight in towards a kill trap, and now the Nightfall invested, doubling down right now.
I mean, look at the disconnect. Mr. Fallen's not even on the scene just yet.
Well, we're even going to get an annihilation in. Liquid, spot on with the ultimates, spot on with the kills. Everything looks good. It looks great for a round 5 for Team Liquid.
Zeus caught in Serial's web and brought down to the ground. A player at the center of the strategy that we've seen brought to yet another defender's side. Lotus, a map which, when you go back and look at it in recent times, has presented quite a lot of difficulty for them. I think to the 2 times that they played it in kickoff, from strong signs early on in that lower round against Heretics to then arriving at Masters on the international stage and not getting any more than 7 rounds against both of the Americas representatives. It has been in the workshop for a while, but this look, seemingly from player to player, fits their skill set exactly.
Well, Fut obviously not happy with losing 5 rounds to their lonely one.
Binks भाई chat में पढ़ते हैं अभी
To talk
क्या
about
पढ़ रहा हूँ मैं?
Binks. And I mean, when you look at their composition, they're really struggling with A. And when you have
ये
a
मैंने कहा
breach, when
Binks
you
का
have
कुछ
a
बोल,
Vit,
love
the
you.
utility that they have,
अब
you
कैसे
would
तो
normally
वीडियो
expect
कभी आएगा?
for them to
जल्दी आएगा मेरी
thrive
जान.
being able to fight in that spot.
The two players with the most kill impact so far have been Captain and Cracks, and they both had a fantastic performance last week out. I think that felt like, you know, a watershed moment for me, at least, with Cracks coming under fire a lot over the last year for maybe not living up to his 2023 performance. He's always a player who previously you were trading off the back of him, and I think that's why Zeus fits so nicely into this Fut side with a rifle in his hands rather than an operator. But you've got to be looking at the spacing in these next few rounds. I think of that C-execute that we just saw, and the spike was, you know, well out of harm's way, and there was no one else following up that initial push.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I thought it could potentially be a fake.
ओए वो सब
I mean,
बातें
but
इधर
back
नहीं
towards
जा.
the A side, once again,
वो सिर्फ वो गेम की बात है.
Fut being really respectful of the utility being put forward from Team Liquid, and then straight away, you get the barrier mesh down.
They found my wire.
Heavy investment from Liquid early on, because once that mesh is gone, it does start to pose question marks about what exactly is going on over here.
Yeah.
The dark cover doesn't allow the rubble
अभी
cross.
भी वो लोग को
that's
A
the
लेटने
thing,
के
though,
लिए
if we can wait
सेंसर
out the
पहले तोड़ना
utility
पड़ेगा.
and break the barrier mesh, coming back in should be easy
Smoke
enough.
wins
What
लेना
utility
पड़ेगा.
does Team Liquid really have to win the second fight?
Stealth drone does look to be the catalyst for this B main fight.
A लेने क्या है
Engage
लोग को?
onto Yetijay, but Fut are starting to take things
Main
elsewhere,
timing का
bypassing
scene है.
the sound sensor. It's a quick skip and a hop from Zeus.
अब A लिए 50 सेकंड है
That
लेकिन
B main pressure already put on, and now players out in grass.
Theo का
There is a
nade BT
potential
दे सकता
for a B
है.
split here. So Serial left alone in another isolated position could very quickly come under fire if he's not supported by a Liquid reaction.
Down allows the cross towards Hobbit. There is a sound sensor to work with, and it will
Oh
activate,
my
buying some
God.
time. Camos come straight
Oh
in.
my
Finding
God,
3. The players in B main tried to escape, but they only escape into the forever box. It's an end zone flawless for Team Liquid.
That's a fantastic reaction from Liquid, and exactly what you ask of them in that position. Serial so isolated as the B anchor, but the sound sensor does fantastic work. Again, we're commending him for his utility. A player who had picked up half of the field and was showing us some career firsts in terms of agent pool.
पूरा
Stepping
20
into this
मिनट वाला
roster.
प्लान एक
And so
सेंसर ने
Camo and the
बीट दे
rest will
दिया.
clean up. The threat was there, but it was an empty one.
मेरे एंड इशू है सही में वीडियो
I mean,
क्वालिटी
it's the
सही
fact
नहीं है.
that we've
सही
got
है सब
towards
बराबर है मेरे एंड.
now the 8th round before Hobbit's really been poked and prodded towards. Finding out what the utility looks like towards this A side, and rather than placing just the barrier mesh right now, you can see Team Liquid looking to hang around because Fut tried to re-engage after the first fight last time.
We actually have a double sensor here as well, so if Zeus goes for that same dash, there's a chance he could get caught in the
W.
next. Not unless Camo can open up the play once more.
ये तोड़ भी नहीं सकते.
11 and 7 for first duels in the previous series, a stat which he's already added to massively. Patitek will be cornered. The smoke should provide a safe passage for escape. So Fut back to square one with Sheriffs in their hands, unable to get past that
ये
first
डबल
line of
सेंटिनल बीट ही
defense.
तो है बे.
Yetiji
That's
still
it.
hanging around in B main. No, this is
United की
similar to
team
what the
में
last
नहीं है
round
वो
is.
अभी.
So
Chill
you
कर
can
रहा
maybe see Team Liquid starting to worry about that, but they don't need to because Serial's got
Defense में
an
चेंज
eye
जीत गए,
on
double
A
sentinel
main.
है ना.
Now Fut slowly starting to head towards that C side. And this is where the Cypher setup is.
अभी इधर भी
Trap
कुछ भी
if
पीक
needed.
करेगा.
Cam
ब्लाइंड आएगा
playing
डीले.
Overwatch. And a paranoia in the hands of Kiko. This one
Delay देखो.
should be as safe as ever if you're
नेट
Liquid.
डीले.
Extra utility thrown in just to
दोनों मर
confirm
गए.
it.
क्या
Little
करेगा
Aben
बताओ.
from Kiko.
क्या
Liquid
करेगा.
letting loose and hauling it over the line once again.
Another end zone flawless
Huh?
as well. They're starting to
Yeah.
add these together. Fut looking to really struggle on their
बिजनेस
own
दोनों
map
से
pick
इज्जत
as
से
well.
बात कर.
You can see how vocal Nats is becoming after every passing round, feeling as if he's playing around with Fut, toying with them. You look at this
Is
map
that?
being their pick.
And I think as well with this map in particular that they've picked into, we've seen them struggle on it before. But let's look towards the A side once again.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like Fut are going
आरसीबी
for a
हार गया नहीं
particularly
हार
quick
सकता
opening
आरसीबी भाई.
here,
इस बार
as
फुल सपोर्ट है मेरा.
the utility by itself is just commanding that respect, at least for another 40 seconds. Do finally invest back in, but it's a deeper line that Liquid have already taken.
Commentator accent is sexy. Alag hai na?
It's another trap play.
Yeah, exactly, and there's going to be no escape. Usually players can try and jump out, but with the GEELI ultimate, you won't be able to do that. The cam for contact, everything looks perfect for Team Liquid.
To just bounce off what you said before.
भाई C पे रखो ना
Had
कैमरा
built on
क्या
that
होने वाला
overtime win
मेरे को
against
देखने
Koi,
का
the huge comeback. But they struggled on the attack
वो लोग
side
को पता है ये
massively
फेक है
with a
क्योंकि
more
दोनों
resounding
सेंसर
result
जिंदा है
against
बॉल
Mates.
टूटने का भी आवाज नहीं
But there
कितनी
are
है, 1
overbearing
मिनट हो गया
issues here, and you're starting to walk into another one. A trap play prepared from minute 1. Camo holding on to the waylay ult. As soon as that cam hits a player, they're going to pull the pin.
Well, here it is, thrown straight into the mix, and yet she has no way of escaping. Does Fut, the 3 players looking to re-engage, and still, though, look at this, Team Liquid
By
out cleanly.
clean,
And
by
The spacing of the ult has been brilliant from Liquid.
मुझे भी
You do
खिलाओ
still
have
have
good
Kikos left here if you perhaps
trim
wanted to go check what the post-plant positions look like
Aam
on B,
khilao.
but Fut are walking into an empty site.
Quickly
Liquid
khilao
happy
to
to give
aam
this
ka.
one away,
Ghar pe
play
aana
with the
padega
numbers, and trade effectively. Fut need to take space if they want to give themselves any chance at recovering this.
Perhaps get one back.
उस दिन अगर टीचर ने इनको हाँ बोल दिया रहता तो
There's loads
आज
of
आम तारा
players
रहता
that are elsewhere, isolated. Camo though isolates one onto Mr. Fallen and gets another onto Atta Captain. Team Liquid
clean
are
by.
making this advantage
कौन सा मैंगो है
go
इसे
round
कहते हैं
on
अल्फांसो
round.
As I mentioned, while there are issues with the bigger picture, you look at the finer details as well. Even that situation, Fut locked in place when it came down to post. This was a nice aggressive move from Liquid, and another benefit to Fut not having any tape on their opponent when they're a team which, you know, like their opponent, like to feel out what the setup looks like.
वाला मैच का भी है next month.
And I really love the way that Team Liquid engage and disengage as well, using the waylay, using the omen to get out, and
Camo case in point, the light speed. Back to the A conversation.
I don't think it's been much of a conversation.
It's more of a monologue.
Yeah.
Liquid hogging the mic in the karaoke bar as
कहते मैप किसका है पता तुम लोग को?
have been silenced so far. Just the one round which they were able to pick up was an A play. That was dropping in behind with Atta Captain, but he goes down on this occasion. And so Serial continuing to add to the Liquid first blood counter.
I have an idea that Serial has escaped in towards Hobbit. No more smokes though, so crossing through these angles is going to make things even more worrying. 3 players seen on the drone. Well, they don't get suppressed. Liquid now no actionable intel, and that's why you're starting to see Kiko move towards the A side of the map.
So brings up another prior concern that Fut haven't really been able to scale very effectively at all here.
Simple बात है.
Liquid conditioning so much of this space, and as you can see, Serial has a signature back up, grab net in his hands. It's going to be a direct A execution, which we look for. Zeus, so many times, reliant for Fut to come up with the goods, and he'll finally deliver, but it's only one.
देखा बंदे टूटे.
Only one, and Kiko straight back in, and Team Liquid holding on to the advantage. Patty close by, Fut stuck towards the front of site.
अरे सन तो था.
Make good of his chance. Can Patty? No, he can't. Now, Serial into the mix, trying to win something. Nash does it instead! A 3K out of nowhere!
क्या बंदा है ना बे Nax?
Dropping into the pit.
क्या बंदा है बे?
Even his
ये देखो बे.
elbows in there as well. Fut caught across the jaw, but not for the first time. That situation where they had a man advantage, but oh so quickly you overlook that position and immediately they get punished for it. Seemed like decent work to start things off. I mean, Zeus opened up the site for them. They lacked this control.
Zero minus करना पड़ा. Timing on top baby.
Nat with the silent drop when the attention is bought by Serial. Between these two Sentinels, they've been doing everything.
Mr. Fallen and Cracks now getting close to their own ultimates, and we're getting towards that latter stage of the first half. They're going to realistically need to be used now or in the next round. Utility through the A fight seems to be equal right now, although
मेरे पास एक क्वेश्चन है. ये वेले उठता है 2 बार. तो पहली बार में हेडशॉट लग सकता है क्या मटके में?
Instead, Liquid are having bodies dropped on their doorstep, still warm. As Krax has managed to loosen Patatek's grip on the A-side hold. It's onto Camo to do it all.
Why is Pinky laughing? No,
At least to get something there. It's not going to work out. This is a 2v2 though. That's a rifle upgrade. This is not looking good.
And both initiators have their ultimates, so if you want to respond to any initial contact, you could. It's Nats again, and Kiko, the smoker from the big smoke, sending it home.
I mean, Kiko, Nats, Cats as they've been nicknamed.
It's a 1-2 punch.
Every time, man. But it's not only that. It's the old guard from last year coming up when it's needed, right? I mean, they've been the highest performers on average on this roster.
Something that Liquid have been thinking about a lot, those long-term ambitions. This win, of course, a big step towards the top of the group, and bad news for BBL in the process. But it's a team that we haven't seen make back-to-back internationals since Champs 2023, last year, an absentee. So now the final round of the half has 8 ultimates. I'd like to see the analyst Dash try and break this one down. It could get chaotic.
This is the time where we get to mention Kadro.
Oh, that was my job.
अब ये लोग को इतना जो clean aim मिला ना ये लोग को
Team
जितना बड़े
Liquid went and
trap
cleared
play
out B
किया
main,
क्यों
being
aim मिला ये
proactive.
लोग
They've done this the past couple of rounds. We saw them get a pick. And the
पहली
last
बार
one,
लोगों को free का aim मिला जहाँ पे कोई peek भी नहीं ले रहा कुछ भी नहीं कर रहा
and Fut have scaled all the way up on A in the meantime.
Look at the setup. It is traps towards backside, so Nats is ready for these duels. Beyond the cage, he's dropped in and spotted. Zeus knows about it. It's about to go down.
Oh, this is a really nice Armageddon. It's just spot space. There's so much utility back and forward.
Voice line up, the voice line.
Yeah.
Spike down A.
But it's Liquid when the dust settles that pick up all the pieces. They've managed to deny all that space from Fut. I mean, it was the Armageddon which has done the heavy lifting, and so back to B they go. It's another 4v2. This time, I want to see them take some ground. You can't sit idle, or Liquid will make this 11.
But Yetiji, he's walking
towards
heaven. At the same time, Camel's walked in towards Waterfall.
One versus one in that position. Atta Captain needs to do something here to give Fut any kind of a platform. The infallible form that they previously posted is looking like a completely different conversation today. Atta Captain, first of those kills. Yetiji in support, but it's Serial at the death. As he starts to write out Fut's own obituary. 11 rounds in one half, taking their total in the last couple sky high.
Mangoes कर सकते.
Spike down A.
भाई देखो 5 पेटी से कम बात नहीं करते बोल ठीक है. No access to that बोलते नहीं कर सकते भाई वो लोग का सेटअप बहुत स्ट्रांग है. वो लोग का अर्ली राउंड पास करके फिर स्लो खेलना पड़ेगा.
हाँ ये केसर लग रहा है. राइट.
क्या लग रहा है?
केसर.
केसर?
हाँ.
केसर तो वो है जो चाय में डालते.
मैंगो का टाइप भी है.
केसर मैंगो. केसरी मैंगो नहीं होता वो. मैंने सुना है वो एड जर्ड में मैंगो केसरी. कुछ और है क्या? पंद्रह पेटी अल्फोंसो भिजवाता हूँ भाई कल ही मैंगो सिमुलेटर. From my बाप अर्जा हाँ वही तो बोल के तुमने मेंबरशिप लिया था. मॉड से कांटेक्ट करो. मॉड्स का
पॉजी को कांटेक्ट.
Welcome back. You join us in what could be a very short second half, something that you and I seem to have gotten used to. A couple of 12-0s and now an 11-1. But if you think back, one of those was literally the last map that Liquid played. They've won 23 out of their last 24 defender-decided rounds. This double Sentinel has been such a good look, but for Fut, on their own map pick, so much work to be done to recover this.
One thing to note was when Team Liquid moved on to the attack, when they played double Sentinel on Ascent, they were only able to win 20% of rounds, right? They struggled on their attack. Can they make good of that this time round? Sure, they only had to play a couple, right, to finish out the
मैं
map.
आम
You
के
get
पेड़
the
के
idea.
नीचे हूँ बेजू आम पेड़ के नीचे क्या कर रहा है
Zeus will have to siphon powers from the
Alam mein
skies
kuch dikh raha
above, and it starts in the worst way possible. Instead, Camo's the lightning as the electricity flows through his veins, taking all power for himself. It's a 4-kill opener with Serial shutting it down. The pistol over in an instant as it's an in-zone flawless.
It seems like Team Liquid week to week are getting stronger and stronger, and I think it's embodied by Camo now stepping up to the plate. 22-6, an absolute madness in the opening round.
गलत मारा यार वो
We're going to try and bring out a couple of stingers, heavy shields, something to work with in this potential last round. Look at this A fight and the amount of bodies there.
25 मिनट हुए
No
शायद
point saving any credits. Camo right out the gate, another kill added to the tally. Heads starting to roll as Fut have fallen well short of the mark here. They trail in players, in rounds, in bloody everything right now.
On the defense, where do you even try and go, right? Where do you even try and find something back in the conversation?
Looks like it might be into
भाई
the
इसका
outlaw.
एक्चुअल में पता है क्या काउंटर है ब्रीच पे
Mr.
काउंटर
Fallen
है
at the
जो
very
तेओ
least
का
has
नेक्सन
a
में
cam
साइबर
towards
कटर
C
निकल जाता
and
है
also the
क्लोज
trap
हो रहा
wire
है
to
एग्जीक्यूट
play off.
करने
So
के
there
लिए
is
इजी है
information towards the
साइड
other
ट्रिप
side of
रहेगा
the
तो
map.
फिर बात अलग है
If you have any
बट
hope
एटलीस्ट
of Fut
क्लोज
finding this one,
जो
it is
जाके
coming
लड़ते हैं ना
from
साइड
a
में वो
hero
तुम
play.
लोग टाइम वेस्ट नहीं करना
As Mr.
पड़ेगा
Fallen gets his fault line back up, it's a full utility belt to try and challenge. Can't wait for Yetajay. Has to take matters into his own hands, the captain.
ए डेडलॉक का सेंसर भी
And
टूटता है क्या
Camo was already
Net से?
low. Disengages to get the reload off. As the players walk forward, they'll collect another. The last player remains for Fut. It's Yetajay.
Coming back from Masters, Liquid, having played
Deadlock
more
को भी
rounds
टूटता है
than
तो
any
वही
other
है
team in the region,
तेओ ब्रीच
only
ही
just
काउंटर
shy
है
of the 2 finalists from Bangkok.
तेओ ब्रीच ही
But
काउंटर
as
है
that development process continues, it seems like they've found another winner. 13-1 on Lotus, a dominant
भाई
display
मास्टर क्लास हो गया बे तो
as Liquid look to return to form with a very
क्या
clean
बात है क्या बात
performance.
है क्या
It was
बात
extremely clean, Hazza.
ये कितना
And with
मैंगो
that
काटा
being
तुमने?
said, though, we'll need to see if they
चार
can be
मैंगो
as
खाया
clean
अपन
as
ने
we move into map number
कितना
2.
जल्दी कितना बचा खत्म हो गया
क्या किया
That's not fair, man.
नरम का छिलके के साथ खाने वाला
I don't know
था
how you take care. Me, that was crazy. Bro, these guys are not farting.
Hey, Camille.
Yeah?
भाई नेक्स्ट गेम के लिए रुका हूँ
He's
नेक्स्ट
going,
गेम मजा आने वाला है
bold anyway.
No, I'm not
कैसा था
getting fair.
केसरी है
No, he is going bold anyway, trust me.
कितना टाइप का काम है
तूने कभी वो खाया है
ये सब तो मैं देखा भी नहीं है भाई
कच्चा आम खाते ना
ये अंबिका क्या है चार कलर दिख रहे मेरे को उसमें मैंने को भी नहीं खाया पैडी थैंक यू बहुत है मम्मी से मेरी जान के टोटे
सबसे बेस्ट
तुम लोग मैंगो का छिलका नहीं खाते नहीं मैं नहीं खाता
तूने राजापुरी खाया है
Come on through, the time ticking
क्या तुम लोग ने
down.
खाया क्या राजापुरी
All you need to find is one headshot. Might just be able to clock this one out and send them to the grand final.
रिच बिंक्स मैंने क्या किया मैं रिच किस हो गया इनके दो
There's one
मेंबर्स
way
है
to do it. That is the way to do it.
तूने ये वाला खाया है क्या क्या वाला
थोड़ा वैल्यू पे ध्यान दे
ब्रेक में
पंको हेडफोन डाल
टेजन दवाई अरे वायर तो डाल अंदर
एक हाथ से नहीं कर सकता वो पकड़ और कर प्रेस कर बाप है बस बात I think Knights by Robot है ए वाला एस लगा सेम रिएक्शन हाँ हीरो का भी वैसे था हीरो का भी सेम है भाई Knights और हीरो by far the best Sentinel player I have seen सबसे बेस्ट मतलब hands down the best सब रीजन मिला के ए खाना आ रहा है देखो चाय लेके यही चाय गरम कर रहा हूँ आराम मत करना
एक स्लाइस बाकी है बिंग मैं खा रहे हो
Hello, welcome back. 13-1
I'm cutting my
the
take on
score
Binks.
on Fut's map pick for Team Liquid.
Yeah,
This
all I'm
is
going to say,
incredible. Yes.
Hazard and Cairo, they've casted a 12-0 half, a 12-0 half, and now a 11-1 half.
It's in the script.
I'm just saying, I'm seeing the problem.
There's
a problem.
Wait, the problem?
Yeah. I want close games.
You want good games. Like, that was a good game.
Okay, listen, I was about to say, like, close doesn't necessarily mean good. That can get very muddy. I love the display of sheer and utter dominance. And that's what we saw here. I mean, this was prep work at its finest. Team Liquid came prepared. They had such a good read on everything Fut was doing.
Yeah, clearly that quote from earlier did mean,
it did mean a lot.
Even though he had less time, whatever preparation they did was incredible. And I think even just starting off with some of those retakes was something that really impressed me. Like going into like how they would utilize their ultimates. I think we saw it multiple times, like kicking things off with the Waylay ult in combination with having some of the salvos, which just means that some of the players can't move, they try and move, and they just get wrecked.
Yeah.
And it just gave them easy openers. The space taking from Camo was fantastic on the way back in, and even when you have a superstar as good as Zeus, sometimes that's not enough.
Yeah, it was crazy as well. Not just that, but then you've got the... Oh, my brain just went
Deadlock?
crazy. Sorry, Deadlock. Yeah, I want to say Killjoy. It's not Killjoy. The Deadlock ult, but even just the Deadlock utility that they used the whole time was just not what we expected, and it was crazy. We're going to have a look at that in a bit, but again, yeah, the ult coming through, that with everything else on these retakes has just been so solid, and it was on high impact round as well. You know, the ones that Fut needed to win, the gun rounds, the ones that could have, you know, got him a bit more confidence, got him a few more rounds on the board. Every single time, TL came ready with a game plan that they hadn't even shown yet, and Fut had nothing to do against it. And that's on Fut's map pick.
Exactly.
It's where they need to start getting these wins. We were expecting a crazy game, and it was just not in the way we expected.
This is crazy, and honestly makes me very happy. Also, Waylay Stong's all-time high now, obviously.
That was definitely the best Waylay performance we've seen. Not even close, but what I first want to talk about is what we've seen from Serial. Because I think that what they managed to do with that deadlock was really impressive. This looked like a direct counter to everything Zeus was doing. You run the same comp a few times in a row, but they had the early net salvos to make sure nobody could get out. Then they pushed forward. They put deep sensors onto the walls. So if he's going to try and escape out of this position, he wants to dash across to rubble. But if he dashes, he gets immediately stunned. And then if nobody challenges them after a while, they just wall it off and leave. So it meant that there was no way they could lose that space. And this has been a part of the map which is always contested, always rotated to, and they can cut it off for a serious amount of time just because of that utility. They made it impossible for Fut to do anything. The strat that Fut were kind of doing, they had with CNED as well, where it's like, he's just going to dash in and wreck people. Wait, if he dashed in, he'd get wrecked.
Yeah, Fut is known, you know, their identity is go forward. You know, they have those flashes, they have that jet. We were saying, oh, there's no flashes on TL, might be a little bit awkward with the Waylay. but it didn't matter because they weren't allowed to go forward. The double Senti was too strong, and the fact we were even asking questions about Serial, like he wasn't really showing us his best game in the last couple of weeks, but we got to show why he's here, and it's that utility. It's just been a great utility player, and it allowed them to get that like the early presence on the map.
But he also, like, he had to role swap for this. Not only is he upgrading to tier 1, so obviously the competition is much steeper, he also has to role swap slotting to a new team. That's a lot to adjust to. So yeah, obviously your performance will have a tiny little dip there. Now, speaking of performances, we did talk about Zeus in the pre-show here. But this time it was the other side. Camo had a phenomenal game.
These are the stats before we came in today. So looking at it, we said that Zeus was that number 1 performer, like, including all of the regions. He was top on ACS, and Camo was bottom 3 within EMEA. I'd like to switch things up in a moment. I think we're going to show a few clips of what everything that Camo was doing, but then we'll show the stats afterwards. Camo was truly absurd.
Binks, अगर आपको कोई एजेंट का और कोई अल्टीमेट बैन करने को मिले,
performance like this, what was he?
कौन सा करोगे? Ultimate ban?
3 rounds or something like that, and it just kept
पेड़ का
going
सुनने
up
नहीं
and up
देता
and up.
बेंच, ऐसा लगता है
Everyone
हेडफोन
else
करा
around him, you know, they're all great players, but the fact that he was able to be set up into all these positions, he's on that waylay without flashes, using the dash just to get the info, disappear, go back in on a nice little retake. There were so many moments where he just had this crazy effectiveness and was able to show with mechanical prowess on the waylay and show us that it is a viable agent. You know, people have used.
मैडम, आपको जरा भी शर्म नहीं आता है? हाँ, एक शादीशुदा मर्द को बेबी बुलाते हुए लाइव स्ट्रीम में, वो भी हाँ,
क्या हुआ?
बेबी बोल रही है कैश पर मुझे।
Excuse me? तेरे को बोली?
हाँ भाई, लास्ट टाइम एक बंदे ने 10 को कोचिंग किया था, क्या हुआ पता है ना मैडम? करो क्या रिपोर्ट? But say
kind of promise. Like when you go back to Camo on Koi, like we looked at that Koi roster last year, similar to this year, and when it's not particularly good, but he was a shining star.
Yeah.
Coming into Liquid, he wasn't the shining star. Kiko had great performances. You
can
say the same obviously all the time for Nat. We're waiting to see when are we going to get
hello, Binks, hello.
Well, today I think we saw it.
Yeah, this is incredible performance. Obviously across the board, that's why we ended with a 13-1. So yeah, there's a bit of stats padding there. If your team is rolling the opposition like that, then naturally the numbers are going to look pretty good. Now we're heading into Team Liquid's mapping.
भाई खुद से बता वैल एस्पोर्ट्स के बारे में, बस आपके लिए देखता हूँ। लव यू यार, ये सब में ना अच्छे मैचेस होते हैं। अनफॉर्चुनेटली पहला मैच वैसे नहीं था, लेकिन जो टॉप की टीम्स है ना, उन लोगों का मैचेस बहुत क्रेजी होते हैं।
We got the crash raise. This is going to be a fun one. You got Zeus back on the chamber, especially starting off on that defense chance to really get aggressive in your opponent's face. And this is going to be a fun map because it's the opposite of what we've just seen. This is Fut trying to reinvent a composition that didn't really work for them.
It's the full rework. We were talking about cracks and how he's the best on the KO, one of the best players on the KO that we've seen. And Split is a map where you usually bring a KO in. They're going KO list. They got the Sky there as the flashes. Cracks is going to be bringing the firepower with the Zeus firepower in a different way on the Senti. And then Liquid as well. They're bringing what's worked, right? They got that win 13-6 over Gentlemates. And last time Fut played, they needed a rework. They got banged 13-4 against Vitality over in kickoff. So let's see what they've been cooking, because they have to be cooking something here.
Oh yeah, we gotta eat. We gotta eat in this one if we're Fut Esports fans. So let's see what they bring to the table on Split. So for all the action, we're gonna send it over to Ahaza and Cairo.
Yeah, that's the question, man. Like, how
कभी कोलकाता आओ तो पिंकी को लेकर आना, इतने वैरायटी का आम खिलाएंगे, पागल हो गए। Done scene.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely experimentation, right? And you look towards Fut as this team that's fundamentally sound. A lot of the comps don't really go towards new metas, etc., right? But I mean, this right here, I don't even know where to go with it. Yeah, I think the difference with this map in comparison to the previous is that now Fut are the ones with the ball in their court. It might not be their pick, but it slipped through the veto for a reason. There is preparation there. We saw how good the ante was from Gentlemates against Liquid. They weren't able to get the full value from it though. Lost both pistol rounds, costly conversions. And for anyone on Nat's watch, it's just 2 kills, so this could be the round. Massive milestone for to reach, but for this map, we look towards mid for the first round. Fut taking early space towards mid, hiding behind the smoke, but Team Liquid patient
but that is
with the smoke being down.
Camo just placing the TP. There is an aggressive crossfire held here as he'll be the first player to go through. Double clear of the smoke, no footsteps heard, and a few more prepared. Here is the fake out.
Crossfire as well to work with, but running straight back into the nade. Ata Captain takes loads of damage there. At the same time, though, Team Liquid get the space that they're looking for.
You have to wonder, are Fut going to re-clear mid later into the round? Because we've hit the 1 minute mark. You do still have Mr. Fallen operating in this area. And you look in terms of utility, he does still have one flash available. That drops in. Would have been heard by Nats on the way over towards A.
The fact that Fut have re-cleared
Side पे एक ही बंदा है क्या support करेगा
that question mark in mid. Now they can start to lean heavier towards one of the sides. It's going to be A. Well, Krax is standing the test that Team Liquid put forward. An advantage with Spike down on the ground. How do Team Liquid try and rescue this from the grasp of Fut? It seems like it should be Kiko to do it. Spike on the ground picked up.
It's only going to go for a tap, trying to bait Fut back in.
They
don't have any extra utility to challenge him with here, but he does have a nade for a little more space.
So if he can even get a chance to use it, it looks like it's going to come down to the gunfight. Both players looking to swing and win out the pistol.
Fut's first pistol round in this series. Liquid finding both in what was a Lotus to forget. And immediately on this defender's side as well, it becomes such a priority when you want to build up your empire, expand the economy. This looks like such an isolated round when you watch it back on the replay. It's players going 1 for 1, but it's a confidence builder.
And you can see the interactions in mid as well, which I think was really important for that initial round, with the fact that Team Liquid trying to create that question mark, but Fut holding on to utility to clear that out. Very aggressive start from Team Liquid as they move in towards the A side, but Camel being caught by a boom bot.
Liquid just going for the direct approach. They're halted for only a moment. It's Camo's TP, which crosses the line, but Fut all ready to have bodies rotated here. Mr. Fallen uses Skyflash and Garage right at the start of the round. You've got a trademark placed in middle as well, so there is comfort in terms of this setup, and Liquid are yet to explore other avenues.
I mean, this is something we've seen from a few teams, like just give up heaven, play towards the site. Trademark being destroyed, so it's another question mark created by Team Liquid here.
Trailblazer invested, absent from the pistol
Living in the zone, thanks for the members of the Jan Kate Tote.
Essence, if you're Liquid, that's the only player left towards the tower.
Technically, देखा जाए तो ये लोग दो बंदे को मार सकते हैं.
Viper.
He has a spike.
Does have the spike, needs to win this duel. That would have been the landmark kill if he could have picked it up, but not happening. Fut erasing Liquid on this round and putting history behind them as they look forward with an in-zone flawless.
Big round to double up and the fashion in which they did, right? Now this bonus round looks so much better. And Team Liquid need to be careful about the angles which Fut can try and push themselves onto. You're looking at Zeus with a Marshall, for instance.
Let's go!
In terms of Liquid's composition and how they want to try and play this coming into the gun round, we haven't really seen the synergy tying up Kiko and Camo just yet. The one flashes that you do have, the double dive as it has been put before. Bit of variation with the aura, of course. It again explored, and as the fake out isn't broken, that is the trademark dispensed of.
Fut need to be more active, holding on to these angles, and well, Team Liquid looking to send it in, although they've not thought about Zeus playing from Mail. Looking to try and post this one home, but instead picks up a rifle. Players don't know about his position, and Kiko walks straight into his arms. 2 entry kills for Fut.
It's constant layering of control utility in mid as well, which is keeping Liquid at arm's length as Nats just still can't find a single kill here.
It's the awareness that Liquid keep getting caught off guard by, right? Like not noticing positions that Fut could have potentially crossed to, caught off guard by off angles.
That's exactly what you're looking to try and bring to the bonus round. Some direction, something which we complimented Liquid on before in terms of a strategy. How both Lohan and Yeltsin are heavily involved in terms of the setup. Nats as well.
जब
You're
मिड पे
talking
लड़ रहे
about
थे
a player
मिड रूम का
here
स्मोक
who
खत्म
is
हो
a
गया
very
कि डाला ही
vocal
नहीं था वो
lurker
लोगों
in
ने.
this sense,
Spin
because it's
खत्म
not
हो
often
गया.
that your IGL is going to be pulling the strings from the other side of the map. And I think that is beneficial in some senses when you have someone like
10
Serial
seconds left.
on the Astra again, when you have that conversation about his micro and his utility. Not as much management when you're in that position, you get a wider look at things, but
momentum में भी फुट का है
finding the value from that so far. So Fut will convert the bonus and keep all of the rifles that come with it.
Team Liquid though, keeping on their hands on two, in which they can try and make
अभी
this
ये राउंड ये
round
लोग जीतेगा,
half by
अल्ट
a little
रोटेशंस
bit
आएगा
more
ये लोग का,
dangerous.
यूरो अल्ट आएगा,
Looking at this
रेज अल्ट
economy
आएगा.
state, and it's a bit tumultuous, especially
अंधा
for
हूँ
Team
क्या?
Liquid being on the attack. They haven't
अंधा?
got the spike down at all.
Sorry, रेज अल्ट आएगा,
So
जूस अल्ट
that's
आएगा.
another issue that's going to hinder their economy and moving forward
Brain
into
lag.
the rounds.
Vandal in the hands of
Hello, dudes,
Anti-Tech
how's
here.
yours?
Both him
Badhiya.
and Serial have taken the hit. They are the A players, and with the spike drop just outside it, they're kind of hoping, look, if we can win a duel, then maybe there's half a chance. Placement of the smoke means that the trademark isn't broken, so Kiko invests a blast pack, and with that knowledge in mind, Fut know that mid is overloaded yet again. Constant cycling of the utility. As soon as the poison cloud goes down, it's the dark cover that comes back up from Captain.
By 1v1 fight
All the way up by the wall, and Patitech, one of the few rifles, has managed to find cracks. Yetiji though fills back in the space, using their own wall to try and get onto the angle, which they'll be able to use. Now Nats moves in, Yetiji under fire. He's got two, but giving away rifles to Team Liquid in which they can work with.
Such a big round to turn the odds in their favor. A costly conversion if they're able to do it, and Camo will add to that. Captain scurrying through ramp, those steps should have been heard, and so Serial will ferry precious cargo over previously troubled waters, now cleared up, and Camo recollecting a rifle as well. Everyone supported, and the orb picked up just to min-max things a little further.
Audibles have been held, that's why Camo repositioned. Kiko holding the crossfire. Worried about CT, where that captain could have went, and well, Kiko will send this one home. The Sheriff's doing a lot, the rifles chipping in. Team Liquid getting their first.
Liquid reading this macro fairly well on this round. That toxic screen that goes up just allows them to pinch the players through vents. It's a nice catch they were able to find onto Yetiji. Just more individual heroics, right? I think Kiko and Camo are only seeing headshots right now. Kiko, the highest percentage of that statistically of any player other than Captain, I believe it is.
Heavier towards the B side, creating pressure which Fut need to try and respond to. Still not fully committed just yet, having to use the snake bite to get some delay. Now this creates a question mark as Team Liquid move away.
Players in a dangerous position here to explode on the site. It's a slight correction. Kiko second to Sugetsu, as notorious as he has been. You're talking about a young duelist here who's already proven his worth on the role in this team, as he was last year.
They're doing really well to use the sky to go and clear out any space that they're worried about players to be in. Straight into the site, Kiko gets the first.
It's with the showstopper as well, so counts for nothing there as Nat crosses the threshold. It's at a captain with two badge. A 3 versus 2 situation. It favors Liquid for now.
A spike plan in the position it is in default. I mean, Team Liquid have to play on the site.
Looking to try and fight towards Garden as well. It's Kiko first contact, and Patitech falling back to the pillar. Nats curious of the potential flank coming in. Kiko locking things down, and Nats getting himself yet another. That'll make it 1,501. Took him a few rounds, but he got there in the end.
Big milestone to reach. It's crazy considering how long Nats has been around. The fact he's hitting something like that. You're starting to see Liquid are really getting an idea for how Fut want to play around them.
no Valo normal
nice entries on towards B, cutting off rotates as well. Nats doing excellently.
I imagine he himself won't be aware of the statistic, but congratulations to Nats. Plenty of Liquid fans in the house.
ए कल वो नहीं
celebrate
है ना
that,
एने
but
नहीं है ना कल ये
it's
भी
cut
है ना
short, of
chat
course, there's a game at hand
परसों
already
है
into
ना
Garage. But will go.
परसों I
Cracks
think
in the corner. He has a way to get out.
एने होएगा
Zeus does
पैसिफिक
as
नहीं
well.
होएगा
Here's
मैं
a
किधर
little
जा रहा हूँ
easier. Kiko with the punish. Camo in behind. Liquid arriving on the B site. There's still bodies
परसों
here,
12
but
तारीख
they're just the next ones on the chopping block. Yetajay holds, but not for long enough. So the
zero
party
होने
is
वाला
back
था ये।
on. Liquid in the house.
मेंबर्स में नहीं हो रात को
1v1.
Watchparty के बाद
Lats is trying to see if they can go and hunt for this last remaining rifle. That economy that we were worried about has well and truly been bolstered. Mr. Fallen needs to be
4-0
careful
now.
not to give away his rifle.
किधर हो सकता है कुछ
First of those does go onto Nat. It was a strong start to the map from Foot. You
कॉमेडी
convert
जगह
the
पे जाऊँ
bonus,
मैं समझ रहा हूँ
then you lose that thrifty round, the eco,
अभी
the
मैं
half
12
buy,
को जा
whichever
रहा हूँ
way
13
you
को
want to
जा रहा
call
हूँ
it.
कभी
It's
जा
a
रहा हूँ मेरे को
backbreaker
कंफर्म
mentally,
करना है
especially when you look at how Liquid were able to convert momentum on Lotus to a point where it got out of hand completely.
Yeah. And I think for me, talking about Foot and the wider kind of game
Scope of
plan.
things.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, thinking
ये
back to
नर्स
the
अपना
Gentle
अलग
Leagues game, right, and the
ही
way
घूमता
that,
रहता
that
है
happened, I personally felt as if Foot maybe
कितना
got a little bit
impact है
outclassed
पता है वो एक
strategically in
अलग
how
घूमने
they
की
played
वजह से
that series, but it was
मैच
the
चालू में से पहले
individuals
लोगों
that
को
were
मालूम
able to
पड़ता है
carry
कि
them to
बंदा
the
लर्ट
finish
करने
line.
वाला है
And
फिर
when
भी
those
कुछ नहीं कर
individuals
सकते
don't turn up, what has Foot got to
तुम लोग
rely upon
सोचो
to fall back on? And I feel as if right now, it's the same thing, right? Team Liquid
would
are
destroy
starting to
Viet
outclass
today.
Foot
I
in
think
the
so.
strategic
I think
department,
TH आज
and
जीतेगा
the individuals aren't there to back it up.
लग रहा है
That's the concerning part, and it's been a
इन्हें
long-term
कब से
talking
12
point with this Foot team. You talk about it being a roster which have aspirations for being a top team both domestically and internationally, but it's not the latter without the former. They've never made a VCT EMEA Grand Final, always just held before they can make that top cut. Always another team which we see at that second Masters event of the year when you open it up to the top 3 teams. So it's not exactly like they're far off the pace, but even when you consider last year and then making their deepest run in Shanghai, you then go to champs and it's your lowest ever placement at an international event. And that comes back to the strategic conversation when you look at some of these other squads.
100% agree, and I think for me, like Foot are always trying to evolve, but they're not
don't think you
completely changing
enjoy
what the team
stand-up
looks like.
comedy shows हो
It's
जाएगा नहीं,
bit by
अरे
bit, piece by piece,
stand-up
brick by brick.
comedy show
And
नहीं
the
जा रहा हूँ
problem
मैं
is though, is we're not seeing the improvement in the
कौन
server.
का सीन है
At its core, it's a team that won VRL finals in 2022.
Yes.
We
मैं
had to
12
get
को
the
जा रहा हूँ,
challenges
13 को
reference
जा
in
रहा
for the
हूँ।
broadcast, but you
देखने
understand it completely. Both Gaius and Sway saying their piece from the coach slot during the timeout, both with contract extensions
हटा दिया
last year.
रोटेशन में नहीं है हटा नहीं दिया
Goes back to what we're saying, that constant evolution of this Foot team.
Who's next?
Try to take a couple steps forward. Could they be put
Discord
back
World Cup
another
का
in the
अभी खत्म हो
process?
जाएगा
Liquid on the
Watchparty
offensive.
ज़्यादा
This
बचा
one,
नहीं आधा
the gun
Watchparty
round.
डन है
It's a dimensional drift from Camo that puts him right in front of the rest. And with the combo utility, he'll take backside control.
Team Liquid looking
वो भी
to
घुस
back
गया
up,
रेस भी घुस गया
backfill the space that was created.
Land के बाद
It's
pick
Foot
लेना था ना?
immediately to fight back. An advantage in which they can trade down from. Team Liquid making their way on and doing well, or so you thought.
गलत मारा रे
Straight
Q-Rex
back
ने
into this one as the answer. Liquid's 3 in a row.
Mr. Fallen
रेस
has
को ब्लाइंड
just
के
let
बाद
the
पिक
dogs
करना
out,
था
man. The whole
बे
zoo is off the leash. Birds, dogs, it's all flying in the face of Liquid. Well, Sky,
12 को
as
जा
an agent,
13 को
some
जी
of
का
that
मैच
utility
है
can be a bit
देखते
telegraphed. Yeah, it just kind of holds them there. And after that initial piece
दूसरा
that we see
उसने
come out from
VIT
them, you know, the
versus
strap
TH.
book, the Valor plant, whatever you want to call it, getting Camo in backside. There wasn't a second layer. It's a
Like,
very
Josh
straightforward
on
response
top
from
है.
the defenders, but an effective one.
Liquid जीत रहे फिर भी जोश नहीं है क्या सीन
Look towards A. This looks like a set piece here. As the barriers drop, Paranoia being held. Would have seen the Fade Prowler and the
खुद को
TP,
कुछ
but
भी करके
how
दो
they decided to
राउंड बैक
cancel
टू
it.
बैक
No,
जीतना
straight
पड़ेगा
in. I mean, it looks like Foot are just going to miss their opportunity here, although Zeus does get Camo.
And while Camo is dead, it means that Krax is actually able to just hold on to this space himself, someone that we so often see on an initiator. Now free roam on the duel list and locking Liquid in to the B tower. Up into the apartment block they go with the intent to hit the site.
It's whether you're locked in with Liquid or Foot's the one that's locked in, and it looks like it's going to be Foot that's caught. Liquid now looking to continue forward. The Viper's pit deep in. As just tries to go and catch a player off guard, which does not work out. Cracks now has to try and clutch up a 1 versus 3.
You're looking for Nats here if you can find him. I mean, players are low. The nade would have been nice. There's a star on the spike, and you're out of options if your name is Cracks.
Yeah, I mean,
how is he still alive?
I don't know. The fact he's decayed all the way down, it should be so easy to collect. And it is. Team Liquid making sure to keep things even.
Serial sees that one, he's like, what, for free?
भाई whiff किया यार उसने थोड़ा.
So Liquid
निकाल
the
सकता था
scoreline at 4-4. And while Fut are coming on to some pretty impactful ultimates here, a pit of their own. I'm looking at that tour de force in the hands of Zeus, and I have to say, this chamber so far has been very quiet. Last time we saw it played was back against Fnatic. I think it was at kickoff. And so, it's not something he has loads of reps on, but when you talk about him as a player and that player profile, he's not like a CNED. He does like the rifle in his hands. We don't see him all too often.
We're going to see it this round. Tour de force being used to hold that line of sight from heaven. Same time though, look at Team Liquid, they're so passive in this round.
You are divided.
Dog is doing God's work at just clearing out middle. This is why you pick the Sky, you want the info. Yetajay gets it through a face check. And it's a rough procedure that he goes through. Scarred as he drops back. Zeus holding on to heaven. And that's where Fut hold on to hope. I mean, look at how late this attacking rotation is through middle.
Looking to maybe have an ace up the sleeve later into the round, but so other Team Liquid can actually hold on to the site in the meantime.
Yeah, Fut just haven't read the situation, so they're slow to re-engage themselves. This double-pronged backstab prepared, hovering above their shoulder blades, whether they know it or not. Attacking getting another kill in the time being, and so now the penny drops, and as Zeus swivels his head, he drops to the ground as he's filled with lead. Patatek one back, and now there's really a chance, but the defuse coming in, Serial buying time, smoke to deny visual. It's a hit and hope, and those shots in the dark simply won't land. Fut restoring their lead in the rifle buy.
Yeah, I mean, Team Liquid, they build their own, right, but they're building it with a house of cards. They're trying to have it multi-layered, but it just falls flat on their face. I understand what they're trying to do. It's clearly obvious, right? But as Fut take the sight away from Liquid, they just do not have what it takes to hold on to that spike. And from there, yeah, like, it's one of those things, right? Bringing it to like a Haven comparison, you never play from long if smokes are up. You don't play from far away if you know that Fut can get a smoke onto the spike.
Another purchase for both teams. This one a big swing round, not too much money left on both, but Cracks can add to the coffers a couple extra points. And more importantly, the early advantage in this round. The information circling back to Mr. Fallen. The flash to re-engage onto heaven. Keep Liquid at arm's length.
Liquid have got the space, yes, you lost Kiko. It's what a Fut's response right now. Going to clear out towards the A main side and take deep space. You should know that Liquid are still hanging around, and Cracks definitely can confirm that.
It's a scary realization, but still Liquid yet to be posted that eviction notice. The final of the flashes coming out from Mr. Fallen, clearing towards Garage. Fut, as much as they have an affiliation with the Fade, less tools to work with now as there is a Sky in the comp, but they've not got the info.
Team Liquid running out of time. They need to commit to something, and it looks like it's the B site. A player in towards Rafters, found out, Serial gets that pick. Still though, Mr. Fallen's coming in late. He could get the perfect timing right now, and Liquid haven't thought about it. Activated at the right time. Still though, they keep their head even. 3-3 right now.
Zeus coming out, but no capitalization. Only Mr. Fallen there. Zeus finally following it up. But a 2-on-2 situation, and the rotation only coming in now.
You look at where Patatek's going to towards CT. Something to work with. As Fut come into the site, a 2 versus 1 where Camel needs to stand tall and does so. Yetajay still holding on to heaven, but as Patatek comes in, Camel clears it out, and we are still neck and neck.
But all the while we hit the status quo. I mean, this advantage
well,
is
I think
with
it's a
Liquid.
clean
It's favouring
2-0
them as the
मेरी
rounds
जान के
go on.
तो
I mean, you look at the timeline.
डिफेंस में तो क्या
That's
करेगा
now
लिक्विड
5
तुम लोगों
from
को
the
भी पता है.
last 7 which they found.
Nuts by
It's
एक
another
लेंगे,
round where
चार
Camo is
बंदे
just
भी.
laser accurate
छोड़
with
दो.
this vandalism.
आधा
I mean,
मैप
look at
नाट्स
that
पे छोड़
one
दो.
tap onto Zeus. I know Zeus's Twitter
कुछ भी
has
बोलते हो,
1
कौन सा
million
वाइपर
in
ये
it,
खेलता है?
but I think Camo's actually just asked him to take it out.
Yeah, mate, 100%. Well, look at this buy that's coming through from Fut right now. It's not looking good, and it's not looking good in the round either.
Yeah, this one is over before it really gets started at all. Rotations being heard by Patty.
Best
So,
of 6-6 or
I mean,
pistol
Liquid are
जीतो.
presented with options here. You can rotate back towards B. You know that the site is free.
उधर.
Instead, they're just allowing
That's the best
Patty
hope.
to take his timing, be the Joker, the backstab in play. But can threaten the site control with this utility though, and already that begins through Mr. Fallen.
One enemy
Through
remaining.
towards elbow, Patty Tech now coming in,
Ah.
but Mr. Fallen has put this round on his back, and he only needs to go up against 2. So both players need to play
Nats.
together. And while Patty Tech
As
was ready
usual,
to
Nats,
swing off
baby.
Nats' contact, that will be 6 has it.
It's like
ऐसे
a
का देंगे
one-way
डिनर के बाद
mirror,
नहीं रे.
that spike plant, because you have
खैर
this
जो भी
slight
लोग
feeling
स्ट्रीम
that,
देख
okay,
रहे
maybe I
हैं
can stick for
जोर
half
से
here,
लाइक
maybe I
दबाओ
have a
यार
little
क्लोज
bit more
टू
security
2K
because
लाइक्स
there's no
ऑलरेडी
Liquid
मेरी
players
जान के
watching.
टोटो.
But they could be right around the
बुंड
corner,
में
and
से आ रही है
and that's the
पसीना.
scary part. I mean, it's great damage from Fut on this round.
अरे अरे कान में पानी
They had all angles held, as
पानी
Serial
में
says.
कान में पानी डालते.
The backstep from Patitek was brilliant as well. Now Fut doubling down on this A-hold. They have 3 players here ready to fight.
Yeah, well, you look at Liquid, they've got 5 and they're ready to send him forward with all the ultimates that they have in pocket. Don't account for Yetaji playing in the corner, and Camo so deep. To think about elbow, but they do it now. After the players walk in,
W hold,
out of
W
nowhere,
spin.
it will be 6
W
to
hold or
6 and a
W spin.
half.
W. बाप के लगा
It is
पर
a strong recovery
कौन सी टीम को सपोर्ट कर रहे हो अपना
from the
टीम भाई.
situation for Liquid, but is that going to be enough?
Nats is natting.
We'll have to find out in the second half.
एक सेकंड रुको खाना लेके आया मैं पट से. छोटो सा स्टार्टर मंगाया होगा. बहुत भूख लगा है सर. किसने खाया सुबह से माफ करो. अभी तो 4 आम खाया उसके बाद चाय. मैंने स्टार्टर में क्या मंगाया मालूम है? क्यूट सा बेबी, क्यूट सा स्लाइडर. बर्गर ही कहते हैं ना, छोटा बर्गर. स्लाइडर क्या होता है? बंदा आपसे इंस्पायर होके चैंपियन का स्किन लगाते हैं सब लोग. लव यू यार. उसे वापस किने हो गेम का, पूरे गेम का वापस चैंपियन, लेकिन वो वाला 2024
tied at the half, and while they found both of the pistol rounds on Lotus to kick things off, Fut have their first, and if they find their second, it's going to be the second time consecutively on Split the Liquid won't have picked up a single.
Yeah, that is worrying. For me, how does Fut look like on the attack, right? How do they implement this chamber in towards this map? Is that going to be the lurker? Is Yetaji on the Viper going to be lurking round? Need to see, as it looks like the chamber is going straight to mid. Viper all alone on A side.
Hello.
This is an area where Zeus can
हेलो
effect.
हो गया, ठीक हो गया.
Headhunter into the pistol is
हो गया भी मेरा
always
सेटअप.
valuable addition, worth its weight in gold or credits.
आवाज
whichever
आ
way
रही है
you
good.
flip it. Liquid on their defender's side against Gentlemates last time, they really struggled
Slider
to
दिखाओ,
get
slider है,
proactive
slider.
and clear together. Group up in the latter stages of the round, and with 30 seconds gone, it's still looking all too individual. Kiko, what can you do?
Looking to play anti-flash. As the flash comes through, the players don't look. Kiko with the perfect timing. It goes even all across the board.
एक के बंदा check किया लेकिन वही बंदा मर गया.
The reason why we maybe don't see the sky too often is so easily countered. Kiko well read and Camo following through.
Spike noted, you heard this.
भाई यही बात है अभी कैमो पहला मरेगा ना तो भी सीरियल के बारे में नहीं मालूम पड़ेगा.
It comes out, the players both come through, and look at that serial out of nowhere.
A different man with
वाइड
every
मार
passing
दिया
day.
ब्लाइंड करके लेकिन
Improvement series to series. And I think it's an important point to raise that first series that you see from him is never going to be the be-all and end-all. It's the second and then the third. Are you eager enough to make those developments? And in terms of the team performance here as well, I think it's so key to note that Liquid want to re-aggress mid later in the round. And they're doing it together rather than by themselves.
anything except for fracture.
This is at the bottom of the leaderboard for this map.
Fracture एक map ऐसा है.
You can see that.
Well, yeah, he heard that he was
और
on
Abyss.
for what? 1.5
ये दो map ऐसा है जो
jokes aside.
एक टाइम पे Abyss भी चलेगा.
Qualified to 5 international events up against
Fracture
Nigel,
ना
who's qualified to 4. But he himself an ex-Masters winner, Nat. So those are the levels to this game that we're talking about.
Ships in the night. You look at the both players in Emea and how they're right next
Bridge
to each
bridge
other.
नहीं लेते रे.
As the players
Solo
explode
initiator
into
में bridge
it.
अच्छा नहीं रहता कभी.
Nats is just straight in with a triple.
And when I talk about that experience, you translate it to the round itself. Nats was prepared to turn his head and play anti there. Rinse and repeat from Foot and all too readable. While Yetajay is going to manage to wrap around vents. This area of the map is still constricted by Liquid control.
एक गन तो मिल गया लेकिन good bonus हो चुका है.
Responding to this pressure, look, they know that the players for Team Liquid are still in mid. Sorry, for Foot are still in mid, so they're going and taking B main.
They're staying active, and that's exactly what we asked of them coming into this map. The longer that Foot lie around in middle, the quicker this can become a very impactful flank rather than just a reconnaissance mission.
I think for me as well, where does Camo go here? How does he link up with the remaining players that are now in mid for Team Liquid?
It's a secure plant, safe towards the pillar. That's where Foot will go. A rifle recovered in the hands of Yetajay. Liquid with 3 of those coming into the retake. Deep positioning Yetajay. That's a captain trying to push the envelope though.
All 3 players for Liquid in heaven. Looks like a captain tries to escape. Finds something in which he can work with, but instead it's Liquid that are working with the dead body of Ata Captain Yetajay, who's been so good in this round. And Team Liquid will convert the anti-eco.
Well, it's not the most comfortable of rounds from Liquid, despite the fact they had a killer setup in mid yet again. They do still hold on to a couple of rifles into the bonus, so at the very least you've hit that baseline. This is what I'm talking about. The cast time on the Sky Flash is one of the reasons why we saw it, you know, her fall out of favor when we had double wall meta back in 2023 with the Harbor.
You know though, like when that smokes up, you're gonna want to try and flash out, right? So Kiko playing the anti-flash is so good.
And that's just the same. Both of them. Valid conversation to be had.
How many times are Foot gonna fall foul to that position?
Oh, it's a mid-fight early. Zeus and Camo locking horns. Zeus getting the better of him, but rifle back to Nats. So no harm, no foul as far as he's concerned. A chance to add a couple kills more to the tally. He'll do it, signing off on the death waiver of Mr. Forward. As Liquid have leverage in this area of the map right now.
कुत्ता तोड़ा, बंदा तोड़ा, blind dodge के एक और बंदा तोड़ा, smoke up करके चला गया. Casual चीज है क्या ये?
Players, both side anchors towards this side, are playing more passive towards the back. They realistically won't get a first engagement.
And that's where we saw a masterclass from Na'Vi on their defender side yesterday. In these situations, playing super passive, just inviting the space, playing for that retake as the defenders as a group. Something else, just getting the elbow cross. That's what Serial's going to do. Boxed in with the gravity well. But he can't capitalize, and so Patty's only got a ghost. His work's cut out for him. What are you going to do? Just fall to the ground. Very bodied in the back sight. And now Foot have the advantage.
Advantage of time. Liquid, they don't have the advantage of weaponry though.
That's with the rifle in hand. Kiko with a satchel. a chance for him to close the gap, and if the captain can capitalize, then that's your way back through. This avenue currently guarded by just one, but it's Ada Captain that stands as the gatekeeper. Fut holding the line and bringing us right back within just the round.
Very, very close affair between the two. And again, though, Fut are struggling with mid. They can't quite win this out. The re-engagement, really nice from Team Liquid.
This is another 4 versus 2 as well, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it does feel like a slight individual error from Serial. This is a conversation which I mentioned before.
No,
and
when it's
such a micro agent and you're trying to play around with that utility, you lose the focus on your gun, right? You're so focused on all these different things, and yeah, it's only his 3rd official playing the agent.
Huh?
A lot on his plate. And then, you know, just swinging out solo mid-sight against the last 2 players probably not going to help. But
I think
I think that comes down to an experience, right? And being disciplined. Back to mid, Fut go. Look at Liquid, they've got plenty of bodies here.
Another rifle round as well. And Liquid are on their last few pennies, so this one has to stick. Nats doesn't need the rest of his team. Zeus, again, a player who just goes straight in and fights on his lonesome. With a TP, he'd feel safe, but no rendezvous required. It's Camo that backtracks after finding Yetijay and putting them up by 2 players. They couldn't convert from this position last time. Can they do it here?
Sure, Nats will be telling the boys to be playing together. TP in towards CT. Kiko would have heard this, and he knows. Spot on, really, you go. Last 2 remaining for Fut.
Balls of steel by
now it's a 5-on-2, and those weapons are hot if you're Liquid.
Ready and raring to go. That Seas doesn't quite catch Mr. Fallen, although thought he was well within circumference.
Sure what utility Pathetic had, but wasn't able to fall back on it. Instead, the support of the site players is all that he needs. 9 for Liquid. Just 4 away from securing a 2-0 and a 2-1 record in this group, which is really heating up.
Yeah, it completely opens up the group as well if Team Liquid are able to win this. We essentially go into what could be a 3-way tie if Fut were to win it.
Yeah, the timeout comes through. I think it's important that we hold that conversation for a little bit longer, because while Koi being defeated yesterday means that nobody can lock their position in playoffs just yet. It's that race for the top spot which is that much more important. When you look at the way the stage is formatted, having 4 teams from either group now as we move to a 12-team league, is that you only need to win 1 best of 3 as the top seed to get to Toronto.
I mean, that's it, right? Like, we're starting to get to crunch time in the group stage right now. And with this being such an important game, like the top seeds starting to play against each other, there's so much importance and micro details.
And you think of the pecking order as well within the region right now. Your Heretics, your Vitalities of the world near the top end. Liquid taking that final spot at Bangkok, but then proving to us that it wasn't a fluke, that they can respond when they have a little bit more time to prepare. That's the kind of spot that Fut wanted to find themselves in, and now we're seeing that be usurped from them.
And I mean, you've got to remember, back towards kickoff, this was a match that in the playoffs was so important, and Liquid came out on top when it mattered. Right now, this could matter a whole bunch for qualification and towards the next Masters and for the whole group. For looking to be a little more direct towards the A side as lots of utilities sent forward.
But no real follow-up from it, and so they're still on square one in terms of space. That's where Liquid want to re-engage back towards the Sheriffs, and the showstopper, the perfect counter, Pathetic. He spoke with his life, and they jump into the crosshair. It's only 1 kill. And that should put a bow on it for now. Double digits, ready and waiting. So long as Yetijay doesn't have anything to steal the show.
लेकिन तुम लोग सोचो बस
It would be spectacular.
एक बंदे ने कितना लर्क करके कितना बीटे देख कितना मार रहेगा कि कोई भी लर्क करेगा ना तो भी यही गाली खाता है अभी.
Maybe you would imagine the coaching staff of Fut would be talking about the next round. That's where the real challenge comes in for Fut.
You think about the composition that they're playing here as well, bringing new ideas since the last time that we saw them here. Liquid, it being home territory for them, with it being the map pick as well. The same way that you considered, oh, what have they brought to Lotus? you're running double controller. You have the Sky for the info gathering mid-round. The Seekers have now come up as well. Yeah. Zeus can maybe, you get him on a deep line early on, then you have really strong control. I think for B, for example, if Liquid aren't challenging it, which they haven't, as the round crosses the line, and that is number 10. They're going for so many direct hits, and I think we saw exactly yesterday when GX were attempting a lot of the same, how that could be so well countered when the defense is as reactive as Liquid have been.
I think as well, when you think towards last week and Fut going up against Gentlemates, Fut came out the better, right? They won out the matchup. But I think generally, in terms of the feeling towards Fut, I think they lost a little bit of stocks coming out of that game.
लेकिन कॉम का लर्क है ना कभी-कभी
Well, it feels like Liquid have improved. Still work to be done. You heard Kiko there talking about the comms.
Input वाला
it's a non-issue when you win the round, but still something that Lohan may be looking to address here.
वो लर्क करके मार भी रहा है ना, तो भी ऐसा मार रहा है कि
this pause as the timeout had been
round already जीत के रहेंगे, ऐसा कुछ. इसका ऐसा वाला लर्क नहीं है, इसका बीटी वाला लर्क है.
Those criticisms and the stocks that
ये बीटी वाला लर्क, ये लर्क करके फर्स्ट ब्लड मार के निकल जाएगा. वैसा वाला लर्क.
We already spoke about how important this match is.
और कॉम को एक टाइम पे पुश करके मार भी सकते हैं.
Group, right?
इसको पुश किया तीनों मरेंगे.
I mean, with the KO buff coming in, we've not seen what the implementation is for Fut and stuff like that. And this is the team that we expected to bring it forward.
Krax is playing Raze.
Next लड़का रिबेल. हाँ. ये एग्जांपल में बोल सकते हैं. Nats भाई वो है जो रिबेल है. अगर वो स्ट्रीम खोल के बैठे किसका तो.
Yeah, it's a different look, and right now the story seems that they just can't break through that glass ceiling. Group dominance would have been a step in the right direction. But Fut taking control of this game, and if they win this round, where both teams have ults, that would make it 5 out of 6 on the defender's side this time, and continue adding to that stat that we so heavily referenced on Lotus.
इनिशिएटर है उसको टीम में टीम से खेलना पड़ता है. बाद में जाता है लड़का.
Seekers to clear out the A side is Fut are very.
Slider भी इतना heavy क्यों लगता है?
Light on this push as well. I mean, it's 3 players which hit the site. You would have been going 3 on 3 in any previous rounds.
The only thing is, though, that spike plant is very open. And look at Fut, they're straight away trying to take heaven.
Such a late rotation for those players currently clamoring through CT.
अभी प्लांट होके कितना टाइम हो गया? Nats को देखो
किधर. Onto the site early doors. Dimensional drift has revealed Mr. Fallen is caught. It's heaven that you've got to be concerned of if you're Fut right now. Those are where the player numbers lie. May well go dead and buried. Kiko camo. 1-2 punch. Double duelist getting double the action. Liquid currently in front by just a man, but that's very quickly settled as Nats has found himself up in the bird's nest, securing that spike defusal.
Point
Zeus will walk away with a kill. He won't find the round. And it's just one weapon that they hold on to as well. So cash continues to be a problem for this attack.
And this next round is going to be a massive swing round.
Huge.
And with it being 7-11 and Team Liquid on the verge of that point, this is going to be a very tense affair.
Oh, nothing. I'm not killing him. Great.
That's given a freebie there. That's, you know, one of the other 1,500.
Yeah.
They don't all come that easy.
Definitely don't. And we've seen him come up before. Needs to come up with a good tier.
It's so cheeky from Nads. And it goes completely unpunished. And as Fut continue to bang their head against the wall, Liquid do make concessions, playing from backside. I mean, Nads gives himself up in the situation as Krax lands the showstopper. Both players blind by their own team's flash. Kiko gets nothing. Liquid don't get bounced back until Patitech hits the scene. 2-on-2, and it's Serial to take the next step. 1 versus 1. Yeti round the corner, and he lands the killing blow.
I mean, that round was a bit muddy, let's be honest, right? Players falling out of heaven, flashes not right, not looking to the correct spots either. A good response from Fut. The thing is, though, coming into this next round, after Fut winning the swing round and upsetting Liquid's economy, it's the ultimates as well that'll be the other point to think about, right? Nightfall, Cosmic Divide for Liquid, that are a little bit more concrete.
The last time after nice bola tha na.
Seeing a nice lineup here being thrown. Should land towards middle, and that's exactly where it will go. trying to counter what Liquid were doing, but they're taking the fight into their own hands.
Yeah, they are. They've completely taken the space for themselves as Fut get the initial fight and win out on B. Had a captain though, he's under fire. No way to really escape. Zeus there to bail him out. And gets two.
Liquid lowered to lesser weapons after the previous defender economy, frail as ever. So Patatech coming back into this one with a Bucky, but it's such a big round to win if you're Fut. Just to keep themselves moving forwards, one step at a time. The gap reduced to 2. And you can see smiles back on the faces of those players.
I think B retake
nonchalant
Astor Vault. B retake, A retake, कुछ भी कर सकते हैं अभी लोग.
Yeah, and getting through that round without using any of their ultimates as well. I mean, like you can see Team Liquid are trying to bring it down to gunfights, make it a little bit more scrappy. I mean, Fut have the better weaponry, right? So that's always going to be in their ballpark.
I don't think Fut are ever a team that you want to go blow for blow with in terms of firepower, as we are seeing this utility repeated yet again. It will land in mid and stop Liquid from contesting this one early.
They're going to be forced to respect it, although Zeus noted paranoia lineup to send him all the way up.
This is the tour de force. I mean, he is
already
nestled himself in quite nicely behind the toxic screen is where the captain was looking to go. But that trip's cut short. So it will be for the rest of Fut because they've not managed to break the neck of the site and get past that initial setup.
Any solution refresh
Zeus is scaling well, taking his time in doing so, being patient, and Fut are now starting to head over towards this side of the map.
And it's at this point in the round when you enter that second phase where Liquid now need to be searching for some information a little bit more proactively because the setup does have gaps. Patatech is aware of the walk that Zeus is taking towards spawn.
ये लोग का A button पे skill कैसा है?
I mean,
जो EMEA दिख रहा है ना वो production का है. Actual में in game वो लोग का key bindings अलग है.
Now calling the cavalry over.
Production के हिसाब से वो skills वैसा लिखा है EMEA वो लोग का असली bindings वो नहीं.
It's a layup for the slam dunk as Camo has found himself another triple kill.
W baby.
It's been a real highlight for Team Liquid. Huge coming through. 19 and 14, top fragged Lotus as well.
These chaotic parts of the round when Fut show us a lapse in concentration. It's not the first time where that first point of contact is hit and then there's a player lurking in the shadows that just steps through the veil and sends Fut the opposite way like Sirius Black.
Yeah.
Now though, still Team Liquid again with these spacing of ultimates. So much online and available to send this one home.
Promise.
You look towards Fut and what they have, Seekers and Viper's Pit, they can be very situational.
And, I mean, that's it. The hedge has been trimmed immediately by the Phantom. Those Seekers go down all too much information.
Space
that's it, right? Now you're trying to hope to get into a post plan to have a Viper's Pit.
Yeah. It's another solo fake that Fut are trying to play through Mr. Fallen as they group up towards Garage. Serial on an off angle, a deep angle, in.
Oh, brilliant timing from Serial. And
gets the reward.
Showstoppers there to be used.
There is, and this is where Liquid will then look for that set retake. I mean, right now I've got to be focusing on Nat's invent. He sits right in the middle of a couple of Fut players, whether they know it or not. It's Mr. Fallen that will go down, and now warning signs for them as they'll look to set up on B.
Now, it looks like Team Liquid are in position to send this one home in a 2-0 fashion. 5 players standing there. Yetiji looking to play upset as the ultimates come in. Ata Captain can't stand the test. Now, a 1 versus 4, which he'll have to try and clutch up. Yetiji won't be able to do it, and Team Liquid will send this one home 2-0.
The floodgates open.
Saurabh
second map from Liquid, a little more laboured.
कहने क्यों नहीं करता यार 4 रीजन नहीं कर सकता
impossible है मेरा. Timings
के हिसाब से impossible है 4
now with at least 1 loss, and while it's bad news for BBL, 3 teams will go to a 2-1 record.
This now starts to get very interesting across the group, right? Gentlemates
have beat Team Liquid,
Team Liquid have been Fut, and Fut have beat Gentlemates. It now goes in a 3-way tie.
क्या
something to look forward to, right? There's still plenty of matches to be played. 2 more weeks of
Increasing
games.
your revenue, but
and still
love
this
you,
one
Binks
isn't
bhai.
finished,
GEELI,
right?
I love you, मेरी जान के टोटे.
Liquid given their hero's moment in front of the fans, which have come out in their numbers to support.
Hey, Benards.
The only quiet moments were when rounds weren't going their way, but not a story which lasts for long. After a struggled first week,
जो team
we're
का
seeing
backbone
strong
रहता ना.
signs from them as group play continues. We're going to be heading to a
अब जो
short break, but when we return, we'll
होएगा.
have the second match of the day up for you. It's Vitality versus Heretics.
Bye. ये crazy होएगा भाई. हेलो. क्या बोला था मैं? हाँ, ये crazy होएगा. क्या लगता है चैट? डर के टाइम बेबी या टीएच? दोनों टीम बाप है. दोनों टीम इज बापेस्ट ऑफ बापेस्ट. Chasing the vibe, chasing the vibe.
I'm feeling good, feeling great now. A hater can't play with my day now. Get that negativity out of my face now. In my city, I'm the man of my state now. Yeah, I'm living life to the fullest.
चलो ना अकेले रात को सबके साथ खेलेगा. क्यों वो बर्बाद करोगे अकेले रात को? सबके साथ ही खेलेंगे वो.
Just another chapter in the test. I know I'm doing better than the rest. Got a smile on my face, showing teeth for the crest. It's no sweat, I'm a vibe in my own right. Go time in the sun, yes I'm gon' shine. So fine, got a baddie on my phone line. Feeling good, feeling great, chasing these good vibes. Feeling good, feeling great on my time. Won't let a hater.
La la la. Chasing the vibe, chasing the vibe, chasing the vibe, chasing the vibe, chasing the vibe. वो एक रेंज करके मारता था, बढ़िया प्लेयर था वो अभी भी है. अभी भी है वो.
Put my soul on that beat, I'm ready to feast. Margaritas with some divas, I'm pouring the drinks. I'm living life to the fullest, the blessings in me. Don't really care what you say, whatever you think. Nah, unequivocal miracles with the lyrical. With the homies trying to pop like the cereal. Lucky Charms got a model.
Oh, by the way, last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 लास्ट 7 मैचेस में, लास्ट 7 मैचेस में हेरिटिक्स ने एक बार भी वाइटैलिटी को नहीं हराया. एक बार भी. चाहे बेस्ट ऑफ 3 रहने दो, बेस्ट ऑफ 5 रहने दो या कुछ भी, एक बार भी नहीं आ रहा है. Just saying. They are 7-0 head to head. Technical Binks. हमारे भाई तोसे भाई मैं एकदम बढ़िया मेरी जान के टोटे.
Welcome back, one and all. Zoe here, joined by Tom and Mac, and you're having a good time, are you?
Yeah, it was a good game. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Binks, what happened to Raven in S12?
This is celebration, I've heard.
तेरे को नहीं पता यार, सच्ची नहीं पता. लाइफ में चिल कर रही है भाई वो.
He looks great.
I'm talking to
गेमिंग
HR.
के बाहर जो दुनिया है वहाँ पे वो है और चिल कर रही है वो.
Aren't we all? Aren't we all?
Stop flying back to the US.
I may have said to the person giving out this wonderful merchandise that I would use the
Let me start on the AC, get some water.
Yeah, and then I said if they win,
Wash my hand
I'll
and
put
my
on
burn.
the headband.
How long do you have to keep it on now until they lose?
No. Luckily, I didn't promise anything of that sort, so I can technically take off whenever I like at this stage.
Okay, I love that for you. Moving on to our next match. Very insightful. No, but this was obviously a fantastic showing for Team Liquid. And with that victory, they also just like turned the standings upside down.
Yeah.
At this point, I feel like they got something in there because they're making it weird by losing to mates, and now they're making it weird by winning against Fut. What are we doing?
Yeah, I think especially if you look back at some of the clips, Paditech definitely wanted to win versus mates more.
Yeah.
But at the same time, beating Fut, I'd say a much higher chance of topping the group. You have that head-to-head, so yeah, they're in a great spot right now, and I think that considering they made a change and had to sort of edit things on the fly,
yeah,
they looked really well prepared coming into today.
Yeah, it also just goes back to, you know, the strength of schedule we were looking at. There's all these teams that were 1-1, 1-1, 1-1.
Yeah.
And TL, we were like, look, they're going to look good. Some days they didn't look too good. But now with the head-to-head against Fut, there could be a world after beating them that they're going to end up being in a situation where head-to-head will potentially matter going into the next 2 weeks. And that can put them into a much better position moving into playoffs. That's huge.
Could be one game to Toronto. Could make back-to-back Masters.
That's it.
Quick math. That's what we're all about here. Let's talk about this next series because there are, of course, high stakes in this one as well. Let's talk about the teams. Beautifully done. Race of a gazelle. It really didn't know. I'm not gonna lie. I hope the two teams we're about to see are not going to be a letdown for us. Let's talk about what we saw from them recently. Starting here, of course, with Vitality. They're coming off of a very tough loss against Fnatic. Up until that point, they were undefeated in EMEA at least. Masters Bangkok didn't quite go their way. Yeah, but
I need to work on that one.
This one was a toughie. What do you take away from this?
Yeah, so look, for Vitality, I think they got played. And what we want to focus on here is Boaster last week, especially on Lotus, especially on Haven, was calling the most crazy mid-rounds. And you're thinking crazy. Look, from the shadows straight into spawn, you're thinking, all right, what's an IGL going to be doing from there? But he's just going to be able to fully read the rotations. After getting dinked, he's on 10 HP, running for his life. That's on the map, which you can see up the top left there. And he's going to find a little hidey hole here at stairs. But what he's going to do is hear Durka chasing him down. As soon as he knows that, he's going to take a bit of a gamble, say, okay, pretty sure C's free, guys. You can see them start to go for that rotation through sand, and if we roll the clip from here, he goes down. That confirms his thoughts. In the meantime, there's also, you know, that the Nightfall and stuff used over towards the B site, which denies any hearing, denies any audio cues, and that just gives them so much time to get into C for free and establish incredible post plants, not just on the site, but aggressively towards, you know, the CT area, and then also over towards Waterfall as well.
Yeah, I think the big picture throughout the entirety of this series, especially the last two maps, was that Vitality got out-called. You're not going to go into any match and go, individually, this team looks bad. Like, oh, this player's not there, this player's... It's more focused on, okay, we're playing retake every single round. And it didn't necessarily seem like the plan was to play retake every single round. It was, okay, we're going to gamble that they're going this way. We want to take the space. We want to get back in. And then they go, okay, now we're forced to play retake. And they're not ready for it. You saw how aggressive Fnatic were being. You were seeing how much ground they were taking in those post plants. And it seemed like a game where Vitality, as I said, just got out-called.
Absolutely, yeah. Boaster was shooting on the server, but also just calling on an absolute other level. Like, that's a Fnatic we wanted to see, and Vitality was on the receiving end of that. I had an opportunity to talk to Les prior to their match today and talk about what went down last week and how they recovered. I now have the one and only Les joining me for a quick chat ahead of your game. But before we're diving into today's game, I want to talk a little bit about last week. You guys were undefeated in the EMEA region. So this was your first loss on the hands of Fnatic. How did the team take the loss? What the preparation looked like heading into this week?
To be honest, for me, I felt that was my first loss too, because I only lost to MEA teams in the kickoffs final. So I felt some bad things too, but how our team reacts was not bad, to be honest, because like we are a new team and we have a new player. I know that we beat Giants in the first week, but we have the same mentality, like we want to improve, we want to learn things and not like have this pressure that we want to be like the unstoppable team, you know? So when we lost, we had a conversation about it and we fixed a lot of things. And I hope that this helped us today.
Yeah, now if we're looking at that match from last week on Haven, you guys did some role swapping as well. We saw Saivo playing ISO for the very first time, yeah, Saif was on Silva. Were those changes pre-planned? Was it spontaneous? Can you walk us through the thought process?
When Saivo joined the team, we had the idea to change Saif's role. Like he was the controller with Tejo before. Now we want to put him only in initiators, Tejo, Sova, Fade. So this was the idea. And Zaivu played with duelists before in tier 2, tier 3. He was a duelist, so we thought, it was perfect.
Binks, why are you so noob, Hati?
You guys were in Kickoff undefeated, so you probably feel confident like making changes like that?
Yeah, our team is really flex. So like we don't have like this that we are afraid to change roles or these things. Like always, everyone is open-minded to change.
That's awesome to hear. And now you just talked about Saivo, obviously.
We get a chance.
Stage 1.
Which
what
team
does he
would you
bring
like to join
the
for
team
visiting?
that we
G,
don't
bro.
see, like outside of the server?
G fighting.
It's always good to have a young kid with us. Like he's not so young. He's 20, the same than me. But like he's new, you know, like it's his first time in VCT. So
भाई एक नया rule निकालो, एक VCT only for 30+, please.
To have, you know, like we teach
हर
him,
बार ये 18 का है, वो 20 का है, वो 19 का है, वो 18 का है, ये 20 का है.
How being this tier 1. So like this is always good for the team.
Yeah, the team that
is
great on camera, it was great on the server. Now for you personally, this is your first year in VCT Emea.
Devashish, bye. Thanks for the membership.
Coming from Americas, are you all settled in? Are you happy here?
Bye, Clovis.
Like it's a good question.
No,
Americas is of course
Lotus
really good.
Lotus में brim लेते हैं.
Region, right? Americas is amazing.
में Viper लेते हैं या फिर Astra लेते हैं.
I was not understanding some things that work here that is different in Americas, but always my team is like talking to me like how works the things and I understand. I think the big changes is like the temperature here because it's so cold. Like, always they are talking to me like no, because in 1 month it's gonna be warm. But I don't see this 1 month like they spoke this 3 months ago. So I'm waiting for this.
That's relatable stuff. Les, I hope you guys gonna heat it up on the server today too. Thank you so much for joining me and best of luck in your match. Back to you guys.
तो ऐसा है कि उसका 12 सेकंड का स्मोक है वो भी 2 ही.
And of course Les for sharing the insight. Yeah, I have bad news for him though. Summer is not here, not this week.
On summer?
On summer. Yes, on summer. Yeah, I'm from England.
It's when the sun is usually in the sky, less clouds.
That hurts my skin.
Oh, that's what sunscreen's for. You know, we can teach.
Precipitation.
Factor 100 doesn't exist.
Yeah, that's true. You just
Actually,
put zinc on. Like, put zinc on your head.
I need a bath of it.
All right,
then I might survive.
We'll get into that in just a little bit, but first let's take a look at the standings, because if Vitality lose here, they will find themselves in a 1 and 2, which honestly will be quite shocking for this team.
Yeah, top 4 at Masters, a team that...
Let's look at this. Group Alpha, Fnatic qualify. TH आज हारेगा, so they will go 2-1. Navi 2-1. Vitality 2-1. Apex और JX आउट, तो बेसिकली ये 4 टीम ही जीतने वाला है, चाहे कुछ भी, ये 4 टीम ही क्वालिफाई होने वाला है. ग्रुप ए JX और Apex गयो. ग्रुप ओमेगा में कोई का कोई सीन है, कोई का कोई सीन नहीं है. एमेट और केसी में से वो है, लेकिन फुट, बिबेल और टेल तीनों क्वालिफाई. एमेट और केसी में से कोई एक जाएगा.
Former team. Alpha, you said in the post-game interview for Fnatic that it just didn't feel like Durka was on.
Yeah, well, there
was a round where he basically sprayed 100
that particular one, he was feeling himself.
Opponent's body, but yeah, it was definitely a bit of a rougher performance for Durka than what we expect. That's the thing. The level of expectation on Durka is basically best player in the world, so that's where we're looking at this guy, and honestly, yeah, this is the round where you know that this was basically him wanting to beat out his former team. He wanted to prove that although he left a squad that has multiple trophies, he can go on and do that without them. And I think maybe the occasion, because for his standards, these are incredibly bad stats.
Yeah, look, this week I think there's going to be numbers a little higher than that.
हाय
A bit of a
कितने टाइम
redemption
हर
arc
ग्रुप
coming
से
through
मास्टर्स
into
जाएगा
today's game,
मास्टर्स
so keep your eyes on him. And
कब पता है इसके बाद जो प्लेऑफ होएगा तो दोनों ग्रुप से 4-4 टीम
swap
जाएगा
up the roles depending on the
फिर
map as
प्लेऑफ
well.
से आई
And they're a
थिंक
team with that much
team
experience that they are able to
Masters
make it
जाएगा
work. It's just
If
a
I'm
matter
not
of
wrong.
if, you know, a team like Heretics, who are very good at prepping and counter-stratting, are going to be able to have a lot of footage to go off going into this one.
Yeah, I mean, they have the stats, the numbers, the history on their side, because they are, in fact, up 7-0 against Team Heretics. So Vitality,
मैंने कैलकुलेट किया.
on that metric, should have the upper hand here.
But it's a weird one to look back at statistically, because
Completely
last
different teams,
year,
yeah.
well, not even that. Last year, Heretics were a team that made it to a Masters final and a Champions final, but they couldn't beat Vitality, which is a metric seems really weird, considering a lot of the time Vitality were only playing regionally until Champs. So I think that's an odd stat to still be online, especially when you look back at the history of these orcs, and one I'm sure that Heretics will want to break. But this is the time where I think it's most likely to go in Vitality's favor because of the caliber of players they have, and because I don't think we've seen the best of this squad yet. They're not at the level of last year. They're showing glimpses.
He's about to go in,
There's something in the water this week, though. We were talking about how Fut are, like, you know, the best or one of the best teams in that group, and then Liquid just came out and completely blasted them. So who knows? Maybe it's just that I'm here, so everything's upside down. You know,
Liquid, the team that got to the last Masters, is
surprising.
Right? It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, some teams are also just, they gotta ride the momentum. And now if we're looking at Team Heretics, like they got frustrated in their match. Visibly frustrated.
Yeah, well, it was kind of like the battle of the chokes. I think that Vitality obviously had this was them 11-4 now, 11-5 in the lead.
I drank
that's
that
the
slam
reaction.
highly, though.
qualify हो सकते हैं या फिर PRX या फिर G, दोनों में से एक qualify.
Yeah, but you're 11-5 up. Are you that salty a gamer that even when you're winning your
Me
match?
personally, yes. Thanks for
asking.
aura
वाली team है बे.
The fact that you were like, that's a great
भाई
slam.
TH aura वाली team है बे.
Me and Mini Boo roughly the same age. We have that youthful energy. Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could be my
Refresh
son.
करो 1 second से कुछ
No, but yeah, like the frustration was on display
What
there.
if TH will win?
Boo also made a tweet just last week. If
डर के time baby. डर के
there
time.
it is.
There it is.
Bam. As someone on broadcast said, split attack was a generational choke. But let me say this. We choked like that versus G2 in Shanghai. And next map, we were non-existent. This time, reset and keep playing that together with the first 1.5 maps is a sign that we are getting back to where we're supposed to be.
I'm wondering if
that's
it was
such
me
a
that
lovely
said that.
positive take.
I'm thinking back, like, did I say it was possible? It could have been me, it could have been Mitch, or it could have been one of the casters.
He sounds like you. Like,
it does sound like me, doesn't it? But you're not supposed to watch the
Team वाला team है, shooters वाला team
He's a big fan, what can he say?
And
you're bold, Boo.
Yeah,
so
he
like,
got me the jersey.
It's family. You gotta support family.
Yeah, and you gotta criticize family sometimes.
Yeah, that's right. The ones who love you the most criticize you.
Exactly.
Hey, it got him to give us enough bit of insight on how they reset.
Yes.
That's right.
I think it was an overall good, chaotic good.
Overall chaotic good. Is that the alignment for Team Heretics? Chaotic good?
Yeah,
sure.
Okay.
They do
Where's
love to
Kyle by exam में आने वाला है आपका question.
Ooh, I want to say chaotic evil.
पहले मैं skin दिला दो membership ले लिए. Excuse
the
me.
team that is happy to sort of
आता
like
रे?
almost be the bad guy at times. Like if Fnatic is like the team that all the fans are like, we want these guys to win. They're the ones that. No, but everyone needs a villain, and they are. I don't think they're. I'm not saying they're bad people, but they play the villain role very well.
Like low-key implied, but that's alright.
Safe is definitely one of the villains of Emea. Been the best.
Yeah, they're just theoretically evil.
Mini Boo ने मारा तो easy win. मारना तो सबसे पड़ेगा भाई.
In my mind,
which is great to know.
Okay, they're doing it for the bit. You know what? We love the commitment. They are going up against each other in a second match of the day. Team Heretics facing off against Team Vitality.
मत करो यार ऐसा. काश दोस्त एक फीलिंग है फीलिंग जल्दी चलो गया बे pa 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 chat तो ये भी औरा वाली टीम औरा वर्सेस औरा बेबी आगे भाई क्या लगता है?
The villains.
औरा क्या बोल रहा है?
I can't believe you called them villains. Actually, I shouldn't run with this narrative. I'm
उसके
against
पैर
it.
को क्या हो गया रे बेचारे को?
They have fluffy bear beanies on, so
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, I see what you're doing here.
Oh, and then you got like Fnatic doing TikTok dances, so it's
Fracture
like
ban, love you
it's a
at
low
TSG
bar
जीता.
for villains. That's what I'm not saying they're
मेरे
pure
दिल
evil.
में जो
Like-
fracture ban करेगा वो
I
जीता
love
मेरे
this
लिए.
though. I
Just
love
quickly.
what we're seeing.
Haven is the first map, so you know Vitality did get school on it last week, but the way that they operated on it when they were rocking the ISO, when they were rocking the Yoru, was much better than what we saw from Heretics.
Also, Durka back on Icebox. That's something I'm so excited for. He used to be
Even अभी एक ही चीज के लिए याद आता ना
He
chat.
played for Fnatic, a different roster, different team, but I
Yoru
think he's
fit.
going to absolutely cook on that one. And
Cat
then go back
miss
to
का
their
हो गया
long
मोगली
haul
का
decider.
miss हो गया
Heretics happy to
रे.
go back to split after well, someone said was a generational choke. No idea who that was. But I'm excited for Haven because the composition that's being run by Heretics was sort of mastered by the side of Vitality, and they've now moved away from it. So whether they want to go toe-to-toe in the composition front, obviously it's one that Durka somewhat stole from Fnatic.
This is
when he
gonna
was
be
there.
quick.
But they looked so good on it when they played KC and Heretics back at kickoff. I almost want them to bring it back, run it back, and go, you know what, Mini Boo Woo, we can do it better.
मोगली
What
काहे
about
गांड
Vitality
मस्ती
though?
कर
Do
रहे
you think
हो?
they've run the same thing back from last week? Like, is Saiva gonna go back onto that ISO? Like, was that a good look for them? Did you like it?
I still think that Durka
Hey,
safe.
Beaura.
I think Durka safe for me is that duo on those two agents. So I think that it definitely, like, Sivok did fantastically
Kisko
well.
support
He
कर रहे हैं
was
अपन?
the sort of shining star in that map when they kicked off with such aggressive pacing
TH.
that eventually led to them choking out the
जीतेगा.
map. I think that if you get some of those other aspects that we've seen from them, if you get Durka online, I'm actually not that worried for them going into Haven. And I don't know if there's something that's been spotted by Heretics that they believe they can beat them on it. 'cause
पांच
I
ओटी
think
तो
smashing
बनता है
GX
मारा
doesn't really
मारी
tell you
वाला
very
गेम
much.
मेरे
You got the
बाबा.
old mirror match going through.
ये जीतेगा
so
chat,
Hava's
ये
gonna be
जीतेगा,
running
मैं बोल
Yoru
रहा हूँ.
ISO, and it will just be an execution battle. It looks like Vitality on the attack are going to get to do their thing first.
Lil
Heretics
comms,
on the
Lil
defense.
comms.
It's interesting. You know, we didn't get to see a huge amount of their defense last week against GX. They were mostly on the attack and adapting to that aggressive defense that GX was throwing at them. So yeah, it's just a battle of execution and who's going to be the better ones at it.
Yeah, I think also when it's this
लेवल
complicated,
30 पे होना था बैटल का मैच ऐसा नहीं है जब पहला मैच खत्म हो तो तभी
this game is going to go. So slow starts, not acceptable here.
I do like that Team Vitality has that faith in this composition and also into those role swaps.
Yeah, I'm always going to believe that Safe can take over that role, but I think when you get rid of Trex, you don't have that default Sova anymore, so Safe has taken the role.
वो क्या aim 60,000 के?
See indeed in just a few seconds. Team Heretics going up against Team Vitality. Let's send it over to the one and only Pansy and Hypok.
Thank you very much, Zoe and the Desk. Of course, we've turned up in uniform because this is a very important matchup between these two. And I like what Tom said there. Slow starts are not acceptable in this sort of series.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
I think
fun.
as well,
That's
we have carbon
Absolutely.
compositions here, which makes it pretty easy to then identify really who's
कितना
able to
members
stretch
है
that legs
chat पूरा
better
हारा
with
हारा
the
है
setup. I do want to come back to that point. Well, the
भाई
safe.
मजाक से हटकर भाई क्या रहा ये वो लोग स्पैम कर रहे भाई ज्यादा नहीं है सच्ची एक बार खुद मेंबरशिप लेके देखो मजाक से बहुत कम है यार
Favorite players to watch. He kind of fit the role for me that Leo somewhat held, but he's not quite, you know, not to the same caliber, but he's certainly
ओए ग्रीन लॉब
walked the
स्पैम ना
same
करो
path. So a big matchup between these two because we've seen, I mean, in reality, Heretics sitting in a good position. They've got the wins they need to, but then you look at the teams they're winning against.
Yeah, I guess if you don't
technically
scratch
double
the
हो
surface.
सकता
But
है.
again, it's
Technically अगर मतलब
2-1
technically
victory,
देखा जाए.
right? So coming out maybe blood drawn, so to say, and whether or not that the map differential is going to make a difference or not, because obviously we're looking at Heretics potentially going to a 3-0 and effectively locking their position or sealing the deal on that. So yeah, not necessarily an awful situation to be in, but definitely something to keep your eye on in terms of making things a little cleaner.
अरे सच्ची का spam मत करो भोसड़ी वालों.
Context there, a little cleaner would be the objective overall.
Yeah, and you can hear.
भाई YouTube में एक नया फीचर चाहिए. जैसा member only chat होता है वैसा non member only chat. ऐसे दगड़ दल्ले लोगों के वजह से.
Towards the top. Heretics looking a little shaky at the start. A couple of our glances going sideways, even in those 2-1 wins. But Vitality, I mean, they got kind of put through their paces by Fnatic and suffered a couple of bruises from that I wonder if will echo on here. Into this, though, Vitality, of course, on the attack. Heretics on the defending side.
We're going to try and spam a little into the smoke here, but won't be rewarded or even get a confirmation, really, on the other side of that. Elsewhere now, Vitality's presence will be noted somewhat.
बस
Yeah, double stack from Heretics between Benji and
ये जीते तो membership लूंगी. कैसे हो तन्वी जी? ले लो जीत गया TH.
Doesn't give away the game here. It is going to be double stacked though. Durka trying to pry that out. You saw Safe trying to set him up for it, but it's Woot to be rewarded. Takes away Durka, and that's blood drawn.
भाई मार तो सकता था डर के वहाँ.
towards A as well. Cebu already conceding all of the space. Will allow entry at least. Kicks actually drifting up here. Perfect timing from Boo.
And this does feel like a little bit of a game of preparation, right? That exploratory mission towards Garage being actually swung in the favor of Heretics, but noted by Vitality, and then that timing on the heads-up work, but a slow creep towards B, but there's a lot of bodies here. You can see him at the back of the side. Benji around less would need to alleviate this pressure. Trying to work in the shadows in the dark. There are going to be now threats aboard. It's less. And it's not clean enough. Now you look at the amount of Heretics who can flood towards this. The paranoia goes in, but they still can't make the kill. It's safe. Less finally starting to fire. Vitality clearing through him, it looks like. Pivoting towards C.
Rian's nearly catching the backside of that with the
Only
Sheriff.
97 likes. Love you Nile bhai.
With the camera. Will spot Rian's as well.
Members only का game. Iron में खेल लेते Binks.
Moment here for Heretics to consider their approach.
Still got that paranoia, right? Who's the one who could really set this in? But does he gamble it right, guess it right, looking to maybe clear close? I don't know. It's not ideal here. Les would still have an opportunity on it. Here the Sheriff rattling off shots. They want to try and bring him in. But Les stands tall, stands ground. Boo, nice, but not nice enough. Vitality, I thought they were on the ropes, but that late look towards B was wondrous.
A beautiful recovery after losing both duelists in this setup, which honestly, it becomes well pivotal in the pistol round as well. Not just that. Again, making really great decisions. Oh, wow, okay, didn't catch that one off camera, but safe finding kills like that. But yeah, Les plays this perfectly as well. He's not too eager to come in here and find an opportunity. Allows that pressure to build, and I think actually the paranoia landing perfectly towards backside really just keeps both players in check.
That's a great feeling as well after, what was it, 2 kills going in favor to Heretics. Be able to flip that around so diligently. Highly impressive. Now, for Heretics this round, it looks like they want to try and put all the eggs in a certain basket. 4 of them here, and the first couple of fights go down. Vitality cleanly clearing things up. No sweat about that, but spawning Boo and Woot, you're thinking, that's probably a stack.
Vitality बोलते Vitality जीतेगा नहीं नहीं
Vitality don't
ये
want
round
to take
जीतेगा
any risks.
लेकिन
Stacked up now as 5 and actually
upset होने वाला है
potential here for Rian's and
strong
Mithul
feeling
to
आ
get
रहा है
ahead of this, maybe have
members की chat पहले पढ़ो भाई ऐसा कुछ नहीं है भाई जो chat दिखता है वो पढ़ते हैं अपन
quickly closes now.
Looking for the minor victories here. Oh, a nice attempt by Rians. They love the little control, but this is clean from Vitality. Methodically working out the map, and again they've been one of the teams
भाई ये भी
really
crazy
become
मारता
a
है ना
bit of a
chat
beacon on this
उस
map.
दिन देखा था
Want to
अपन
look
ने
at
सेश
taking on
किसको
that Fnatic-esque comp and making it look even stronger. But now Benji, nice. There's a couple more of those though, and couldn't quite turn the flash. Nice from Durka, solid from Vitality, only losing 1.
Right, nice from Durka. Already got the ultimate online as well, which is a huge tool to bring into round 3. Potential here. Set Vitality up for further success early on here. Again, great read from Heretics. Again, they wanted to try and get ahead of this to maybe do some financial damage.
One more. Nice.
Sorry bhai.
Out one more for the ultimate as well.
Mini boo marega.
Potential here to build around that. Whether or not Dirk is gonna
Mini boo ko dekhte raho.
pop off rip or just wait for some confirmation on the other side of things. Again, in terms of well, as good as a full purchase here, it's two Bulldogs coming into things. Don't necessarily want to make any
Binks ka speed
rash
pe pata nahi
decisions.
kisse be. Mini boo ka round hai.
This was one of the players tipped on that head-to-head of who really
चाहिए
has to be an
भाई
instigator. Now he's under a lot of pressure. And get out of garage for now, Dirk. Spotting out the rest of Heretics. And it looks like a time for a commit here. Already going to be supported by the rest of the flood going through garage and up C1, but it's going to be a battle of this side. They're not willing to give it up completely. And it looks like Vitality disengaged. They've actually peeled away.
Yeah, little.
ऐसा करके beat करेंगे वो.
Strange considering it seemed fairly comfortable to commit behind Dirk's ultimate, but maybe saw something they didn't like. Once again, cutting sound, allowing that pressure to build, waiting or anticipating a rotation coming out from Heretics. We can see on the minimap here though. Still a few bodies over on the C side of the map.
W round by Vitality का W round.
And I guess this is standard protocol, right? Re-clear some of the areas, and I like this re-hit from Vitality. Fantastic composure going for this double pump. Unfortunately for them, though, it is absence of any sort of resilience. Everyone else kind of looking in other directions here. Will be a little bit of a tell now, but they may not know the players who are on that lower side.
Actually, yeah, lacking in terms of tools as well. If you look at the utility available for Heretics, might have to brute force their way in here.
Vitality looking exceptionally controlled in this. The smoke goes down, and speaking of control, that's a great shot. Vitality on this double pump, looking so composed. Boo now in a 1v4 feels compulsory at best, and we can hear it in the time. Gotta say, Vitality are running a lovely game here, Mike, and it looked like they had enough of a foothold on that C-side to go for the fight, but actually opted for the more composed approach.
Yeah, and another example where we were almost seeing, like I said, cutting sound, waiting, anticipating that rotation or the over-rotation on the side of Heretics.
भाई 2 बार free membership मिली, अगली बार खुद लूँगा. I hope बाकी लोग भी ऐसे सोचते हैं.
Like you said,
love you yaar.
Absence.
I hope you are enjoying my stream and my private content.
In that chaotic exchange, a lot of utility burnt up. Heretics didn't really have the inventory to do much in the retake there.
And I do love the fact that they're willing to pull that. A lot of teams would have just battled it out, maybe take the gamble of that 50-50 on the fight on backside, but really love the fact that they're willing to walk off.
Morning selfie.
From Dirk's POV, maybe we're not catching something there, or...
Yeah.
Like I said, ahead of the third member, I believe, joining that, would have been a chance to get behind the ultimate.
Only bumps.
Hints of proactivity towards A, but
just wisps, really.
Just wisps. The sewer walk up now coming through.
And I do think if Heretics want to try and clear some of these question marks, they are going to have to dig deeper, but it does get risky then, right? It's that balancing act that gets harder and harder to do this on. And once again, right place, but heads up work from Vitality. Crying out, Blue. This is beautiful work from them. This is probably some of the most clinical, concise attacking sides I've seen in a long time. This is against Sheriffs. Let's see if they can keep this anti-eco in the green, right? Can they keep this looking clean and well considered so far? Yes. Rien's want to try and stick around, maybe play a mini boo, but they're not falling for it. This is surgical. The amount of teams who'll stumble in these sort of rounds.
Thank you for the 150 million today. What can we do to make your life better? Because you definitely make our life better by making us laugh. Bhai, sachi bol raha hu. I am blessed to have Asserting as a family, and I am blessed to have such a beautiful and cute chat. और कुछ नहीं चाहिए भाई, कुछ नहीं चाहिए. सब लोग जितने भी लोग देख रहे हैं ना 3000 लोग, बस एक काश दोस्त मेंबरशिप ले लो.
You're shooting everything.
Yeah, you are. Anything that moves. Anything that moves.
Senti से salesman तक का सफर. कैसा था chat?
Yeah, lovely round from Vitality, but
just quickly though, even after the first contact comes through, there's no rushing. Everybody's still shift walking out onto A long. It's like I said, composure is what I'm taking away from these early rounds. like I said, and actually that could be a concern if we do see Heretics start to explore any further aggression here. It was, I mean, walk through Sue was one rifle and a sheriff, but they're looking very, very calm in comms as well.
And it's timeout time for Heretics, and it's funny, I was doing my deep dive on TikTok, as you do, right? Doom scrolling.
In-game मेरा analysis है, लेकिन जिस बंदे को मैं बोलता हूँ मारेगा वो नहीं मार रहा है, लेकिन उसके अलावा है बाकी सब.
Talking about Thierry Henry back in the day.
Okay.
Watch much football, maybe you do, maybe you don't.
That era,
yeah. अच्छा मैसेज लिखने वाला था. इसमें हॉस्पिटल में एडमिट हूँ, टीवी में आपका स्ट्रीम लगा है, 2 स्टाफ मेंबर साथ में देख रहे हैं, बोल रहे क्या मस्त बंदा है ये. सच्ची, आर दे द क्यूटी स्टाफ? गेट वेल सून यार. जो भी स्टाफ अपने धवल भाई का ख्याल रख रहा है हॉस्पिटल में, अच्छे से ख्याल रखे, बहुत ही प्यारा बंदा है, ठीक है. अगर आपको कोई भी प्रॉब्लम होता है सीधा इंस्टा पे मत मैसेज करो, आजकल माहौल गर्म है. लाइव चैट में मैसेज करो.
Can't be saying that. We can't raise these jokes together.
I'll put on a ball cap.
Trey Battle भाई, thank you for the membership. मेरी जान के ठो छे.
You might be wearing a little.
I like that though.
Yeah.
Silent viewer, love you, Kiran bhai.
He's got some belting quotes as well. If you're into that whole sports stuff, have a listen. Anyway, pace looks to be switched here.
Border change में कल पक्का.
Lurker Henry.
कल पक्का.
Having a walk through garage. And how far does he take this? Because we've seen these kind of a lot of posturing, right? A lot of
भाई डर के का लेकिन
and they're willing to pivot
मेरे जैसा नहीं है प्लेस. पहले गराज लेने का, फिर किधर जाने का प्लेस. हर राउंड गराज में कुछ ना कुछ बकचोदी की है.
Whether or not Heretics have kind of got a sense for. I mean,
अभी मैप कितना खुल गया देखो. ना उनके पास कैमरा है, ना उनके पास ट्रिप है, ना उनके पास कोई इन्फो है.
Safe, seemingly aware of the possibility.
Hey, Dallas Kamte boys, thanks for the $2. आप कहाँ से हो मेरी जान के टोटे? Long time.
You do have that ISO ult as well. You've got a lot of tools now coming through. Is this a contact piece?
$2, 10 question every day. Sort.
Yeah, it looks like burst on contact, ult on contact, paranoia is in, and try and grab a player. Oh, so far Woot says no. Duck has gone down, and now we're into the 1v1. Zevo looking to try and find the opposition, but he's grabbed the wrong thing. Still unfortunate for him here, but now into a 5v3. Starting to actually see Vitality being handled. Woot at the helm, dealing with his Vitality team, trying to exploit them again.
Initially, looked as if Vitality were toying with the idea of a pace change, maybe to catch Heretics off guard, but this time around, no over-rotation, not scrambling to re-clear too deep, just a visual check into garage.
वो देख नहीं सकता. ये इसको हारते हुए basically.
Being something to swing it back in their favor, but
हाँ? ये वो है बे, full support.
3 on the round.
भाई ये हमको करना चाहिए भाई. Full support, लेकिन मैं देख नहीं सकते ये लोग का हारते हुए. लेकिन मेरा support full है. भाई ये चाहिए बे. हाँ 13 को अपन ऐसे करे Watchparty. भाई tough blue idea baby.
Early paranoia sent through here.
He's clean with it.
मारा बे, चिपो ने मारा.
On the squad looking sharp as hell, but Woot trying to get back to business.
Contract complete.
Safe to come away.
Darken आप में same था लेकिन.
Pressure, but it's Dirk to get the ult ready if they need it here as that springboard in.
Second ult by round 6 for Dirk. This time does actually have safe to complement that as well.
एक तो emoji हटाओ बे, कौन डाला पता नहीं mod.
That's probably why we're seeing a much deeper hold here. Still got a trip to play off at the top of sewers actually.
करके मार ले. Round confirm चाहिए.
The temptation is always to re-clear, but it's
this is awkward though. Yeah, he's going to be caught off guard.
Do you fight forward or do you fall back? He tries to fall away, but I don't think it's the right call at this point. Safe's already caught Boo, trying to bail him out, and now Woot all alone. Oh, he's in his head for free. Benching out in a 1v4. He was trying to hold the rest of the map. He's not really got much more to say. There is nothing to be done about this. Again, you've got to almost feel in a way for Heretics here. They were desperate to get some information, some control. and they meet the
अरे
worst
बस ना यार chat.
outcome, really, the second they walk down long.
गुंडी मार दे तो कुछ बोलते हो तो.
So good in terms of the
क्या 3000 लोग देख रहे हैं by the way.
ran away with.
जिसने लाइक नहीं किया अब तक स्ट्रीम को लाइक कर दो मेरी जान की टटो.
Now looking so composed and in control as well of everything that's going on.
बस भाई vitality ना मान रहा बस भाई. Your prediction TH. टोपी क्यों पहना है इसी?
Outside of these clearances we're seeing, we're not seeing any early fire activity from Heretics, but they haven't really had the funds to back that up.
TH जीतेगा.
We're looking a little better financially now, sure, but
2-0. comeback आने वाला.
Again, this paranoia is the first real attempt we've seen in it. Just so happens Sivo hitting both of those headshots.
एक ने चैट ने बोला तो रियन से ना बढ़िया प्लेयर है. इधर है वो आजकल.
It's okay, baby. It's okay. Can you call me a baby?
कौन था वो?
Well, we didn't need it. Yeah, we did that.
Production.
We need the second half of comms there, man. Yeah, you can't leave us on a cliffhanger like that.
We do have a couple ults spinning around now as well. Safe's got his, you've got Miniboo with theirs. Waiting to see if that can be combined with anything. But as it stands, kind of a similar beginning here. This default start with the exploration through Garage taking a gander. They're going to deal with at least the early utility and get away scot-free.
Again, main objective, as you said, utility drawn out.
अब फिर से see. Yeah.
Minimal investment from Vitality.
Ryu, thank you for the membership.
Once more boot.
तो पितार तो बंग में तेज जीत जाएगा. तेज जीतेगा. मेरा बात हुआ है ना वो लोग से. पहला हाफ वो लोग का वार्म अप होता. सेकंड हाफ में जो गाफ टूटती है ना ब्रो.
Let's look at the minimap. I didn't know if did he see anybody on the other side? He was definitely spotted.
Yeah, 100%. And feeling this utility though, Boo's got to know. Boo absolutely knows it's time to run away. Just can't hold that sight. When it's being flooded like this, incredibly hard. So what's the adaptation? It looked like they were thinking about going for a flank, but they've cancelled.
Yeah, now it feels a little more awkward. Maybe to get behind Miniboo's ultimate.
देखो winnable है. Yoru ult मारेगा.
Still got the paranoia from Boo as well. There's some tools.
Omen blind देगा.
To get this moving. I like this actually. Reading it perfectly, but no connection at all.
Yeah, but Durka's going to get his anyway. Miniboo and Rien's going to try and bridge that gap, dive into sight. They forced him away initially. Maybe that early burn on that ult could be a problem. Great from Miniboo. Punishing the spam on the spike.
Gotta get out of here.
Hughes ain't stopping. He's got it. Heretics snatching away the round
damage.
right under Vitality's
Damage भी हो गया. और round भी मिल गया.
On a knife's edge there to try and rely on that in the post plant. It's Miniboo to really find one on the way in, and then really nice timing on that smoke towards long as well.
Language bulgate.
Yeah, Rien's
Gaff, ये क्या language है? नहीं मतलब तेरे पास gaff
with
नहीं
the
है.
plant being there, those two kills are what completely opened this retake for them.
सामने से रखता है.
Once it started, unfortunately.
हेलो बंग भाई कैसे हो? सब बढ़िया. कन्नड़ा बरोदिल्ला मेरी जान.
Starting to get a little bit of confidence now to get ahead of Vitality's early rounds.
Didn't like that one bit.
It's a matter in their own hand.
Can I get a smoke and get out, please? He does have help here, but Woot's
hanging around. They want to reinforce
time
this.
to get away from this, but now I didn't like any of that. I believe the official term is squeaky bum time.
Yep.
Rude बोलते रहते हो मेरे को.
That's what they call it. On to the good now. It being less, you could argue, really impact the way Vitality have been playing. Okay.
All good, all good, all good! Oh my god, and the ult coming in as well. This goes right, Zero's in trouble. What are you meant to do? Nothing. Rien's will get his man. Now starting to rack in body supply. You've got Kicks and Safe, and you look at Kicks' position, he's... Oh my good lord. Feels like that's a window closing, but they've got to step in towards B now.
I get the plan.
चैटी देखना बंद कर दिया बाबा बड़ा आदमी बन गया रे मिल गया क्या बात कर रहे हो तेरे मुंह में घी शक्कर के साथ मुल्ली भी
anticipating that there is might be greeted on the way in here.
Oh
god
trade me it's fine selfless
Come
play
back,
from
Chad.
Vit.
Come back.
I'm not
Come
sure
back.
that
Come
we're
back. Come
gonna
back.
get a chance to look at maybe the player count to see if
3
Dirk
5
is
4
relaying some
5 5
information
5
or
6
if that's a
5
mini-map
6 6
moment
6
because
6 half होने
you
वाला है.
see Boo at the top of the ramp here and completely caught off guard by that. And with Sivo being just behind Dirk as well, you'd almost imagine there was one person on each side of the top ramp.
baby.
He's not tucked. It's an unorthodox position. Yeah, just here. He only reacts on maybe the third. Yeah, the third shoulder.
It's like
Unlike
4x3 moment,
yeah,
right? That's...
It's unlike Durka though not to be dialed in that situation when he's kind of
Let's go, baby.
kind of leading the way for Vitality.
Well, there was enough of something not feeling right for Vitality to slow it down, right? Time to hit the pause button because the momentum has shifted for
Lily,
3 out
what
of the
is
last
this
4 rounds now
language?
going Heretics' side. We've seen a real change of things. That first time out working wonders for Heretics, they did well there, but look at that, this isn't much of a chat between the coach, but I want to see if it's safe mostly having a chat then. Yeah, absolutely is leading that discussion. So it always makes you wonder what's being said here, what he's seen and what he thinks will be that adaptation that they need to bring forward. They've got a couple of ults on the horizon as well.
भाई टाइम आउट लेके भी सेव भाई बात कर रहे हैं यार. W यार W.
So you've got a little bit to work with there, but we can see
Coach
it.
भी like सेव तेरे को पता है ना क्या बोलने का इनको?
So that is now in play. New element to be added.
सर मेरे को पता है. टाइम आउट लो बस.
Right to mention the ultimates as well at this point. Tools available for both teams. Certainly Heretics kept this first half.
He's की टोपी मगर अंदर से वेट कैसे बढ़ना है रे?
And actually rewarded here immediately with that investment. Boo to double down on it as well. So almost considering with the rifle sticking out of the smoke. Heretics.
इसका वो वेपन दिख गया बस.
Pretty much.
इसका वेपन का वो दिख गया.
That's beautiful.
Okay, but you got a 2v4.
2v4 लेकिन डर के है
locked in, but
और लेस ऐसा नहीं है. OP वाला लेस.
Let's try to get the read of things here. And we know what this map looks like, right? It is heavily towards this side. They have the spike. They also have 4 players waiting here. Still have util on the other side of the map that covers off basically every avenue. It would show, obviously, once the camera gets checked, if they decided to pivot towards A. The only thing to get past that would be Durka's utility.
I was going to say, actually, once Les deals with this trip, you can see the TP's left over towards B. Mini Boos, Mini Boos. I guess smelling blood in the water. This is.
Oh my god, he's going to see.
Because he can get ahead of the trip as well.
Yeah, this is really nice.
Plant करके ulti मारेगा क्या सीधा?
Yeah, you guys are cooking. I love this. Okay, plants in.
Plant करके ulti मारेगा क्या? Chat क्या लगता है? Is he crazy?
That TP's annoying. They still have a camera here, but they're swinging. Oh, it's risky. But this TP might be the end of them. The slow death, the creeping death, a valiant attempt being made. But Durka needs to go nuclear, and it's looking unlikely. They put Durka in the corner. Who fancies it?
Oh, shot
be serious on that one.
अरे बच्चा.
Really nice try. Love it they were using the full kit there. But Diffuse is in, and Heretics take another step.
Bring within touching distance now, just 1 round separating. Is it Mini Boo?
आवाज बड़ा भाई किसका आवाज बढ़ाओ मेरी जान.
Just catching, just a glimpse there of the flash actually. Catching onto Durka.
क्या बोला था मैंने 6-6.
Really well considered from Heretics. And even for Vitality to find the plant there.
Restart करो तुम पीछे हो. Pause. Play.
Safe. Try and sell something towards. Scanning ahead.
अपने आवाज बढ़ाओ. इससे ज़्यादा क्या बढ़ाओ?
Just send some utility in. Maybe a shock dart to deal with a trip, but Mini Boo. He's on the walkabout.
That's lovely.
This will. Yeah. Which bit?
That's lovely. What's wrong with me today?
अच्छा चैट कंफर्म हो गया है कि मैं 12 तारीख जो कि परसों है अब मैं जा रहा हूँ कॉमिकॉन मुंबई.
Actually, potentially enabling a stack elsewhere.
और कोई आ रहा है मिल सकते हैं तो जरूर मिलेंगे मेरी जान के डेटर.
Still conscious of progress towards Garage, which Vitality have been
वहाँ पे आर बाल मत बोलना
pretty
अभी
keen
बोल
to
रहा हूँ.
establish early on.
this is such an
हाथी
information
वाथी
hit,
चड्डी
isn't
ये
it?
सब
For the
नहीं है
Outbound
ये
finding
अपनी
nothing,
बात है
and obviously nothing
वहाँ पे
being
बंस
seen by
भाई
Mini
आप
either. They
गोट
have
ऑफ
so
गोटर तो ऐसा
little idea of where this is ending until probably about now. This is starting to feel indicative, like, okay, no, it is coming towards A here. Now, I don't think that they've actually seen Boo. Yeah, he's been found, so that point's nullified. Instantly caught by kicks, and Rienz is trying to stick around. This is, I don't know if I'd be here, but he's fancying a go of it. Yeah, they're swinging. Big work from Woot, but kicks with an instant reply. Massive impact. But now down to the 3v2. Less kicks and safe. Still alive. Benji down.
भाई लड़ते तो है भाई.
Ever proficient, but kicks ahead of the curve. Takes away Mini Boo, and the precious cargo needs to be kept safe.
Locked out on A site here. A beautiful execute from Vitality.
12 को वर्क है यार देखो मेरे पास ऑप्शन था 12 और 13. 13 को important match
has been the focal
इसलिए
point
12 रखा है.
of this composition. Most attack in general, to be honest with you, from Vitality. That's another round, like you said.
भाई ये सब टीम्स का वैसा chaotic वाला fight पे होता है ना.
Yeah, I'm guessing Boo was spotted at some point from
वाला,
Durka and just the spam into the smoke. Didn't actually catch how it happened the first time around, but Vitality now will respond.
12 को मीटअप कहाँ पे मीटअप है कि नहीं है कितना देर है मैं दिखूंगा नहीं दिखूंगा ये तो मालूम नहीं लेकिन कॉमिक कॉन अटेंड करने वाला हूँ
Woot's ultimate's the only one to work with.
कॉमिक कॉन मुंबई सर्च करो मालूम
Feels like we nullified by Sivos almost.
Yeah, exactly.
Game of the
हो
cam.
सकता है थोड़ा शॉपिंग भी करो possible.
Because we can see the X-ray.
तू गाना बज रहा है क्या लो वॉल्यूम में नहीं मेरा कान बज
Seems to
रहा है
be
क्या
the response from Heretics has kind of been trying to put this operator in a
चिड़ आएगा
forward
मैं और
position.
ज़रीफ भाई है
So I think now, I mean, the latter rounds for sure, a better idea of what Vitality have been doing
Michi boy
to set themselves up. No, it didn't.
Curiosity, you heard what happened to the cat. Oh, Mini Boo's down. Patience.
info लेने के चक्कर में
Couldn't last long enough with it. And the punish is there for Vitality. Really cool under pressure.
Again, it's such a slow push up behind this as well, which will allow Heretics to put, I guess, bodies in the positions they want to. Less potential here. Who gets kidnapped?
Oh, hey, he's done with the shield. Oh, nice try. But Rienz was still in such a great position. He was still down.
Bro, क्या मारा इसने
Down to the 1v1. Here
Save
we
the Woot.
go.
Come on.
Woot. He's trying to shoulder it.
Shield
Shield's
with
still
that.
on.
W पे.
Heretics taking
W
another step
5-6 और जो मैंने prediction बोला था 6-6
Great response.
हाँ
We'll be able to
बोला ना
recover
ये comeback की बोले ये
the
वाला
operator as well,
scene
top of
है
sewers. Like I said, it's that curiosity from
जब
Mini Boo
पता है
that
we
allows an
gonna
opening
lose
for Vitality. And this time around, you could criticize maybe not moving fast enough to get ahead of the rotation. Previously crediting them for that approach, but like I said, I think now maybe the penny's dropped in a couple of these rounds prior here.
और back pain हो रहा है
That's crazy.
Thailand जाओगे एक दिन के लिए
Yes, Woot really.
13 को कौन सा मैच है
Heretics to
G5
bring this back to a 6-5 scoreline.
announcement going live at 11 PM अभी
plaguing him
What?
before.
Well, I mean, he was still on crutches down on the stage.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, gosh. Thoughts and prayers. I hope he's all right. We're starting to get the real lay of the land here. Durka trying to do what he does best, and he'd been getting away with that for a lot of these rounds. This, however, was an adjustment. We was doing this in, I think, either the previous or the round before, playing very attentively towards that garage side push. Now they're trying to put bodies behind this, but down a man early.
क्या इस announcement है यार
First time they've really been able to deal with Durka so early on in a round. I think previously it was Les that was caught off guard by Woot and the walkout on B, but it's been Durka the one to poke and prod towards Garage.
This time, it's Boo this time. Way to go a bit. Does he stand? Does he run? He sticks around. He's feeling emboldened now. And maybe he's got a little window to work with. You've got to use your utility early, boys. You've got to, of course, push me away.
Now look how many bodies for Heretics are on the site ahead of the hit coming through.
He's done wonders. He hasn't landed a shot. Gets a tag, not a
अब
frag,
आएगा
but he's bought
safeguard.
time, and time is the name of the game. We're at 30 seconds. They got to make a commitment
30
soon.
seconds left.
Because look at the control that Benji has elsewhere. Heretics can absolutely sit in this, but mini boot drifting away. Now this is how Vitality will win out rounds early on. Hunter's Fury will come through. Will it pave the way?
Rien's still here. Boo still here. 13 seconds. He's waiting to strike. Still in the smoke.
भाई साहब
All day long. Beautiful work.
बाप रे क्या खेला है
But Heretics back up to an
भाई
even
thank you for the
scoreline
membership
at
मेरी
6
जान कर
to
उठे
6.
Beautiful comeback from them.
map heaven side attacking map favored क्या है attacking map किसका है TH attacking में कौन है TH 6 राउंड किसके है TH जीतेगा कौन TH simple as वॉल्यूम किधर गया भींच बेचारा कितना खुश है ना वामोस देख सकते हो मेक श्योर द क्लोन इज फेक माय फैन बाय नेक्स्ट लाइफ में बहुत सी का बंदे को देखा बहुत सही क्या बाय नेक्स्ट लाइफ तेरा भाई esports पे ये क्या होता है बे मेरे बचपन के टाइम में इसको क्या बोलते थे मैंने लपेट रहा है कोई झूठ बोलता था ना ऐसे करते थे या फिर कोई अगर क्यूटी मेरे पास आते तो मैं ऐसा
That turning point from round 5, round 6, and suddenly Heretics having a fantastic read on the game was exceptional. We said you can't really have a slow start. Well, it wasn't perfect for Heretics from the word go.
They almost mirror this first half in terms of the end of it. Like I said, picking up finally on some of the pieces you saw really run away with.
1700 BC.
Hey, Woot's on 17 to 7. There's no one near that right now. Safe, the closest by on 12 to 5. But we're talking about that head-to-head duelist battle. At least the desk was. Woot's winning. Mini Boo not too far away, and that's after the likes of Sivo and Durka having massive impact. I've got to say, Heretics looking sharp, but it ain't over yet. There's two sides to this map. Heretics now on the attack, and of course Vitality on the defense.
Seemingly a little more pacey from Woot at least here. No secrets about this on the way in.
No one else is in. Woot's got to try and puff out the chest. Look a bit more intimidating. It's just going to be kicks. Paranoia still there. Smoke goes in, but they're ahead. Sivo sharp, but it's going to be an instantaneous trade. Kick's going to try and make up the matter from back of sight. Fighting out on his own, but he can't do it all alone. Benji's taking him down. They have the foot in the door by B. It's certainly not secure, though. It can be kicked in any time. Safe here.
B is बाप B plant करके
that paranoia coming in from downtown, it looks like. And Woot just hitting it out of the park. Durka got a miracle up the sleeve somewhere here. Gotta say, Woot's been hitting, looking good. Tap on the spike, trying to draw a reaction, and Woot is there. Show me that one again.
That was absolutely ridiculous from Woot. Again, the paranoia, like you said, from a different postcode altogether, but lands perfectly. Oh. It's one of those semi-accidental, yeah, on the first one. Beautifully done.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what? I mean, he's at 20 kills now. Nobody else has broken double digits for Heretics. The confidence purchase in the round 2 here as well for him. Stack here from Vitality though. 4, almost foaming at the mouth at the top of C Long.
Frothing.
That's not a nice word. No.
It wasn't meant to be, but I'm worried you addressed it both. I was really hoping you just look at me with a judgmental glance.
The vertical stream can still
What
say
it.
Shout out to you 3 viewers. The dedicated few. Benji,
I mean, yeah, the byproduct of that is Benji's walked out with no resistance on A site.
But technically देखा जाए तो ये लोग पास 2 blind है.
That's the odds here of coming through and feeding ult
Technically
charges.
देखा जाए.
Vitality, you're gonna.
Icebox Neon, भाई Icebox में डर के भाई.
I think yeah. With the
Icebox डर के का home ground है भाई. जेट के वो जो मारता है.
Does snowball. You know, you don't want to, as you said, give away those.
क्या गोस्ट आया शॉट में लेनी चाहिए. Obviously लेनी चाहिए भाई. ये frenzy meta में नहीं है.
Potentially send Minibu or Benji.
Binks भाई 2x कर लो, refresh कर लो, 4x कर लो. कर रहा हूँ.
Really going to chance it. Rightfully so. To cue the question marks in chat.
Night market रात को आएगा मेरी जान.
Vintage call.
Yep.
That's a vintage call. Wow.
Do you remember how many Lothar threads we had early on, explaining how the economy worked?
Shoutout मिलेगा क्या?
Reddit
Shoutout मिल गया तो
still
it is over for Vitality.
Those are the days.
कल वॉच पार्टी करोगे? कल वॉच पार्टी होगा 12 को. एक या 2 वॉच पार्टी मिस हो सकता है. NA और Pacific
I'm
का.
sorry to anyone who got timed out in probably sleep.
और फिर 13 से resume.
Challenges game where the paint guy dropped 30 and everyone had less than one like 10 kills.
Vignesh bhai, love you मेरी जान के टोटे. Thank you for the 200 मेरी जान. Chat जो भी like नहीं किया like कर दो. 10 like away है. 3 के like से, ठीक है?
Oh, that was a godly shot as well, straight away. Sivot down to 14. You're not peeking that again, are you?
बाइक से मरेगा तो पैसे में मिलते हैं और एनिमी को अल्टीमेट ऑप्स में मिलते हैं. वो लोग को जो किल बोनस है ना वो नहीं मिलता और नहीं मिलता.
With the damage done with the Sevo. Again, no springboard on the back of that on either side. Reclearance now towards A long. But time and space for Heritage
Vignesh
to
भाई
make a
ने
decision
मेंबरशिप
here.
नहीं लिया. 200 सब्सक्राइब करके मेंबरशिप नहीं लिया. मतलब पता है 2000 का प्लान है विग्नेश भाई का. 10 दोस्त मेंबर में आने का प्लान है. समझ गया. W
14 HP still.
टोपा टोपी है.
Has actually been well handled so far here on Haven.
Late. 5 seconds. 3 players to clear on A. This is
30 seconds
stay uphill. A bit of an understatement, really.
मैंने रोटेट कर लिया. लेकिन वो अभी भी ब्लाइंड देके हेल्प कर सकता है.
20 seconds now. Paranoia's crossing paths, but they have to commit. Get out of here, man. What is that? That's cool. Actually, you can take sites on 10 seconds because many people just backhand 2 players who are meant to hold this, and now they're a man to the good.
Time to perfection on the back of the Paranoia as well. Maybe we're going to stay posted up here.
Oh, I felt it for a second.
Wait, what?
But Les is heating up now.
सब मर गए.
Oh, nice try, but not nice enough.
क्या थे 4v2?
Get that defuse. Stay in this one.
Only one.
मेरा दोस्त मेरे को काश दोस्त दिलाएगा अगर वाइटलिटी जीती. श्रेयस भाई दोस्त लोग बाथरूम भी रहते हैं. मेरे को नहीं लगता ऐसा पॉसिबल है. उसको सुपर चैट करते हुए भी नहीं देखा आज तक.
I didn't even catch actually. I'm not even sure actually looking at the assist counter on the kill feed there.
2v4.
Which makes it even more insane that Minibu still gets the second in that situation.
यार इतना crucial round यार. कितना irritate होता रहेगा ना players को.
That wasn't the full buy. This is silver lining
अगर वो
territory.
लोग
You said
ground
only
जीत
walking
के
away with that
मस्त
one
पैसा
rifle. You're not
ऐसा
going to start
सामने
building
वाली
bank
को.
off the back of this now. Got to get that investment going. 8-7. Heretic still holding on to this lead here. Very early walk up from Woot, but again, it feels like it's just Woot here. He's, oh god, it feels like a battle there though.
A couple of pings from the.
Bye on the 3k likes like करो.
Start from safe as well.
के लिए देखा जाए तो 3000 लोग देख रहे करके.
A bit of a scrap at the start between these guys, eh?
Again, you look at actually, I wouldn't say broken purchase, but obviously there were gaps in terms of
पहले
the
टीम देख रहा
utility.
जो A fight नहीं prefer कर रहे बे early.
Really, Durka and
ऐसे
Sivo looking
A1 तो है ही A fight जैसा.
on the right side of the screen.
जैसा उधर double fight होता है.
Yeah, a little chaotic.
Cage triggered. Here.
Well, again, has been doing very well at handling the pressure coming his way. This time is going to be closer towards sight. Stunner from Durka. That's Woot.
Which org is biggest org in international scenario after S12?
There's pressure coming from
Technically
several
देखा जाए
lanes.
तो
Pressure down
G
A-long,
क्योंकि
and they
4
are
साल से
biting
विकेट
on
पे
this one.
Yeah, look at
That's
Spike.
good. E-fight.
Take a look at the mini-map. Exactly where they're heading. Over towards C. This is all a fake towards A.
ऋषि सर से बात करोगे थोड़ा एक्स्ट्रा देने मुझे
Got free. Oh, caught Benji
कोई नहीं
on
करता
top.
रहेगा
Les is
G
looking
वाले भी
so
करते हैं
lethal
इतना
now.
support
Starting to get some big impact kills. That positioning from Benji could have been everything. It's not now. Looking to try and make that back up elsewhere. Rienz is going for a little bit of an aggressive fight. Spots out two. He's done damage towards one.
या फिर
And
पीक
now
ले
there's
या
a
फिर
third
मत
joining the
लेना
party. This is getting tricky.
Good.
Miniboo picks up the mantle.
Good.
Brilliant from Miniboo. But still, look at the
2 3.
numbers. Rienz and Boo up against 3. Not easy. Not with Safe and Durka wanting their sight back.
W round.
Really well coordinated to even get the plant down. Sell this fake towards A. Like I said, it's a crucial kill, and there's not really any pressure on Benji to make a move there. He can sit back and tuck in almost. Yeah. Be it in window or in mid. Maybe catch somebody on a lazy clearance or just in rotation.
One day.
And I like this initiative though, going back in from Heritage.
तुम किसके साइड हो मैं उसके साइड हूँ
Vitality very aware.
क्या 4000 लोग देख रहे जिसने लाइक नहीं किया फट से लाइक करो जिसने सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया फट से सब्सक्राइब कर दो मेरी जान के टोटो इजी विन फॉर टीएच होने वाला है
Yeah, someone else was trying to do that like last week.
करने वाले तुम लोग
Syllables for it. If it's not Vitality, please don't do it. You know what I mean? It's fine for Vitality. We support that. So you need the URE. Right, direct approach. Okay.
That's all the as well. And it was Leicester fully anchor C site here. Caught completely off guard here. Hunter's Fury will be posted as well.
Can you find anyone else?
Nine.
Got the C site. That's going to be put into place. Vitality left probably a little reeling off of the back of that. That was just a very
टेक्निकली देखा जाए तो
Leicesters
दो
been
ब्लाइंड
doing
के
some
साथ
really
रिटेक
dangerous
पॉसिबल
work
है
later into the round. Hey, remove him early. But we got ult here with Durka. Time to try and take back towards the site. How much info does he get? He gets pretty much all of it. Wu trying to do the dodge, trying to get around it. Still takes down Sivo, but it's traded. Now, straight out on a Durka, taking the back of the site for himself.
TP मार के
Needed
दो
Boo
मार
in a
दिए
1v2. He's got to get there quick. There's problems aplenty. He's ignoring one to take the fight on the other, and harm's not achieved. Boo is still in with a chance on this. Oh my word! Boo, can you do the unthinkable? Kicks ain't on this. Kicks ain't on this. He had to refresh the smoke here. And Boo gonna try and get closer. Red Bull clutch.
Right down to the wire. Boo to seal the deal. Yeah, let's just call in no man's land from this early push from Woot. We've seen him do this a couple of times. Almost bulldoze his way up.
यार almost था
Durka to find 2 crucial kills.
4 hours late है ट्रेन तुम्हारी स्ट्रीम देख रहा हूँ लव यू कार्तिक भाई किधर जा रहे हो
Also cutting to the Vitality fans after that round was devious production, devious work. Nasty of you. Now Sheriff's Mike. Is this a Shiko?
ये राउंड भी जीत गया टीम
Well, yeah, just close.
अगर ए मिल गया तो
Benji,
जीत
how's the
गया
aim training?
Good enough. Good enough. The damage is done. The round's yours.
क्यों वॉक कर रहे हो लोग हाँ अभी बात
You don't believe in the kicks 1v4? Have you not heard the story?
Not today. Sorry. Not today.
10-8
Well, maybe.
Don't say that. Why?
गेम साउंड बढ़ा दो मुंह में डालो उनका माइक
How dare you?
माइक मुंह में डाल दो जाके
It was Rien's first. Full util though.
हेलो लिखित
Stop.
Question mark.
Stop.
Stop. भाई मेरे को भी आते हैं एक्सेंट
Really, if Miniboo can come forward and find it. Well, actually, no, I've just seen where Woot's tucked into. Boot's already got his ultimate, so it's Mini Boot really you want to try and find. This is
3 rounds technically देखा था.
Yeah.
Obviously,
उसमें मैंने
Vitality
क्या बोला?
on the purchase.
Oh, chat.
It's for them actually. Having kicks and that's have their ults, but necessarily.
Second time out incoming.
Bro, they
Second
went
half
so
first,
bad
good
at
game.
A humble king.
Yes.
बोला ना.
How do you feel about his mullet?
गांड दुख रही है.
Wow, that is a loaded question.
What do you mean?
I mean, if you can rock a mullet, absolutely.
Well, I'm not talking the abstract. I'm talking about Benji. Do you like the mullet?
Yeah.
Would you ever get a
Don't.
mullet?
Why are you
No,
looking
I
at
love
Save
that?
by
his
cook
mullet.
कर रहे cook.
Steady. Chill.
Safe will cook now.
I can't imagine you with a mullet though.
I don't think I ever did have one, to be fair.
Really?
No,
It never went through.
I had really bad curtains at one point.
Don't look at
That
me
was
like that. You're
not-
really making eye contact with me saying that.
सुबह मिस किधर है? सुबह भाई थैंक यू फॉर द 40 ये बंद करके
10-8.
टेक्निकली जब भी बोलता है
This will
आते
be the
हैं
one to-
language.
Make things a little uncomfortable for Vitality. Yeah, actually, Heretics almost have a purchase in hand here. Like I said, on the brink of
Next
both
कभी होगा
duelist
पता नहीं
ultimates.
यार. 2-3 दिन बाद.
That's to cause some problems, and now you want to see an adjustment, potentially something coming out of the timeout here towards C site. You do see
2-3 दिन बाद.
some support
कल भी हो सकता है
form
पता
of
नहीं.
kicks. I doubt we'll see less caught off guard again in a similar circumstance.
भाई लेकिन एक बात है बे डर के उतना नहीं मार रहे जितना लगा
Some
था कि
aggression
डर के
towards A. You
मारेगा
have the TP
ना
positioned
बूट
elsewhere.
मार रहा है
So
गलत
again, possibility to get a quick rotation ahead of any pressure towards C.
बूट मार रहा है
See it come through there.
Certainly no early punish on less this time.
पढ़ना भी नहीं आता इसको है जी
Too far off.
Do they fight for it? Is that the response that Vitality opt for?
एक मारा पटसेंस
Heretics almost anticipating that, I think.
Yeah.
Identify that we caught less kind of said out in no man's land. Maybe sensing some of that paranoia on the side of Vitality. Formulate response. I mean, the setup a little unorthodox in terms of the trips.
मेरे को नहीं दिख रहा हर्षा भाई
We'll give them safe passage up long at least.
No distractions.
lol
Backside
Early
clear.
investment, yeah.
अब किधर भी हो सकता है
Both ISOs did have their ult, so
Quick मारा बे
Les is
Quick
so
मारा बे
nasty. Such a valuable little player.
अपन बांडी का
But
लोग
the
है
issue
तो
in my mind is this spike being its current position. How are you ever meant to get it back or deal with it at 10 seconds? You got to go, and there's double stack towards the back of the side. Heretics are left it a little too late in the day. Oh! Maybe I need to shut them out.
Safe!
सेफ से दो काउंटर में मारे
At the right time. There was a tiny window of chance. Or it could have been a coin flip. Falls this
कैसे
time.
उससे दो मारा
That's
और फिर
vitality.
कैसे दो को
Almost
मार
looks as
के
if
इससे
he's-
दो मारा
he was gone
कैसे
for it and not expecting the third to
कैसे
be as close as he was.
ये क्लीन
One enemy, last player standing.
Here, Xy's almost swinging onto CT.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. Hey, good shit, guys.
है
But again,
क्या क्या 11:11 हो गया क्या
before
हुआ
the spray came out from safe there, you know, and maybe it's just focus, you know, that's just blind assumption, but still, this is a very close affair between these two.
Yeah, I mean, and
They're
that's,
9 now.
yeah, the concern being it's only safe to hold on to a rifle coming out of that, and we're going to see a broken purchase on the back of that. I was going to say a lifeline found in terms of the round victory, but everybody said Heretics effectively having a buy in hand. Now have Mini Boo's ultimate to work with. Boo with the TP as well, so still options to make something work. Well, that's what we're seeing discussed now in this Heretics timeout.
सुजन मिस कौन सा वाला सब पढ़ा मैंने तीनों कार्तिक भाई का सुजन भाई का और मेरा
I only
चाय
had
का
one. I mean, we could talk about Rien's, but that's just it's like mullet.
There's not enough diversity to get on
11
stage.
Easy.
Though I'm obviously well represented.
I can't believe you joined the bald buff gang.
Still not over it, huh? I'll go back.
Let's go, bichara.
Okay, now as much as we will see, it feels like a little bit of posturing at the start. I pause because there's rarely commitment behind it. This is all a big show to see early on. Get it all
default
करेंगे, and then kind of rewrite how they want to approach this round.
वो लोग ने इतना एरिया लिया है,
pretty deep position here. Probably unlikely to see him.
कोई मार्क करो, कोई पुश हो रहा है क्या? लास्ट 1 मिनट जब बचेगा तभी इसकी एंड की
first wave of contact, but to say that actually.
चले ट्रिप भी गया.
In the rotate. After not spotting anything with the drone, just going to leave one player posted up in the form of Sevo towards A long.
I'll handle this.
Going to have his hands full once again.
Cutting through.
Spotted out
Over
here.
there.
Yeah, only a Guardian, so.
But he's got help. Look
I mean, look at the blood already.
They are absolutely unwilling to let this go. It's going to turn into a brawl again. Back to the battle we go. They want to commit towards this. They got to go now. We're trying to lead the way. He's still got the shield there. You're going to see the clone go through. You're going to see Safe tucked towards Graffiti. 4 players. Durka takes the corner. Takes the life. Down to Benji. The 1v3. It ain't happening. Vitality closing the scoreline up now.
3 मारे डर के ने.
3 on the round for Durka. He said maybe looking a little
stream snap मत कर,
on the player cams.
Stream snap मत कर.
I said did struggle in the previous matchup versus Fnatic, particularly on this map. Not so much of an issue here in the home stretch.
गलत मारा ना भाई.
Actually, the pendulum swing right back in Vitality's favor now.
मारा भाई.
And a true Shiko.
40 जा सकता है.
The Heretics here in round 21.
We should make merch.
Shiko merch would go hard.
It actually would.
ट्रेप टूटा नहीं था, उसने निकाल दिया था डार्ट लगाने से, लेकिन टूटता तो सही था ना.
I've been theory crafting for years, but we haven't had a tech
Production
course.
just shouted at me. Alberto's just got straight on the mic.
I really want to introduce the audience to Alberto at some point.
It's like TriCast.
Yeah, no, and he loves TriCast.
He does love a TriCast.
And he just went, yes, please, on Talkback. That's crazy.
अगर ये लोग green round जीत गए ना Vitality वाले, next round ये लोग वापस retake खेल सकते हैं. Your World, So World और फिर बाद में वो लोग को पैसा नहीं बचेगा. मतलब basically 13-10 जीत सकते हैं. अगर सामने TH नहीं होता तो. Comes by वो मांगो बेचने के लिए किसको contact करें. Mods को ही मेरी जान करते अभी CX.
Hang on.
अभी CX
She goes to a flying start, actually.
Pause it. Guys, just clip from this point onwards. Thank you.
और अभिषेक भाई, how's Fafa कैसे?
It's not second here.
मैं ठीक हूँ बेटा, आप कैसे हो?
They're policing the weapon. They don't want any threat.
Smart. That's what you say about Safe. Smart player.
Nobody's shooting the dart, so a ton of information on the back of that. We'll get the upgrade as well.
Yes,
It's Mini to pick it up.
All good, all good. Oh my god, it's not good, it's not good, it's not good, it's bad, this is bad, this is going bad. Oh, it's going terribly wrong! Oh dear, I'm so glad we restarted the clip. Can you save us? Save me! Oh dear, he's still got flash. He's trying to just get in front of all this util being just spam! Boo! The 1-2 step for the face save card 3. Of course they do that.
13-10.
That's really rough. Yampy's in the building.
F? F.
But yeah, Heretics. I mean, this is... How did he even find this open?
I don't
know. 13-10.
Just, it kind of overstays his welcome a little bit there.
A little too risky.
Not respecting the Shiko for sure. That's just taking me a drink. We need a Shiko sponsor.
Yo, maybe we should just do nothing. Like we did.
Pay safe card will be livid at me for that.
Yeah, fuming, but... Oh!
Hang on, Boo's continuing. What? Hang on!
Injured match point!
Guys!
Vitality throwing bodies on the line.
I mean, you could have cut off on the line of that sentence and it'd probably still be applicable. We're down to 2 at 1 minute 21.
Huh?
What was the plan?
Just Safe and less now to try and recover this. And
सबसे पहला win TH का baby. Vitality के against.
Rien's got his ultimate. Mini actually just 2 away as well, potentially, for the next round. That could feel like the map just completely rescinded back towards Heretics.
Was it Benji who just said, like, maybe we should just do nothing? Well, apparently that... Oh, no, not less. Not... Oh, I've forgotten about less. It's all good. Mini Boo's here. He's on the case. Saved it really well before saving a round for that position. You ain't getting it again. 12 to 10.
बाय सिंपल बाय अभी सी जाओ योरू अल्ट करेगा सोवा अल्ट करेगा सी साइड काली वो लोग को रीटेक ही खेलना पड़ेगा पोस्ट प्लांट जाओ स्पैम मारो काफ मार के खत्म कर दो अभी गेम अभी खत्म चाहिए समझ रहे हो अब खत्म चाहिए मौका नहीं देना है बटरा चैट में क्या बोला बट्टू मेरी जान के टोटे रिकॉर्ड से बोला रहेगा जब भी गेम नहीं होता है रिकॉर्ड से बेचता हो
But yeah, this is the byproduct now. Look at the purchase from Vitality.
I've heard the players saying it. It looks like shit.
Yeah.
There we are. I said the naughty word. I'll get fined. Don't worry.
That means I can't swear for the rest of the day now.
Oh no, you've got one.
जी जाओ मेरी बात सुनो
Stingers.
वाह पापा भी
It's
अंकल भी
literally
मम्मी
Dirk to be
भी
the one
बन
to
जाओ
watch
फिर
it. Yeah, we do
अगर
still have
ऑल
the
गुड पापा
Guardian
भी
as
अच्छे
well with
हैं
Les and
तब
Sheriff
अच्छा है
and Sivo,
लव यू टू मेरी जान के
where
बेटे
we're
लव यू
sitting. And I've got to say,
और बताओ
Emea's
घर में
gone
कौन
slowly
कौन
but
है
surely better with Stingers.
दोस्तों दियो
We're not NA yet, but
आई नो डर का तेरे स्टूडेंट है बट तू अच्छा इंसान है लीक नहीं करता क्या लीक नहीं करता लव यू गुड एज टीबोन मेरे को घंटा नहीं समझा
Shouldering long here. All it does
चल भाई सौ बर्बाद
Mini boot. Pop the ult. Try and fish out some information. Hunter's Fury on the backside of that as well. Rians will connect.
Steve, look, I've given him a lot of credit. Mechanically, he's a really talented player, but he's been caught out a couple of times now. This time, similar scenes. We're going towards the site. There's still a player here. Kicks! Oh!
What?
3 ends on the drive-by! Gonna take away Kicks. Safe,
W.
desperate to get something back here. Takes away Woot. Durka pops the ult there. Back in. 20 seconds and Spike was loose. Back into hand now. Re-ends with a sharp shot. Takes away Safe. Durka trying to do everything. But it's all less than a 1v3. Love a better gun, but he may not get the chance to get the upgrade.
किधर भी जाता हूँ तुड़वा के जाता हूँ हो गया मेरा भाई देखो तो फिर
this crossfire. Oh, it's not looking like
W baby
13 to 10.
पहला
Brilliant from Heretics towards
पहला
the
होएगा बट्टू मेरी जान के रोटे काहे सेंटी हो रहे हो भाई काहे सेंटी हो रहे हो हाँ आजा हग्स कर ले हग्स काहे सेंटी हो रहे हो भाई देखो लैंड कितना भी बड़ा हो जाए होता तो अपना ही है ना समझ रहे हो लव यू यार कुछ कनेक्शन नहीं था तेरे से लेकिन फीलिंग को समझो आंतरिक भाई थैंक यू फॉर द मेंबरशिप मेरी जान के रोटे
No, do me all the way and you got one man I'm just him he very Gucci so the Gucci no talk all the way yes I am rude mother
पॉजी मेरे को वो क्लिप चाहिए पॉजी सिर्फ उतना क्लिप करके सुपर चैट का साउंड डालूंगा मैं यही चीज लव यू यार लव यू इसलिए मैं टीएच को सपोर्ट कर रहा था लव यू यार ये होती है बात हाँ अब कोई कुछ भी बोलेगा ना यही क्लिप प्ले करना यस आई एम रूड मदर हाँ और जाना निकलना बे यस आई एम रूड मेरे को मिल गया मेरा क्लिप कोटी कह दे
गेम का नशा है
अरे तू जाना बे यस आई एम रूड आराम से जा मतलब मेरे सेटअप पे मत गिर जा क्या हो गया ऐसे कैसे गिर गई
I am changing my chair. That chair is quass.
क्यों
Quass.
क्या हो गया सब बराबर तो है चेयर
तू बैठ
मैं क्यों बैठूं इस पे
बैठ
मेरे को बैठना ही नहीं है
मेरे को बैठ
चेयर फ्लेक्स करना है आज ये हटाओ जरा बस आज में क्या फन था जो भी मैंने नहीं लिया वो रिग्रेट कर लव यू यार Love you. काश दोस्त वाला लेना, काश दोस्त वाला. Buttu Singh, hi.
एक सेकंड.
पंको बट्टू सिंह है पंको. जब तू वहां से निकल के इधर आए थे तब आए नहीं बोल पा रहा था. क्या भी क्या चलता है उतना मैटर नहीं करता नुबड़ी. ये उतना मैटर नहीं करता रे बाबा.
I don't want flash. I want not.
न्यू चेयर क्या 3 चेयर पड़ा हुआ है इधर. बंदे 2 है, चेयर 3 है. ये एक्चुअली चेयर क्या कवर है ये? तो मेरा कपड़ा पहना रही है तुम.
बस बंद नहीं होगा. वो बड़ा चेयर हो रहा है.
I'll just quickly get last cup of tea. Binks says अभी फिनाइल भाई कर दिया ना, ये बात कर दिया ना. हाँ, इतना एंटरटेन करके 6-7 आई थिंक ये मेरा 6वां घंटा ऑफ स्ट्रीम है. 6वां या 7वां. और ऐसा 1 सेकंड ऐसा ब्यूटी आ जाती है स्क्रीन पे. ओपी बोल के $10. तुम्हारे वजह से ही आज बदनाम है लोग. फिनाइल भाई नीचे दिमाग जाएगा मेरा नीचे. Yes, I am rude, motherfucker. 2 लोग 3-4 अनाउंसमेंट इनकमिंग. बस सही
and everything was going so well for them. It was just when Team Heretics decided to start to turn
up.
what was going on throughout that middle of the first half where everything really turned around.
No, I think
ये तो है ना already बताने. सबको बोल दिया और कितना अनाउंस करे भाई.
Who's going to pop off the most? We had a
नहीं चाहिए अभी तक कोई.
Which it's good to see that
we have Anki, we have
back
Strict
into things after a slightly tougher series versus Fnatic, but ultimately we saw Heretics in good form, and that's exciting for me.
I love the storylines you're bringing to this one.
भी आ गया
this one up. You talking about last week is like who choked harder, and now it's who popped off harder.
Yeah, it's just one
who
of those
wants
things.
it more?
Look,
right?
who popped off harder at the start at least was
Watermelon.
and
But the
a quick look at as well. It is of course round 3. It's how they won the bonus round, and what we want to focus on is it's going to be a double pump, and it's incredibly successful. But what it starts with is around 3-dimensional drift because Durka went so hard at the start of the game. He's going to get all of this information. If you pause here, you'll see very shortly that all of the C site is going to be pretty much mopped up. So we zoom in on the map for a second. Up here, and then you'll see that, look, this camera is going to be there. There's going to be a cyber cage here that's triggered as well as one here. So if we keep rolling the clip, he spots all that out, you know, tries to force them on towards that back part of the site, which is successful. There it is. Gets out of the dimensional drift. There go the cages. And now, what do? If we pause, look where everyone is. Look where everyone is.
Yeah, how to make this
neat Vitality are there on the site. So, of course, you know, Heretics are going to think, all right, this is A-OK. Let's just rotate over. They disappear, you know. Teleport out from Durka. The others, 2 more go in towards Garage. You're going to see him drop a telly over towards the B site, which is going to be crucial. It goes towards the back. He triggers it. It's a fake out. And just like that, you're going to see a full rotation from all of the Team Heretics members. We're going to pause here for a moment. As you can see again, everyone's left C. They're like, oh, they're going somewhere else. They've even coming over towards the A site. They have no idea where Vitality are heading. And if we roll it forward from here, it's that second pump. C site's completely free. There's none of that type of utility that was there. And then from here, they win the round. Vitality playing this one perfectly.
गेम में मेरा नाम बदनाम क्या है? हाँ उधर जेरी तेरा नाम का कोई बंदा है वो गेम में.
It's simple. It's simple. Yeah, you did that in solo queue. It's so easy.
Hey, look, I have high standards, all right?
Okay, listen, maybe you don't have an entire team to back you up on these kind of execution. Maybe you just are the individual, you know? Maybe you just need to channel your inner wood.
Exactly.
Because that I feel like you can maybe emulate to some degree,
Probably not, but
lower
like,
degree.
not like this, but maybe your opponents are worse, and then you can make it look like you're playing like this. Yeah. Wu had, I want to say, at least 5 or 6 rounds where he just looked completely unstoppable. Like, you talk about this aggressive pressure that was put in. Like you mentioned that they were able to push into a site and fake out. It was because of the space that they kept onto. Well, Woot decided, you're going to have no space for the rest of the game.
Space.
I'm going to get up in your face. I'm going to make sure that a lot of the time you're not even going to get towards that site. And what started as an incredibly good start ended up dwindling to an even scoreline. A lot of because what this guy was doing. And realistically, he even maybe cooled off a little bit.
Yeah.
मतलब ऐसे ही नहीं बोल रही थी मैं उसको खेलने मेरे को पता है वो कंटेंट निकाल लेगा
you have to mention that he's Lithuanian. I'm sure it has absolutely nothing to do with a hot take that someone made on this desk prior to this. No, it's a coincidence entirely.
Whoa!
Hey, Lithuanian esports stonks, they are up, mate. I'm just telling you.
All-time high.
Boo, Mini Boo, Bold Boo, like all of them have been doing fantastically throughout this series.
Mini Boo's reactionary cams to Wood popping off. Like at one point, you just couldn't even believe it, and he himself had a great game as well.
Yeah, he's a fan of his own teammates. That's as good as it gets, really.
You want to have people around you that pump you up. If you have people that are negative on the team, it drags you down. You don't want to play good Valorant. And so that's exactly what we've seen here.
Well, it's funny as well because his
Mango
brother
अपने
is
season
so
में नाम
calm.
change नहीं
Like, anything happens.
That's how siblings work, right?
Yeah, and Boo's emotions do not change. And Mini Boo is the polar opposite. We saw earlier 11-4 up, death slams when he doesn't get a kill. And then in this game, like even when it might not have been going the best for him, he's so hyped for his teammates playing well that you see it bring himself back into the game. And that was one of the main reasons they were able to take this over the line.
Yeah, it was one of those situations as well where it was an eco that ended up swinging the tides right at the end and ended up getting Heretics across the line on that attacking side. It broke the economy of Vitality. They had to force for the last 2 rounds, and yeah, things just went wrong. But I say eco, look, Sheriffs, they are deadly, and they can make things go crazy. So we got a little bit
I'm excited to see what we have in store. An Icebox. All right, so we have not seen Team Vitality at all on this map thus far.
Yeah, but this is you go back to old school Icebox where Fnatic were dominant, and one of the main reasons for that is Durka was the best Jet in the world on this map. It was his map. He's the king of Icebox. So I think that going for this more traditional composition one that, okay, it doesn't quite have the Sage, but it basically has everything else that you would be running a couple of years ago, up against what is a new school comp, running that Neon, running the Vice even after some slight...
World tournament member tournament पता नहीं कब हो रहा है, World Tour जरूर होएगा लेकिन.
And the thing for me as well is, you know, Kicks, all these guys on Vitality, they're going to flex a little bit, but with ISO coming through with that buff,
अभी तक नहीं हुआ जिस नहीं.
Now he's onto that initiator, and he was having a pretty good game there for Vitality. So if he can keep that up, if he can, you know, stand at the back, and even if Durka isn't able to get the entries, he is going to have that flash to help him out. He's going to have the double initiator with the Sova. There's so much going for Vitality here. It's just a matter of what have they been doing with their practice, because they need to bring something out here or it's game over.
We're about to find out. I mean,
Peno Lemon, thank you for the 10 gifted मेरी जान के टोटे.
On this, let's see if both teams did their homework as we're heading into.
मैं watermelon खा लूँगा.
Actually, I'm gonna send it back over to you.
आम खाया ना?
Pansy and Hypok.
हाँ? खाया ना आम?
Must have never met us, Zoe. Don't know if lovely.
Direct ना? नहीं.
Thank you very much. And yes, it is map to.
क्या हाल Binks भाई बिगड़ी?
Choice.
Yes, खेलोगे?
This has to
Oh,
look
no,
better than that one. Yes, it was a
10
close map one, but it felt like the energy was just.
Yes, man, I'm gonna 7 man start, so अच्छी बात है. वही इतना hot electric personality है मेरा.
Yes.
Versus, well, I don't want to say.
जिसको भी मिला है membership gift, Peno Lemon को thanks बोलना thanks, ठीक है, छुपा देना tag करके. Peno Lemon. Peno Lemon. Peno Lemon. Peno Lemon. मिनट के में इतना एडिटर 1 million पे क्या हो गया? तू हाइड होएगा, बाकी लोग का पता नहीं. सुधांशु भाई, तू केला और डायनासोर, इससे मेरा 1 million होएगा ना. ये तीन लोग मेरे हिट लिस्ट पे. केला तो सुधर गया, सुधरा हुआ केला हो गया अभी.
In almost every role you look at. How do you feel about it? Where do you sit on this old v new front?
I mean, I'm just here for the Durka Icebox, to be honest with you.
Blind is dead.
Bang on.
The word vintage comes to mind. Very similar to the way we were talking about Magnum previously as well, but hold that thought.
Benji could be on to something here. God, they're coming back around this way. Look at the mini-map. Coming back around. Benji gets punished, but do they expect the swing? Now that knife's going to be fantastic, but they still have to try and suffer through the fight. Woot clears kicks, but by then, Les has already taken down Boo. He's buying time. He's buying so much time, but it is a 3v3. The rotations are in on the site, however.
दो बंदे दिख गए, Jet और Sova. इधर ही.
Almost gets an opportunity to put it to good use here. But time, space.
Continue.
Yes. As Heretics will find their way back towards A site, which was completely open at the start.
दो बंदे cross
No confirmation of presence on the other side. Seemingly Vitality comfortable in the retake here for the pistol at least, but tested here in very different situations.
भाई क्या rotations है ना Vitality का?
They felt behind the curve this whole way, though. Every site they've tried to test, it feels like Vitality have beaten them to the punch. Safe just going to play a bit of a secure game from the back of the site. Just need to overextend. Shouldn't give isolated 1v1s here. 10 seconds now. A 1v2 is a lot to ask, but it is Mini Boot. In these moments, he's going to at least get the time on his side. The spacing, he's seen both. Gets a reload, backs away. Nice try, but Safe just cleaner with it in the end. Suffers through.
आज रात मेंबर सुनने में क्या होगा? वही जो हर रात करते हैं. That is my night game. Chill वाला.
Doing a ton of damage.
मैं mod बनूंगा 1 million. Let's go. Done scene. 1 million में तुम mod.
The second looking very tasty on Taboo as well.
Real subs, huh?
Unfortunately here,
I think
see on the HP, but I think he caught the initial headshot there.
I think he did, yeah.
Oh, देखो कौन आया, गांड नजर आया.
So many cool aspects of these two teams meeting here on Esports. I really hope it's nice and competitive. I don't like a blowout
कैसा है काली मेरी जान के टोटे. सिर्फ तू ही बता T69 में आने को. Just saying, साहिब भी आ चुका है.
Well, Woot really kind of setting him up.
Is retired now.
Only down to 200 credits for Woot, so dropping
साहिब
that
कौन सा
over.
active था?
But of course, on the other side, you're looking at how many light shields there are. A great deal.
हमारे पंगे पिंकी गुच्ची हाउस बाबूजी.
What Mini Boo has. Now, can he find a man though? Can he find a clean fight? Easier said than done. Yellow still has a player behind it.
Yeah.
And they should be on red alert as well, because if they've noted that Outlaws in play, they also have to be very careful here. They've got a very light investment.
Don't want anybody swinging onto a solo engagement now.
कैसा रे किधर है? चला गया क्या अमेरिका अभी तक? इधर तो बाहर जाने वाला था पढ़ाई के लिए. और बंक्स भाई सब बढ़िया राकेश भाई.
Heretics to reconsider their approach.
खाली इतना टाइम बाद आए 50 गिफ्टेड बनते हैं यार. लोग इतना प्यार करते तेरे से.
One over towards A does have a bulldog.
An unorthodox start there.
अभी तक खेल रहे सुन के कुछ तो अजीब हो रहा है. खेले क्या बे पैसे चाहिए ना और से.
EVS, thank you.
कम और को थोड़ी स्कैम किया उसको अभी भी चाहिए.
That's using Mini Boo like the tip of the spear, right?
कोई ना कोई ले ले.
Position. It's a big adjust.
Yeah.
You don't pre-aim this sort of angle, so
मुंह पे दिखता है ना उस कैमरे.
Okay, but there it is. That should it. Yeah, it's gone now. Durka should. I'm surprised he's sticking around here. He does stay around a little bit later than I expected. But willing to take a challenge and take a bit of a risk. But a great fight towards middle opens up a chance. Can't get the gun in time. Sivo quick to police it. Now look at the main zone. Benji.
Putting this good use now.
3v3.
Giving it to the Fortnite kid. He's always a little bit risky there. Sivo though keeps it secure. Rien's 1 HP in a dream. Durka's got one as well. Get out of here. Oh my god. I thought that was a shock dart for a second. Christ. There it is. Nice from Durka. Up and over the top. Very well handled, but a threat made out very little.
ऐसा भी.
Call it as much as a victory as possible here to get the plant down and find 3 kills on the top
एक साल
of
बाद दूंगा.
Thank you,
that. Very much.
भरोसा है एक साल बाद भी स्ट्रीम करूंगा. ये होता है भाई. 20 साल बाद भी
That's for you
रहूंगा.
guys at home to use. You're welcome. But this is
No
kind of
clear.
what you felt that was
Call
done
आया
for,
रहेगा
right?
क्या
But
ऐसा?
again, they
No
made
clear.
mountains out of molehills.
They did, yeah. Unfortunately, Mini Boot.
भाई तीसरा मैच जा रहा है. आराम से बाबा गले में अटक
Maybe
जाएगा.
would have found Durka. Yeah, feisty would be the word with that purchase coming in. Drawing blood, at least.
आप फॉलो बैक क्यों नहीं देते इंस्टाग्राम पे? मैं खोलता ही नहीं हूँ इंस्टाग्राम भाई. मैं सिर्फ इंस्टाग्राम खोल के रील्स देखता हूँ. कुछ ओपा अनाउंसमेंट रहेगा शेयर करता हूँ और ब्रॉडकास्ट देखता हूँ.
Side of Vitality.
बस सलमान भाई के रुका है. सलमान भाई ने जिस दिन फॉलो किया पार्ट से फॉलो
opportunity. Gotta be careful, that's it.
क्या पता फार्मर्स बुला ले तो पार्टी करने के भाई.
A potential threat. Second confirmation, Mini Boo's still there.
You got to roll your minds
Wood's
back.
giving up the angle.
You gotta know that Durka's gonna be around. Oh my god! Oh my god! They forgot about Durka! He only actually does damage really towards Boo. I think Boo copped a bit as well, yeah, down to 40. But that could have been a disaster in the making. And it should be a stark reminder of what someone like Durka has notoriously and historically done on this map. Heretics need to recheck that box, go through it. The aggressive jet on Icebox. Iconic. Flash primed with kicks there. Is that over? Start to follow. It is going to reveal a lot of the intention now, especially coupling with Less's deeper position. Go in towards the site, Mini Boo. With a little bit of a fancy route, but a fancier shot from kicks. Mini Boo has to gap close, try and get a partner. She's done it. Does he get away? He does. Good from Mini Boo, but dangerous nonetheless. And speaking of,
yeah, flank here, Mini Boo. Big spotter, but now will become confirmed here by the audio cue.
Siva's just got to play his life for a second. Keep cool, keep calm for a moment. Less! A moment drop there of concentration, now leaving in the hands of Sivo. This is hard, especially with just the ghost. And a man haunting them right now is Mini Boo. This is not looking good. Out of bullets, but give it a chance. Time is ticking. He's got to get a move on. Oh my god, Sivo, this would be absolutely mythical if he could do it for Mini Boo! Breaking ankles and breaking hearts! Beautifully handled! Almost again! Something made of nothing though by Vitality, but it will be Heretics with the round.
Just the one rifle maintained.
बहुत टाइम हो गया dancing मिलते हैं bye
Mini Boo. Again, yeah, a moment here where against Durka going forwards with the Bulldog with two other members only on pistols, so almost a little concern to give one away with such a huge gap. Again, burns the dash up, I think off the dart at the start of the round. Maybe anticipating.
Wait, don't go, don't go! Domi, you screamed so much, I shit my pants, I'm not gonna lie.
Guys, you're giving Valorant players too much personality. People are going to be quaking in their boots. Now, okay, Mini Boo's got ult, Rien's 2 away. I'm checking down. Woot's 1 off his 2. On the other side, Durka 2 off, Sivov 1 away. And less aggression being the name of the game, it looks like for him.
To be least present. Does still have kicks.
अच्छा खेला BTS, लेकिन डर के कुछ ज़्यादा ही crazy खेलता है भाई.
I mean, Heretics keep kind of getting to this position and then they drift away. Durka now, I guess, playing with this space even further. May have been heard though.
Oh,
he actually used the passive to get across.
इससे yellow लिया और push किया.
Just outside nest and punished for it.
भाई so walk around the chat.
The problem being, yeah, look towards the mid walk. Safe in a position to catch off this rotation. Heretics. Oh, this could be awful for Safe.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Hello. Bye-bye, Safe. Just beheaded by Rien's. Now they're going to know what's happening though. Safe was clearly calling that out, right? Maybe hearing the steps up by those pipes. And it's either a camper for a save or it's just assuming it's a B. Yeah. This might be cooked at this point. This would be a post-plant with Rien's ult, potentially Wooch. Yeah, he's going to get the plant. This is near on impossible.
Placing sentry.
Moment there, Safe just looking to
frame drop 0%.
We actually invests here, as we could see. Not gonna find anything, but throw it out into the wind.
And I
मैंने fruit salad followed up with ice cream खाया है. ये सब मैंने आज
it might have been Boo. I'm not sure who got him, but Durka being punished on the push-up towards Belt, pretty much, right? Like I was saying it in just the previous, I think it was in the bonus round with that Bulldog. He's iconic in those aggressive roles. He will take space. It was something that was such a key aspect about him. And it feels like Heretics are very well prepared with how they want to approach that and deal with it.
You can see immediately as Durka's in nest, we just cut away at the time.
You'll never know.
Cassie's on the outside B, but Boo was, he's positioned close enough to hear that.
तूने देखा भी नहीं है भाई.
Yeah, I mean even the ping came across.
पहले से hits कर रहे हो.
This feels just gutting. That's
I'm curious actually, of how close somebody was on B main to maybe catch some of the steps or still confirm presence outside B, whether or not they're holding deeper towards Snowman or still on site.
Yeah.
Because Safe thinks he can get in behind that drift into A. We noted at the position, I mean, he's never holding the cross versus 3. That's an unlikely scenario, to say the least.
Oh my god, again! Durga is being absolutely countered here. And a tag to boot as well. They've got to respect this. No, they don't have Sivo's ult. I thought he would have had that by now. He's actually not got that building yet. So the site will be there. There's no easy way to force him off from this. Interrupting the timing from the Aldrone. Miniboo willing to take a challenge on it.
Acting.
Dart. Going to be broken, I believe. Yeah, it has been. Miniboo really wants to stick around. They've got deeper post-plant positions. They're going to have Woot's utility. They're going to have the others in line. They let Miniboo go forward. Woot in unison as well. Let's now Woot has those missiles back up, those salvos. To buy those precious seconds on the clock. Tap comes in. Still got a shock dart as well.
30 HP.
12-14 घंटा अपन बूट कैंप में थे.
That one's done. He's going to walk away from this. Heretics again really understanding some of the fundamental things in this Vitality squad that would have made them great once upon a time here.
You've got to wonder now if Durka tries to dig his heels in, or maybe an extra body across to put that in motion. Maybe Kicks is the missing piece to this puzzle.
Roll your mind back. There was never.
I mean, to be fair, sorry to just cut you off there, but look at how Miniboo finds that kill.
It's outstanding. The guy is one of
share
a kind on this. You know, he made Neon look more than viable. As an ult against Nu, and we're seeing the value of that Nu. The gap close, beautiful from him. Yeah, fantastic entry, well said, Benji. But beyond that as well, Durka has adapted in the past. We've seen some of the greatest games in his history where he was presented a challenge and overcame, but that was with a different team around him. Now does he get that similar sort of thing?
Pick one, Durka और आसपास वेंकटेश भाई पिक किया वो लोग मेरे घर पे खाना खाने आने वाले.
This round.
बताओ.
मैं तो नहीं बनाने वाली.
Giving anything on the back of the turret being dealt with over towards Boiler.
कभी दिमाग सूख जाता है.
Drones will cross paths.
मजाक में भी डीप मजाक करती है. हो गया ना मेरा मजाक करके.
Again, yeah, conscious that there's
follow-up मजाक करती है.
Early progress with Durka unnoted as of yet. Does he go walkabout? See it?
See it. Just that routine, that temptation. He's going to go for the swing. Only a flash in. It was decent to set him up for one, but that's not enough to change the outcome of this round. And then it falls on the likes of Leth.
सच्ची ये राउंड क्या था मालूम मेरे को म्यूट करना पड़ रहा है लेकिन सच्ची ये राउंड क्या था मालूम है पहला वूट ड्रोन क्या मरा इस बार वूट ने सीधा उसको बोला कि तू ड्रोन कर मैं एक बैकअप देता हूँ सच्ची ये वो वाला राउंड ये वो वाला राउंड
down to 9 HP. Miniboo going to carry on applying pressure.
Barrel, hello. You're a little too far there.
चलेगा 2v2 post plants है.
This is still doable, and Benji wanting to have a go at things.
Considering the lockdown here? Yeah, they are.
कितना expense आया था एक
feels real
approximate
enough, feels like it could be the goer on this. Gotta look at the util we have here. Nothing to really dissuade the defuse.
When the plant's open though.
घर के साथ फर्नीचर और आईफोन भी आ सकते
Benji, big shot on less. And the counter ult may be unnecessary, but why not throw it in? Down to the classic. Nice try. Ain't gonna happen.
Hey, can we have a little timeout there because they're shooting back you. They're shooting back.
2 up. Early on here in Icebox.
Huh?
See the operator coming out. Durka in the next. Again, nice flash, just not fully connecting on the second.
पैसा डाउन पेमेंट देके ले लेते लोन वोन के साथ आराम से 2 बीच के तो आ ही जाता 3 बीच
Again, Miniboo just continuing.
Nice! Let's go, boys!
To open some of these rounds up for Heretics. Will force a fairly early timeout from Vitality.
It is 4 in a row, Mike. You're starting to feel that because some of that core DNA of these players is not combining well enough. We're seeing some of those gaps really being exploited and prepared for. It's yeah, this is top level talk coming in from coach, not just going to be that conversation from Safe more kind of on that server side of things.
I mean, the operator again to note it could be an indicator of slowing things down. Maybe not
मुझे पता है मैंने दिए हैं मैंने दिए हैं बहुत जगह
तो वो तेरा अलग खर्चा है।
हाँ तो वो सब मिला के ही बोलेंगे ना, शादी दोनों का हुआ है ना। अच्छा सिर्फ रिजॉर्ट का क्या?
The concern being Minibu is always going to be able to get ahead of that timing, always, and that's again, you don't want to call it comp diff, but that's one of the fundamental differences here. Minibu is going to be somewhere 2 seconds ahead of where you're expecting him. Do you see Benjamin on the other side?
Benjamin. Let's see what we got. That's a curious one.
सिर्फ resort, see? सिर्फ resort की बात कर रहा
Okay, so one going to be facing towards Tube, maybe expecting aggression. You're going to know this operator's coming out. Even using
resort और खाना वाला
salvos like this, it feels so tailor-made. Bespoke Neron, they claim kicks, and they back away. Dirk is only alive on 16 HP.
Another situation, Minibu is just
नहीं
here
अभी
so
वाले देखे
quickly.
डेकोर करना तेरे को।
Second as
कर
well.
रही हूँ ना audience।
इधर upset हो सकता है, upset।
नहीं audience मत देखो,
हाँ?
मत देखो।
Not only
upset
did
हो
they
सकता है
tailor-make
और
that to
तुम्हारे
deal
कान
with
में
someone maybe
बिना
walking
के
tube
मुझे
with the op or
upset
what
कर
have
रही
you.
है
It was
तू।
absolutely across the board. This is gorgeous.
3 साल से upset
I
कर रहा है,
am
मैं
rude.
बोलूँ
I am rude motherfucker.
The adaptation being to send Durka across
नहीं
with
मालूम
the
context?
operator.
इसको
With
context नहीं
kicks as
मालूम।
well, like I said, he's the
इसकी
second
मम्मी, तेरी मम्मी है,
kind
मेरी
of layer
मम्मी।
to that.
मेरी मम्मी
Saw previously with the
गई
knives,
अभी
but
तेरा मेरी मम्मी हो गया ना इसमें। तू गई अभी, मैं टेस्ट कर रहा था, गई बेटा, अभी चिल्ला मम्मी। बस मैं जो भी बोलो बाबी का कॉफ तो है कद्दू।
again, a 2v5. Don't really fancy your odds.
चोमटिया काटती है
At
चोमटिया
the
और।
best of times, but certainly not with how the first 7 rounds have
Upset
gone
होने
in your
वाला है,
icebox.
upset।
And this becomes, in my mind,
मजाक
such a
नहीं है,
challenge
लड़के की
now
टीम
for
हारना।
Safe and the coaching staff of Vitality to find a cure for their woes. Because by preparation's sake, by overall kind of ethos sake,
बीच वीडियो में किधर भाग गया? मैं
seemed
किधर भागा?
so equipped. They seemed completely aware the operator would be the next layer to this. It would be something they'd like to look towards, and it was dealt with by all facets of the approach of the round. So this becomes now a really cerebral game. As much as, yeah, it'd be great if Les or Dirk or one of these players just has like a mad round, but you need to see this overall change-up of how they want to see this go. And already Sivov has been caught. Les
क्या ही स्टिकर डाले
looks like he
मुंह
wants to
पे।
try and stay alive here. Can he keep? Oh my good God, everything's paper. We're fine. He keeps the rifle.
Operator not actually. Did they get retrieved? Yeah, I can't see anybody who's bought another one, but yeah.
मैं कितना प्यारा खेल रहा है
Like I said,
मेरे लिए।
it's actually, I didn't even catch. Actually, they got caught on the backside of the stun there.
बहुत प्यारा खेलते हैं रे बिल्ली।
And the compounding thing I look at now for Heretics is you feel.
Ding 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 ding.
सिंदाना तीन 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 भाई यही है भाई यही मेरी औरा वाली टीम है भाई।
In my mind, the compounding factor is that for Vitality they feel red, and then for Heretics they feel like they've got a perfect read, right? We have been absolutely on you here. And it looks like another rinse and repeat. Is the flash better this time? Kick's going to try and send in.
It's almost too high to catch some of these closer players that are tucked. Yeah, not in an anti-flash, but well, Woot actually is.
Acting to I love
almost
you
reading
यार।
into the fact that Kicks now is actually going to
last
be
life में वही था
positioned
मैं।
alongside Durka in these sorts of scenarios,
तूने देखा?
which almost deems the flash useless.
मैंने तेरा वो दूसरे वीडियो में देखा था।
नहीं प्रॉब्लम ये नहीं कि मैं बोल रहा देख प्रॉब्लम ये कि जाना।
You know he's chomping at the bit as well, right? An aggressive
Sorry,
play like this.
sorry.
He wants in Durka. Cleared
माफ
by the
कर।
L drone.
L drone clear कर रहा है।
Full back time. Has to respect it, but there's players here this time, Mike.
4 members of Vitality here.
अब अगर वो लोग फास्ट रिटेक कर लिए
On site at least, but
तो
will pave
लग
the way
सकती
for
है।
further progress.
Hunter's Fury. That's from deep. That's going to be coming out
Woot's
from
got to be
safe.
careful.
Yeah, Rien's the one isolated on the site. He's going to cop a... Oh!
भाई
Nearly gets the second as well.
almost
I thought he had that reset
भाई।
then. That was wild. But they've done really well to stall this out. Now Vitality can retake the site a bit here. 18 seconds. They're running low on time. You've got to make this count, and I don't think they've got much to say. They can't back away. That's been kept in by Les here. Time to re-hit. If you want to make it go, 10 seconds, go now. Make it count while he can. Miniboo does well, gets down safe. He wants more. He's breaking out a silly gel, put back in by Durka.
Oh.
But the plant's in. 3v3, it ain't
Lang.
over yet. They left it late, but this is still Durka's territory. Finding the space, finding the timing, and the vice closing in. Les taking away space, step by step. Who tries to get ahead,
The
but
blue
not to
round,
be.
baby.
Vitality find an
उनचास से
answer.
पहले इंचास बाद में language
3 from Durka
language चुम भाई।
to find Vitality's third here in map
Cat
2.
please वीडियो को शेयर करना अपने दोस्तों के साथ और जो भी पार्ट अच्छे लगे वो कमेंट करना ठीक है बहुत मेहनत लगती है भाई
Controversial, but
that is a hot take.
Very hot take. Saw that should have been on the desk
तो
segment.
है कुछ भी बोलो क्या मारा ना डर के ने
Damn, look at these.
Yeah, but I mean, Benji's caught completely off guard because he's tucked into that corner with the operator. I think he's actually
Nice
rescoped
डर के आगे क्या
onto
गाली दिया
position below.
कैसे क्या कर रहे थे
Durka teed up to find his third.
Now, as much as we're kind of keeping track of Dirk,
कैसी team
he's
का
still
था
top of the board for Vitality, right? As much as it
Yeah,
seems
talking
like
about being well handled, he's
he's
still
still
going.
finding, you know, more than some.
कैसी टीम रे बाबा
How do they approach it now? Operator is here, but a little bit deeper, playing off the back of Jen.
वही तो बात है ऋषभ भाई
Heavily into maybe that pressure being applied and anticipating Durka not getting desperate, but
कमेंट्री साउंड कम कर क्यों भाई
kind of
इसमें शादी कर लो जल्दी अब 5 साल में करता ना
life was destroyed, so might be any confirmation
कैंपस वाला लव यू मोर वाला शादी
on the back of that.
10 साल पागल है 10 साल तक झेलू तेरे
Here.
What?
भाई गलत शॉट मारा
Mini
देखा
boost
तूने
ground speaks are insane, by the way.
नहीं sorry
Can I get...
Who was it earlier? Less, right? They just
Yeah, just diffed. Now, give me the side-by-side of that, please. Pretty please, EVS. I'm sorry to put you to work. You know, the kill.
You've got some time whilst we walk over to
Yeah. I bet production hate me. She's talking again. Ult going to be used here on the B side of the map, but
30 seconds left.
I also want to question why Dirk wasn't pre-aiming. You know what? Neither here nor there now.
Sivo, yeah. Does spot on the backside of that. No command will come through from kicks though.
They're so close on this. Just about backing away, but the plant's in. They can't leave it too far.
Yellow Kali.
This is such a heavy investment.
Yellow Kali.
Get caught in that actually. Where's the fragment going to land? Yeah.
Oh, scatter!
Bhai.
Still gonna kill!
Blind.
How did you get 3
Blind
from that?
miss
I do
हुआ
not
क्या
understand.
dodge हुआ वो
Lotus is left in the ruins. So many targets, beautiful on the first, but a 1v2. Dart still there is gonna make it difficult. He doesn't know about that second player, it feels like he's not sure, he was still checking. And they're giving him nothing. Making him sweat. Making him work for his dinner. Lovely from Les. Oh, it's such a nice try. Les is such a talented player, but the time was there for Heretics.
Well, actually, you almost credit the 1-by-1 peak there just to run the clock down even further.
कितना clean मारा रे बाबा
Durka POV.
शॉट था
And again,
it's almost like
it was 50-50 on where he wanted to peak, but I feel like
भाई ये वो रीड वाला था
this was ridiculous though. A fragment comes through and again the angle
भाई
was
blind नहीं हुआ
complementary
भाई
enough.
blind नहीं हुआ
Okay,
And
that's good.
Wu finds 3 out of that position.
Yeah.
For a field test.
भाई vitality का मैप पिक के भाई
3 now. Getting a bit nervous for Vitality in this. Mini boost time to
लेकिन
explore his
मतलब तुम
options.
गए कहाँ वीडियो से वो रात किसी के साथ चला गया
Maybe off to that. Bit risky. Siva can do nothing about that though. Has to respect it. The world's longest Viper ult has been invested.
Longest.
Give them the plant in top side.
क्या ult है ये?
Again, nobody
Plant का
Vitality
ult है।
really in a position to contest this.
Toxins going up.
See if even on the backside of this, Durka, you've got to keep an eye on him. Over on the flank, Woot to shut it down very early on. Again, he's being really well read.
Oh!
Less though.
Yeah, okay, that's not an exit kill
The
this
taps
time.
continue.
Yeah. Go on, Les, give us another one. G. Playing a bit of a game here. Boo by his side, just spamming in the dark, but Les can't do too much. He's kind of stuck there almost at this point, waiting for the rest of the team to try and find a way forward, but Benji is pretty much the guardian, right? You don't get towards the site without getting past.
उधर हाइड एंड सीक चल रहा है
What the Neon doing?
दूसरी जगह पे
Damn,
कबड्डी
that's rough. So, I mean, he was here at the start, and it looks like he'll be here at the end. Heretics are just looking better here. This wasn't the round financially to expect too much, but still really in control.
Bye, Bunks. Bye, Bunks.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
Vitality offside. Not the round really where they're equipped to deal with such a thing anyway. Again, you're not going to be finding anybody contesting this ahead of the execute coming through. Yeah, that sort of pit, making it very difficult. Just to find comfortable angles.
Nice, Benji. Good job, bro.
Huh?
Ah, it was me. It was good job, bro. Let's go, guys.
कर दूंगा चाय का कप भी pick. W announcement Asserting on top. Love you.
I think you're absolutely right. You start getting a little concerned now.
Oh my god!
Who still finds it?
I need that on replay.
I
just
think
need
spike or
everything
pitches
slowed down
slow
because
or
my
वो भी था
old
ना.
brain can't handle it. We're waiting for the boys to come back over.
But it's drawn 3 members of Vitality now.
And again, it felt so familiar. It felt so similar to when we saw that operator in play.
भाई क्या हो गया
We've seen it once
TH
towards
को
Jen,
यार?
obviously then played in off the back of that B side of things. And Miniboo just seems so prepared, reading the economy really well. It's safe, you can't hold the site, yeah. Has to back away a little bit, play a little bit safer. Miniboo is a nightmare to handle at the moment, even on 30 HP. They're going to take the space off
भाई
this.
plant हो गया उसके बाद post
Still
plant
Garden
ult
as a
भी
way to
है.
facilitate the path forward. And we're going to get that spike down. That's all.
भाई.
For Heretics on the backside. This one, Benji and Rienz will fall very early on in this retake.
But Miniboo's still here. Miniboo is still here, and I'm still scared. He's crouched, he's waiting, he's dealt with! Zevo this time gonna go forward. Now Wu can buy time, but Boo needs to get the gun out as well. He needs help here. Oh, now locked in.
Oh, yeah.
There it is. Send him away a little bit. Durka reads it really well, understanding the spacing, and they can't clear him in time. Durka has done enough to support the others on the defuse. Lovely at the end.
That feels like the
10-4.
recovery
Not
round
bad,
for
not
Vitality
bad.
to
This is
get
a
to
good
4.
half.
It almost feels like that buffer.
7-5 होएगा और वो लोग पिस्टल
Just
जीतेगा. I
enough,
think
potentially.
comeback है Vitality का. लग रहा है.
Definitely make them feel more comfortable.
Very much possible, chat.
Here is the kill that comes on to Kicks.
मैं बोला ना आगे spike पीछे नेड है.
Yeah, and it's only because those 2 kills come on to
7-5, and my mom is gonna give us a blowjob.
Well, there you go. Yeah, aiming for the 7-5, I guess.
Guys, I think that one should have been muted.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real, that one. Guys, I think we cut that one. Oh, that's not gonna be in the highlight package.
Maybe it is.
Mike's never been ruined for Vitality more.
उसने बोला उसने कान बंद कर जा टीवी टूट गया लोगों का इधर.
There's no way.
ये कॉमेडी जरा इधर आके करके बताओ.
Oh, Durka, operator's still there. I'm trying to pull it back. Oh, less from above.
हाँ करो ना इधर.
It's just
Would you
Miniboo
rather
on a solo mission.
जाएगा ना पट से.
Won't actually give away his position just yet. 4 members of Heretics.
Mute का पता नहीं लग गए भी.
Over towards the B side.
इसके वजह से बहुत जन के लग गए.
It's like slight reset on the back of the Hunter's Fury.
मेरे मुंह में मेरा mic है just
yeah,
got
that's what we're
real.
seeing now. Vitality scramble for this rotation, but Benji in a position to command a lot of space.
Safe value is not safe anymore.
Fire almost. That was wild. Rienz. Oh, come on.
Hey, how is chat reacting?
Does get that further connection towards less, but they're still kicked on the site. They're down to 20 seconds. They're getting low on this one. And Kicks can cause a nightmare, especially with that lockdown. What's the plan?
Can't deal with the lockdown.
Where's the util?
Durka's going to be here to find the backside of it as well. He's only got operator though.
Oh,
what's going on with the plant?
I don't know. They're going to try and get the plant down. They're all going to be screwed, right? Like, surely. Oh! Did any of them make it out of there? I think they all got detained. Woot is trying to live. Oh, but Durka's on the hunt. Jesus, Mother's Day wasn't that long ago. A terrible day for mothers worldwide. A 7-5 on the half.
Yeah, and like we said, that's the recovery round we wanted to go for, and probably the scoreline, as we noted from the comms.
क्या बोला मुझे नहीं मालूम मैंने नहीं सुना भाई.
Sevov does find the top side of that tube, but this is
सीधा बोला
beautiful to
बुरा
catch the
मत देखो
backside of the
बुरा मत
lockdown.
सुनो.
Yeah, you saw Durka do exactly what he had to do. A little bit of motivation goes a long way. So they're back in this with 7-5. It's certainly not over. And we have a little bit of a treat for you. Especially your League of Legends lot or Counter-Strike lot. We got Max standing by with one of the coaches down not too far behind us.
Look, I hope you guys, enjoy the bleachers. Everyone here having a great time in the audience. And I managed to locate Vitality's League of Legends strategic coach. How are you enjoying the Valorant, and what have you learned that you can take back to League?
I mean, it's so good watching how they fight.
Safe के jokes because that was LOL.
Less perma
और ये LOL खेलता है.
We played football with them yesterday, and he was doing the same thing on the field.
Yeah, look, you're down, but you're not out at the moment. Do you think the boys can make this one work and come back?
Yeah, for sure. We're going to game 3, for sure.
Yeah. And in League terms, what do they need to do to turn it around in the second half?
Just steal Baron Nashor and call it a day.
Yeah. Giga Stomp bot lane? Like, is that what we're doing?
Yeah. Just flash on their faces.
Flash on their faces. Look, after that, of course, we do have a third map. What's your Valorant knowledge like overall?
It's like pretty basic. I think I'm gold.
Hey, look, that's better than half of the crowd here, right? Yeah? Yeah, you're all silver. Yeah. Anyway, look, we'll leave it there, Pad. Thanks for joining us here in the crowd, and I hope you keep it loud over here. This seems to be the Vitality section of Vitality making the comeback happen.
Yeah! Possible.
Vitality fans, all right, we'll see you after the break to see if Vitality can do it.
बड़ा ब्रेक लेगा अभी 1 मिनट के जगह पे 5 मिनट का बहुत लोग को
चप्पल का कलर अलग था.
Mike, do you agree to the league terms here?
Flash under tower, ignite, make sure you secure the kill at all costs. That's my league knowledge.
Michael, I know during your depression arc that you spam played League of
Legends.
There's no way, there's no evidence to support this.
I can find the evidence quite easily.
But to link it back, 7-5, still doable here, certainly for Vitality.
I would have clutched that bath.
Like I said, that feels like the sigh of relief.
Yeah.
मैंने देखा था.
Well, for another actual, I mean,
8th standard में जब हम लोग खेलते थे CS नहीं Valo.
Are you surprised that Les was good at football?
No, that doesn't surprise me.
Not for 1 second.
Almost a prerequisite.
Honestly, it's how you get the passport, the visa, you know what I mean? You've got to be able to be good at football. Also, Alpha surprised me being good at football. I know he's good at sports, but he was actually very good at football too.
It wasn't Alpha the...
basketball.
Yeah, basketball, yeah.
Wait, Tiffy.
No, general all-rounder, just MVP. Right, we go in at 5-7.
Well, hang on. Mini boot. Well, almost. Continued to progress there.
Turret's destroyed.
Turret dealt with now, and revert back to what looks a little more default.
Oh.
Wow.
What you saying? Oh god. Little pigtails almost giving away the game, but do you agree the crowd is silver?
Chill karo,
Yeah, I don't know if that's supposed to be an interview or just Matt coming out to flame
He's just
the crowd.
swinging. He's just... I love that. It's aggressive.
They're only here 2 days a week now. You can't be flaming them.
Yampy can.
Well,
he's
yeah,
been trying. Right. Focus back towards the B site, and it's slow and steady here. Durka's going to be forced to move. Oh my word, Boo. That was lovely. And look, he's backfilled the space. Mini Boo. Taking it away. You wanted comfort towards the side of the map? No. Absolutely not.
By Marre
Picture here. And now there's going to be contact towards A.
I was going to say the drone might actually sell what's necessary here, or could actually be a
that's mad.
misread actually on the back of the drone, not finding anything. Almost mirroring each other here. Might still be able to get the plant uncontested here, because Safe's pretty deep.
Okay, Safe, that was really nice.
Way ahead of the curve. Rians was not expecting this.
No, but Miniboo's quick, right? And he's crouching on a corner, so it's looking good. Zivov has gone down. Another spam of the shock dart, going to keep him at bay, but the rest are there fighting back. Les still alive, and it's only going to be Les. Left in a 1v3. How much can one man do? Kept back, but handles Benji. The space is not good enough. You can't give him 1v1s. Looking to try and nutmeg this round. Wu down low. 10 HP, a strong breeze will knock him over. And halfway achieved on the defuse, he has to try and deal with it. He's actually pulled him off from the defuse here. There's still a chance. He's got to know. He's still got a chance.
Felt pretty dicey there for Heretics. Wu down on just a lick of HP.
भाई कितना close था
Like I said,
अगर
a few
को मार
scenarios there
देता
where
तो
Les is almost given.
Yeah.
I don't want to say given a 1v1, but given a chance. Even here though, knows the wall is going to be coming up. It's going to be a factor.
He goes back.
pistol to kick off the second half here for Heretics.
Dragon जाने मन ज़्यादा cool wool मत बनो मेरी जान.
To round out the
कुछ
spurt.
नहीं मालूम है तो खुद ही जाके check वेट करो.
Try and make a stab at
हर
things.
जगह हर चीज पूछने की नहीं हो.
Over towards yellow actually on B.
हर चीज पे मैं बात नहीं करता. मैं सिर्फ वैलो देखता हूँ, खेलता हूँ, मेरा वेराइटी गेम करता हूँ, का काम से मतलब रखता हूँ और चटकता हूँ. ठीक है?
और मेरे साथ पंगा करता है.
Some of these close angles. It's actually Rian's only with a ghost.
It's pretty tricky to clear that angle.
Well,
You
only
don't
a
get a
ghost.
second. You're not meant to get a second, Rienz. I'll give you one. The second is
भाई
outrageous.
वन भी
You got
उसने
away
जो
with
मारा
that.
उसने क्या मारा भाई?
So the outlaw, I still like seeing this outlaw coming into play. To be fair, that is something I enjoyed even on the other half of things. You can see the amount of light shields. They've invested in so many heavier shields in this one. So Les trying to make a go of it. He's a scary boy today. Forced away. Drop of the wall reveals it. Oh my word, Rienz. That's a third for him. Zivov. 1v3. Now it's the Bulldogs out to play. The fun gonna be quelled.
ये खेलने आया है बेयाज.
Further ahead now.
कल भी दोपहर वाला गेम होगा.
Potential double digits here if they can win Vitality's first buy. See what the purchase looks like.
थोड़ा वैलो के बाद.
It's not quite on Woot's level from Haven.
Nah, but he's knocking at the door.
हाँ? मैं उसमें वो गेम के अलावा सब गेम खेला.
Top of the board for Heretics.
तो अभी actual game खेल ले.
Looking extremely comfortable.
मतलब ये चार जन में भसड़ जाता था.
Things out obviously that.
इसलिए मैं लोनली टाइम स्पेंड करने में मीटिंग में गया.
Past Nest now. Up towards Bell. Will be rewarded as well. Does he get a second? No. Kicks. We'll find the trade. Removes Durka very early on.
Seeing them trying to find that thread of where they're going.
ठीक है कल खेलेंगे रे बाबा.
Implication made towards B, but we can see.
हम लोग कुछ नहीं देख रहे हैं ऋषभ.
You can see they're still cautiously heading towards A.
Yeah, Miniboo's
by 3v4 is still
unretrievable. I guess the one towards Tube being one you'd go for, but
भले guns नहीं लेकिन util heavy बचा है.
So to say, down at 57 HP.
So shock dart, nade, ult.
If anybody's actually going to swing ahead of this, Vitality very cautious in approach.
30 seconds left.
Now kicks. 10 HP. So be very careful in this situation. Rienz. Caught off guard here by Sivov.
Okay, we're just going to send...
Fine, plenty of time here.
I'm surprised they didn't go for the ult on that. I know that numbers-wise, but he got so late on time. Both connected to on the knife now. Oh, he's trained.
Toxins going up.
Now, well, he kind of finished before it started. Nice from Vitality in a necessary round, really.
Huh?
Like I said, to prevent Heretics finding double digits early on. Again, the purchase not quite there for them.
कल होएगी जो आज खेला था वो कल होएगी.
Awkward to find a second there for Miniboo, unfortunately. But Kicks finding it.
पहले मेरे को
from the lower angle.
अंकी नहीं आई तो भी चलेगा.
If obviously the trend from the first half does continue for Miniboo, I think it was just in these early rounds.
Woot's really picking up the defense, having a belting performance.
That's a good question.
4 members of Heretics starting on the A side.
Oh my word, they're putting Miniboo towards Nest. Do they stick around to try and support this, or is the clear going to be?
Yeah, I mean, Kicks has got to be really careful here because he doesn't actually have the spike. So you want to see him being the one to swing out, but Durka has been well handled.
वो wall ऐसा है कि ट्यूब के अंदर से तुम लोग क्रॉस करोगे ना तो भी वो ट्रिगर होता है.
4 kills for
पता है ना तुम लोग को?
It's not a fun performance.
Mid wall.
They're going in towards this. Feels petrifying. Now
I
the
think
out
Rians
drone.
maybe was just spotted on that.
I think he would have been just around the corner. This is two players now shown. The third is the one to strike! That was outrageous by Miniboo. Heading safe in the blink of an eye.
That was so clean to find the second, Lauren.
Bro.
Beautiful setup as well. Vitality just don't even have an opportunity to respond to that.
He's just going to tuck in the corner. Nothing really to clear this apart from the bodies themselves. The patience might pay here. Woot waiting. One spotted, one taken, a second considered. Tag towards Kix, who's desperately trying to force him off this. And safety found. Leaves it to the rest of the boys to pick up the slack, and it's a 10-second save here. Kix can do nothing about it, but they are hunting. Hot on his trail. I don't know if he's going to make it away. Miniboo, the one for the fight here. A couple more seconds. Do you get to keep your gun? No, you don't. Heretics fully in control, Mike.
Finding way more value on these early engagements than Vitality did on their defense. Will force the timeout here.
Love this. God, that shot. Oh, the slow-mo too.
That is
clean mara bhai.
Again, there's just very little safety in terms of where the stuns invested from Miniboo.
Aimer se bhai.
Back of the salvos. Beautifully done.
हाँ, aimer se bhai.
Vitality,
yeah, well, it feels a little awkward now.
मैं बोला second match बाप
Situation
पड़ेगा.
where 3-1 in the second half. Vitality now basically using up the lion's share of their funds.
कुछ भी तुक्का शॉट था, प्री फायर था वो एंगल पे भाई उसको
Safe and
पता
Dirk
है.
are both looking under pressure again. This team was put together to really achieve the highest heights. You know, they went out to the market. They spent a whole lot of money on this squad, and you saw the potential from the word go. Incredible. That recent trip against Fnatic, and now potentially a fumble against Heretics. Question marks will be raised about this team. How well they do going forward. Can they keep composure? Now put under the gun themselves. Do they have the depth and capability?
Yes, sir.
That's what we question now. It's 6-10 going back in here. Ult still with Woot. One away from Miniboo, one away from Riens, and on the other side, a couple of those ults starting to come into play.
And these are the big ones that ultimately, if they need to invest into this round, will rub salt in the wound for Vitality in terms of trying to claw their way back into this half. Potentially some big tools to just sit back on in a retake as well. We look towards Woot and Riens in that regard. Miniboo, throw it out, see what sticks, because pretty much everything's sticking for him so far in Icebox.
La la la.
It's going to be kick scene. They saw Durka there as well. Standard start though, really, just defaulting the way forward, trying to get any sort of information
थोड़ी
causing those
silent कर
rotations, but Miniboo
दी
is
कोई
just
नाम
about everywhere.
उससे तभी तो पढ़ लिया था. बट अनंत से वीडियो के एंड में कहा हो किसी फ्यूचर अनाउंसमेंट से लिंक है क्या? पता नहीं भाई, पता नहीं भाई, पता नहीं.
First contact here and maybe draw a rotation.
मुझे
Despite not committed just yet,
मुझे
but
तो ये भी नहीं पता
position
था
over
कि मैं
towards the
वीडियो
A
में था.
side.
मुझे अभी पता चला है.
Boo on the other side towards Snowman. He's not going to be
मुझे भी नहीं पता.
Some
too keen
questions
to
will
give
be
anything away.
unanswered.
Obviously, still some utility to deal with as well.
यही होता है एक अच्छा
Basically, be the
something क्या है वो thriller.
comforter.
30
एक
seconds left.
suspense का
Lack of safety for Heretics, but
story.
now there's a bit of a gap in the rotation.
All on Boo here, gonna need to call in the cavalry, call in the help, because they are pushing CT. They want to fight. No way! That's a spike gone. Had to be picked up here. There was a chance for more damage to be done, but now they're taking fights. They're in no man's land. Safe trying to hold the push back. Dealt with, done, dead. Pops the ult. Miniboo wants back now. Ult to clear sight. Does he spot anyone? Pre-fire there, spots nothing. They've cleared sight. It's on towards yellow. It's on towards B-Long. Oh, Benji with a beautiful double, but the big man himself, I don't think Les can do anything now. Diffuse coming in. It's 11.
I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but I think Durka throws a smoke through that blocks the flash from Kicks. And it makes that engagement towards Snowman really awkward.
2000 रुपए मुंह पे मोर आ जाएगा आंसर. जय साई भाई love you यार. क्या हो गया जय भाई?
Split second.
हाँ मतलब ठान रखा है कि मैं बिकाऊ स्ट्रीमर हूँ.
with the flash through the wall.
वो लेकिन 2000 के लिए नहीं.
Here it is.
I think the flash is just behind this. And there's kicks then.
Frustrated
I'm
chat
not saying this is a
बोलते
round-changing moment, but
भाई
whether or not that's a
crazy मारा ना
miscomp
उसने
to
shot
misplace the smoke, or it's supposed to go a little deeper,
full
but it
frustration
completely
इसकी
mitigates
माँ
that
का
flash.
मार दो और अंदर
And then
देखो
they're basically what they have no safety net. They're stood behind the Viper wall.
So thank you, replay team, for that.
They
I
did
feel like
catch
that
it, yeah.
was thrown together, and it was brilliantly done. And the buy looking thrown together now for Vitality. Durka trying to forge a way forward. Rien's going to backfill the space, take the smoke away for a second. Woog's there to pick up pieces. Fill the void. Kicks is gone. Good chip damage though. Rien's down to 50, Woog down to 70, but they want to retake the site itself. They want the fight, and they need
Save
finding two for himself. There is such talent in these two teams. Individuals can shine at any moment, but now the plant is in, and they're a man to the good.
Streamer हाँ मैं हूँ
to fall back on. It's almost that contingency
ये
plan.
लोग रात को क्यों खेलते हैं
Vitality, they're able to
मौसम
slip
सुबह
back
धूप
into
आती
this
है
post
ना
plant very comfortably.
गर्मी बहुत है
We're going to send a snake bite in. The X-ray doesn't think it connect. What? Doesn't matter.
Okay, he's got a railgun. We're playing Quake. I'm sorry, I forgot which game we're in. They do still need to deal with this defuse though, and that. No, Mini Boo, stop it!
I
don't know where safe is.
No way! That's how this ends.
Oh
Mini Boo
my
is a disaster at work.
And he gets it with a full second to spare as well.
It's just watching a montage every round
भाई
from
मेरे
him.
सामने मैं all tap
It's
पर कर दूँ
just
ऐसा नहीं होना है
ridiculous. It's after save again.
God.
Makes this
बस
doable for
slide मार के
Vitality.
अंजुम क्या मार रहा है
Just
भाई
outrageous from Miniboo.
Oh.
डर के को मार
And he does this as well, just spins
yeah,
around on a dime.
The problem being is safe. I mean, he has to reset. He has to take a deeper position for the Hunter's Fury. But it's only a second to decide that.
You're the greatest player of all time, bro.
Any comments
I'm
on
kind of
this?
with him there.
Yeah, I'm
right now.
And the confidence is sky high.
भाई फिर से दो मारे वो स्टन करके आगे जाके
Miniboo at his most brutal.
भाई फिर से दो
Just
मारे वो
eviscerating Vitality. Kicks less and Sumo are gonna have to put together the pieces.
The
But this
fuck
feels nearly done.
A very early 5v3 created.
गलत खेला है भाई
So Kicks not had the best of map twos here, sorry.
Yep.
Really
Decision
struggling to
आया
get this
क्या
KO working.
फिर से डर के को मारा हाँ
Now called upon here as one of the last three standing for Vitality.
भाई आप
And a chance here to find Boo once again towards Snowman.
Les slips ahead. Steve still towards sight. Kicks down long. Spike in the hands of Les.
You should run.
Lockdown gonna come
बाहर
in.
आएगा
He wants the plant.
As I say, Hunter's Fury available here.
And he's gonna attack Kicks, after a nightmare performance here, has to face 5. 20 seconds. And this will be heartbreak for the team. It's done. Rien's makes sure of it with an in-zone flawless to wrap it up.
A clean 2-0 from Heritage. Talking about them dropping maps previously.
दोनों 2-0 हो गया ना
But now effectively securing their position here in stage 1 in comfortable fashion.
crazy
And Miniboo, just the standout performances
crazy
here. Goes without saying for Heretics.
crazy
And to add to that, you have to highlight doing that against the likes of Vitality, who are such a mechanically gifted team, is so very impressive. Genuinely, I think it's a little bit of a back to the drawing board for Vitality. Get things in line here, because there's been a couple of losses to the big boys.
7-0 हारने का तुक नहीं है ये जो जीता
But
ना
they
उसका
hold
तुक
themselves to a high standard, but
दोनों को
Heretics, it
पीने
feels
का
like
भी
game by game, Mike, are getting back to their winning ways.
I mean, yeah, Vitality obviously to face off against Apex and Na'Vi in the coming
Yeah.
weeks, so maybe a chance to
क्या डर के को मारा
be with you.
भाई मिनिमम गलत खेला भाई ये
These
मैच
last two losses. But yeah,
उसको
fantastic
गुस्सा
stuff from
निकाला
Heretics today. The cross in the air from Neil Zenio.
बाप खेला बे बाप खेला बे बाप खेला बे
There he is, hobbling away.
भाई पहली बार मेरा
Boys were flying
2-0
through that
वो
game,
वर्क
Mike.
कर
I
गया
mean, I'm so impressed with Heretics after being I don't want to say on the fence, but a little bit worried about them in the past. They look like they're back on track. And to find out more, Mini Boo and Boo will be joining the delightful Zoe and Tombiz on the post plant.
बेचारा है भाई, सोचो 8 बार एक टीम को हरा है, 8 बार। हाँ, दर्द अभी एक बार हारने का दर्द भाई होता है भाई, होता है बे ऐसे इवेंट्स में।
There was a come up for sure. Now, that said, though, Team Heretics, they put an exclamation mark on this performance. Absolute dominance showing there across the board. So many highlights.
चलो मेरे को अभी वीडियो देखने का और मेरे को 2-3 और भी काम करने का है, कुछ कुकिंग वाला भी काम करने का है, बहुत कुछ काम करने का है बेसिकली, समझ रहे हो? कुछ चीज़ें जो मैं बोल नहीं सकता, और मेरे को डिनर भी करने का है। तो वो सब करके मैं आऊँगा रात को अप्रॉक्स 1 बजे के आसपास, अगर आ गया तो ठीक है, वो वाला झेलता करने को। तब तक के लिए बाय, आदियोस, चैट में पादियोस। और प्लीज़ 1 सेकेंड लगेगा, वो वीडियो में जाके कमेंट करो और शेयर करो, बिना देखे कर सकते हो, क्योंकि वीडियो बहुत प्यार और मेहनत से बना है यार, समझ रहे हो? जो चीज़ में प्यार रहता ना, वो चीज़ ओपी रहती है, समझ रहे हो? याद करो, तुम भी एक टाइम पे प्यार में थे ब्रेकअप के पहले। चलो बाय, मिलते हैं। लिंक दे दो, पिंड कमेंट में है। एसीटूल चैनल चेकआउट करो, यूट्यूब पे जाओ, पट से जाओ, लिंक स्पैम कर रहा हूँ। जाओ, अच्छे कमेंट्स और शेयर करना। मेन ये कि शेयर करना, ठीक है, ताकि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोग को मालूम पड़े कि क्या कुकिंग कर रही है बैच, क्या कुकिंग कर रही है। इतना इजी नहीं है हैवी लाइनअप वो करना, समझ रहे हो? चलो बाय। मेक श्योर टू अप्रिशिएट गोल्डी बाय, तक बाय एंड मॉर्टल फॉर एवरीथिंग दे आर डूइंग फॉर EWC, एंड आई विल मीट यू आफ्टर हाफ एन आवर, ठीक है? Bye, love you, bye, adios, adios, take care, see ya, bye.
I find you a star, and we could be in love, lighting up the dark, but there's nothing I can do. I can never get to you.